Welcome back. We're live. This is episode 38 of Andrewcast. I'm joined by the all-knowing information guru Sheldon Fogel in the building once again. And across from me right now, I have previous amateur wrestler, co-host of Real Friends podcast, proud owner of some chickens, the deepest voice I probably ever met in my life.
Chicken shit, yeah.
And one of the coolest human beings ever. We love him. You love him. The wonderful wizard, Oz.
Hey, what's up, yo?
The one and only in the building.
I'm really happy to be here, though.
Dude, we're happy to have
Bro,
you.
I was thinking about this all day.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking about this all day.
What's fucked up is that Ryan and I forgot. So I set a reminder last week, and then it hit me at 6:30.
I knew it was today. I just was like, I forgot like halfway through the day. I was like, wait, what do I have to do today? Oh, shit, that's right. I got to do Andrewcast today, which I'm excited to be here. Like,
yeah, man.
It's dope.
Dude, the excitement is all mine, seriously.
And I called Andrew, and he's like, of course I remember. How could you guys forget?
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I have this little routine, dude, where I just go to sleep 2 hours before every Andrewcast. Like that's just,
really?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a rejuvenator
Refresher
kind of thing.
Yeah, because I'm just dying during the week, bro. Like literally dying, man.
Work life, man.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it's nuts, and I don't mean to be like I'm the only one going through that, because everybody's going through that. But before I talk my brains out, I gotta go to sleep, because I would be tripping on this mic if I didn't. Like I'd be more than I usually am. Because I hate saying like too much, I hate being in that headspace.
Yeah. I don't think I've taken a nap in like maybe over a year.
You made me feel so guilty.
Yeah, I take a nap every day.
Dude, because you know what it is about me?
honestly.
Like when I take a nap and I wake up, I feel like
You're done.
No, I just feel my body hurts.
Really?
You're
I feel.
capped.
See, that's weird because for me, when I take a nap, I feel like energized. Like Like I used to take naps
Really?
before going out. Yeah.
I get sluggish.
That makes me like hype. I'm like,
I was
oh,
like that
shit.
too. Yeah.
I get sluggish. Like I'm just like, oh, my head
It depends
hurts,
on what
my
kind of
body
nap
hurts.
you're taking though, because some naps will have you on your ass, and then some naps will be like, all right, let's go. Like I'm ready to do shit.
Yeah.
So
You know
true,
what I mean?
man.
So,
yeah, with the going out thing, you feel the consequence of it, because like you're out wherever, and your friend's like, "Yo, what's up? What's wrong?" And you even know nothing's wrong. You're just like, "I'm just chilling."
I'm just
You're
chilling,
like,
bro.
I don't ever want to be tired like this again.
I just noticed that because when we were in Germany, you did take a nap. I think you took a nap every
Oh, I have to.
right after dinner. Right
Because
after
y'all in
dinner,
Europe,
you
you're
took a nap.
walking around.
I'm built to take a nap. Like I have to, man.
Yeah.
It's like
That's the crazy part. You become so dependent. If it's a
Yeah.
part of your daily schedule, there's a time where you go to sleep and you feel tired at that time every day.
yeah.
So do you take it every day?
yeah, I take it every day.
Like same time every day,
Same time at like
right after work?
like 2 o'clock.
So my mom's is at 6. She just goes to sleep every day. At
No,
6.
but it's like
Really?
it's weird naps though. It's like all right. It's
How
gonna
long
sound
they
so
last?
bad. Oh man. I would say like 2 hours maybe.
So that's why it's hard to contact you sometimes.
Yeah,
You're
like
just
around prime time though. Like I always encourage no one to contact me between 3.
And 9, right?
No, not 9. Like 3 and like 5. Cause I ain't answering.
yeah,
Like Shane used to do this thing. Oh, can't say names here.
Nah, that's
yeah,
fine.
bro, you can say
Well,
whatever.
My friend Shane used to do this thing where like he's on his way to work at like 3, right? And he calls me on his commute to work.
Mhm.
And every fucking day, man, he'll call me at like 2:45, 3, and I'm like, dog, reject. And I'm like, nap. I put nap in all caps with the exclamation mark. Nap. Like, and then he'll be like, oh, bet.
Dude, 'cause
That's perfect,
I
man.
just found out that the do not, unless I don't know how to work it, that do not disturb feature on iPhone, it doesn't
It
work.
doesn't work.
Nah.
My phone, I still get ding. Like I'm
You know
like,
what's so funny,
I
man?
just said it.
All right, you know what's so
Like
funny,
when I was
man?
trying to edit
Yeah.
last night, it just wasn't working. I was like, what's
going
going on?
Yeah, you have to do it separately. Like what I do is, so all my notifications are off. Like Twitter,
Right.
Facebook, Instagram, they're all off.
True.
Everyone that I talk to regularly, like you, the group chat, everybody. It's not. People take offense to it though, but it's not. Like I don't know what it is, man. I just don't like notifications. I don't like looking at my phone. All right, because there used to be a time, right, where it's gonna sound like very sappy, but I remember I was dating this girl and shit didn't work out, right? And you know when you're trying to like get back with the girl and like you're every time you look at your phone, you're like, is it her? Is it her?
Yeah.
And I used to say, hate when I would look at my phone.
It's
Like
somebody-
I'll be doing something like work or something,
Yeah.
and I'll look down. I'm like, oh, it's fucking Shane.
It was somebody else some
See,
foolishness.
See,
Yeah.
but what I
So I
do
turned
is
everything off.
I feel
okay. So
you,
I do
man.
something similar. I just turn off if I have my phone on silent. I turn off the buzz.
Okay.
So I'll get the notification, but I'll check on like you said, my own time.
Okay, yeah, I like checking on my own time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I like being surprised with notifications.
See, well, group chats is crazy because when you have a group chat with your close friends, the texts are just like so
Rapid.
offensive and out of context too.
All the
So
time.
it could be like up on your phone and like somebody's looking at it and they see it and they're like, "Yo, what's that?" It's just like,
Yeah.
"Yo, my friends are just wilding out."
Yeah.
Also, I feel like every time a text comes up, I'm trying to do something at the top of my phone. Like I'm trying to change a song at the top of the screen. I'm trying to do something and I hit the text by accident.
Yeah.
Especially if I didn't want to read that text until I was ready to respond because I didn't want to think this person I'm blowing them off. Now I have to like respond right away.
I
I'm
actually
like,
have my read receipts on, so
Yeah, you
I'll let them see it and then I'll answer it like an hour or two later.
yeah.
Instead of like, cause I don't know, man. Something about that having them off. I feel like that's worse.
All right,
You think that's sketchy?
That's so sketch to me, man. Like,
This brings me to a topic that I always want to talk about. All right, so how do you feel about people that say, "Oh, I just saw your text," or "Oh, like you know,"
the line.
They
girls
lie.
who
Line.
respond back to you days after you send a text. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's legit or?
I mean, I'm with Sheldon most of the time. It's a lie, but then again, I've been there where I legitimately have seen their text like a day late.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to gauge the person. But I'd say 9 out of 10 times it's a
Yeah.
lie, man. 9 out
People
of 10.
who are very social and talk a lot, you will miss that text.
Yeah.
Like it's happened to me where like
Happened to me
we're
too.
trying to plan what's going on tonight, and then I'll accidentally like the messages would keep coming in, and then the person I meant to get back to would just get pushed further down to where they're not at the top of the screen, and you can't see them on screen anymore unless you scroll.
Yeah,
So like that will happen.
that happens to me a lot because, like, all right, so I'm in the group chat with you and all our friends. Then I'm in the group chat with Mike Boyd and like the podcast people.
Podcast.
Then, a girl and Shane and you separate. Just it's like 10 people,
Right.
or 10 different texting like
Makes sense.
things. And so say you texted me like at 4:00, and then I get a barrage of text messages at like 4:30, 5, 6. You're getting pushed down, man.
Exactly.
That happens. But I'm talking about in a sense where you're talking to somebody and then it just stops.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, they contact you back days later. Oh, my bad, just saw your text. Trying to,
Yeah, I think they're
like,
lying.
come on, dude.
That's usually a lie. Also, here's another classic one. I thought I pressed send. I thought I responded to this. My bad. Like that's
that's a great one.
That's a
great
classic
one.
right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're moving too fast. You actually do forget to hit send.
Yeah,
Like you
I've
think
had
you hit
that
it
happen before.
because I'm in that. As soon as I hit send, I'm swiping out.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll swipe out before I hit send. And
Yeah.
I think it sent, and I'm like, it's been like 20 minutes. How come he hasn't answered back?
Yeah. I've
And
done
I'll
that
look,
too.
and I'm like, oh, I never answered.
You
off.
look in horror because you feel like such a bad person. You're like, I did not mean to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel
But
like
my bad
texting.
FIFA took over.
Right, exactly. But I feel like texting is a relatively new thing with like mankind, So there's not
Yeah.
really a set decorum. We're kind of experimenting with it, and like the shadiness of humans is coming through on it.
Yeah.
So I think in the future it's gonna be a lot more
Bro,
polite.
think about it. 10
But
years
now
ago,
it's cold, bro.
10 years ago, it cost money to send a text.
dude.
Yeah, it did.
So like our generation, we were used to not texting or even doing phone calls that much. When you saw someone, you had to tell your message to them face to face,
Yeah.
and hopefully that they remember because
Right.
what was it, $1.99 to send a
Yo,
text?
I ain't gonna lie, yo. When you first get a limited texting, that was like taking a condom off and fucking raw for the first time, bro. Like you were like, dog, this shit is, yo, bitches, hit me up here, like shit, like that shit was crazy, bro. When I first got limited texting,
Yeah.
woo.
How old were you?
Bro, I was like the last
Like
one.
14.
Did you have a sidekick?
No, I had a flip phone, bro.
Was it the
I
Razor?
struggled for a bit.
Struggle, man.
No, I didn't have the Razor. You know what's crazy, man? I didn't really have a cell phone until I was like 13 or 14.
That's what I was about to
Really?
say, bro. I was
Like-
like halfway through middle school before I got a cell phone.
Dang, you guys make me feel terrible.
Yeah.
No, like I remember my mom, what she would do is like she'd get a new phone and she'd give me the older one, so I just play like Snake
Yeah,
or like Tetris on it.
Bro,
And
I
I
had-
would act like I had the phone in
Yeah.
class. I'd be like, yo,
bro,
phone.
I was like such a. I don't know if I was just an outdoorsy kid, but I had a phone in 3rd grade because I would
your
never.
parents
Be,
like that, huh?
no, I would never be home. Like if it was dinner time, I was never because I was
I
like
can see
you know
that.
playing football,
Yeah.
soccer, whatever, and then I was way too far from home, so my mom would be like, like ride your bike back to the house and like because we were always in the clusters.
Yeah.
If I'm down here, I'm about 2 to 3 miles away from my house.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
like
I
whatever.
can see that.
So
A
then I
lot
remember
of-
when I got the iPhone in 7th grade, like
Oh,
that
yeah, I
was
remember.
game changing.
Yeah, that shit was
man.
different. I didn't get the iPhone until Halloween 2014.
Halloween 24.
I remember dates, man. I just remember everything.
That's pretty cool. I wish I had that gift, man.
Yeah, I just remember. Yeah, Halloween 2014. Because I had a BlackBerry for a while, right?
Yeah.
I remember that.
And
I remember
then
that.
finally one day, I don't know, I was at work and I was like, you know what? Like, damn, man, I need to start being more social because, this is when like I think Vine was still in. Twitter, Instagram, everything was. It seems ancient, right? It seems like it's like
Vine,
decades
bro.
ago.
Wow, Vine.
But social media was like crazy. Like Instagram was the new hottest thing.
People are flexing, yeah.
Twitter was already crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't even access this shit on my phone. I gotta use my laptop, bro, or my iPod Touch. Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, you know what? I know. My shit was trouble.
Touch.
My man, are you cold?
Just a little bit, man.
So
I'm still like
I'm
wet.
sorry, bro. Oh, okay.
I'm chilling.
So I went to after work. I went to T-Mobile store. I'm like, hey, am I eligible for an upgrade? And they're like, yo, you've been eligible for 2 years. I was like, bet. Let me get that iPhone.
Yeah.
And I got it.
Which one was that? Was that the 6?
That was the first iPhone I got.
Game changer, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm never going back, bro.
Yeah, I didn't get an iPhone till 2016, man. I was
Really?
on that Android life for a long time. People were like, "Why your text green? How come you can't see emojis?" So I just got sick of that, man. I was
Take
like,
a selfie, look like you playing San Andreas.
Yeah, that's the classic meme, right? Where's the picture?
Yeah, it's like Andrew selfies.
Man, yeah. So when I got that, I was like, "This is cool." I only got it because of the Mac, man, because I got a MacBook.
Yeah, it's all
so
compatible.
The integration's on the real with Apple.
That's how I roll,
Like,
man.
I don't understand how people don't have a iPhone. I don't get it.
There's some like real. Sheldon's got it.
It's
man.
just easily accessible to everybody.
It is, but it's the fact that because it's so easily accessible, people are like, "Oh fuck Apple," and like stuff like that, and like people who are super techie, your phone is like a second computer.
right.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have massive files on deck on your laptop, you can put it on your phone.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with like an iPhone
Yeah.
unless it's like going Apple to Apple.
True.
Yeah.
So I get that, but at the same time,
It's not tech geeks that have
like,
Android
and
stuff.
people think that Apple's simplistic, bro. What Apple does is
Yeah,
revolutionary.
it is,
No,
bro.
it is. No, I
Like,
think
it's
it's pretty cool.
insane.
But I
Like,
yeah.
go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm just seconding Sheldon's point that like
Yeah.
techie people do tend to get Androids.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, I know that.
But if I can go like this from my phone to his computer, just touch it and it sends. I don't care if this phone's inferior to your phone or not. The fact that I can send something like that without any connection.
Just the integration in general, bro. Social media, everything. Like, I remember, dude, like 2000, like right after 9/11. That's when like people were like, "Yo, I need to buy my kid a phone,
Right.
to keep in contact with them."
Yeah,
I just remember like having just a general HP Pavilion computer, nothing special, and having to wait to do something. Like I would, be out all day at school. Come back. Oh, I'm gonna play some games on like CartoonNetwork.com or whatever. I want to go and AIM. Instant messaging was big, Like
You just
I was
that
never
you
on
could
that
do that.
kick. I was never on that.
Wow.
you didn't have a screen name?
I don't think I did.
Dang.
And
That's
if I
shocking.
did,
That's
I think I was really late to it.
Wow.
I think.
I would say from 2004 until like 2010, bro. I was on AIM.
Same. I had the screen name. I just like took everyone's screen name down one
Yeah.
day. That's how like my whole.
That's
class.
how the game was. It was like,
Yeah.
shorty, what's your screen name?
Exactly. I had the whole class on my computer, man. It was nuts.
Yeah, I don't think I'd aim. I think I was actually texting, but I don't know if I was texting. I honestly don't know what I was doing.
But that was the computer, the desktop computer era, right?
Yeah.
Now we're in like all that shit that we did back then, dude.
Yeah.
Group chats. That was like on AIM.
Yeah, it was on.
Mhm.
I could do that on my phone,
Right.
and it's super instant. It was instant back then, but it's way more instant now.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I can respond to that shit while I'm talking to you guys.
It's insane.
in live color, Like
Yeah.
that's the craziest thing for me.
I think one thing that phones we were literally just talking about this before
Yeah,
you got here.
it's
I think
kind of weird.
I think one thing that phones can't ever do though is replace certain traditional things.
Can't.
Like-
Yeah, you're right.
Like a camera like that, no matter how much they upgrade these phones, or like movies. We were just talking about this in a movie. Remember that movie that came out a couple months ago called Unsane?
Yeah.
Where it was
Yeah.
the whole thing was shot on an iPhone. It was an iPhone 7 or 7 Plus. Anyway, and it got a lot of money behind it, but like that won't ever correlate to like Christopher Nolan shooting on a
True,
$100,000
true,
camera.
True.
You know what I mean? There's certain things where like a Mac or something like that. There's certain things that a phone will never, knock on wood, never be able to do. In my opinion, it might be able to, like way down the
It can
line.
compete a little bit, like
Yeah, it can definitely
like
compete.
Uber and taxi or Airbnb, and I'm talking about how it's on your phone. I'm talking about
Well,
that.
one of the biggest reasons that worked is because Uber made a cost-efficient method, whereas taxis. Remember when we went to with our buddy, we went to Avalon by the Sea.
Yeah.
And remember we called that taxi to go 4 blocks and it was $42.
Yeah,
We're like,
insane.
dude, Uber, that's like $8.
Yeah.
Also,
So-
this is just me. I feel like taxi drivers tend to be less friendly than people on Uber.
They are.
Yeah.
Because people on Uber are just like everyday
people.
It's just like, dude, I work at Home Depot during the day, and then at night I'm
Yeah.
an Uber driver. You know, I'm just a normal dude. But like these taxi people, man, like they're just like, where do you want to go? Like there's a wall between you and them, and it's like,
and
I'm
they
going
hit
here.
pedestrians.
Right. Well, I mean, I've told that story probably 3 times.
I've
now,
always
but
hated taxis. Just being in the city sometimes it's like, well, like y'all think y'all.
Yeah.
No,
don't
because
care.
they also purposely go certain routes that they know that will make it like longer. I mean, I can't
no,
prove
you're right.
that. I can't prove that, but that's how I feel.
No,
like when
I
The thing,
feel
the
that.
most unsettling thing about a taxi is like when you're driving in it, you just see the price going up and up, and you're like,
Oh, dude, and
I
the
like
fact
how
that you
Uber's-
can see it.
yeah.
Oh, it bothers me.
I
And
like how
Uber's
Uber's
locked in.
Locked
locked
in.
Yeah, it's anxiety. Like it's almost disrespecting your existence. It's like, oh yeah,
and
you
actually
wanna-
don't stop when they stop, bro. Like when you stop at a red light, it does not stop. The price just keeps going. You're like, fuck, come on, step on the gas.
Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
bro.
I haven't been in
going.
a taxi in a long time.
But forget it. Yeah, when you're in New York or whatever, where'd you say you were spending? Oh, Ontario, $42.
happened?
You said you spent a $42.
No, we
Oh,
were
we were in
uh,
the Avon,
Avon.
like Belmar area.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Avon by the sea.
Yeah, Avon by the Sea. Yeah.
Avon by the sea.
That's
Oh,
crazy,
weird name,
man.
but
And it
whatever.
was like, dude, it was like literally a 4-block drive, but like it was late. I think it was cold. You know, it's by the shore, so it was
Wait,
like cold.
are you talking about when we left DJs?
Yeah, when we
to come
left
back?
DJs. And
Okay, with the girls or
no, there wasn't. I was there for that.
Oh, you were
No,
there. You were,
I wasn't there for
the,
no,
the British
because
girl.
I guess, but I don't remember. It was us,
Wait, no,
Brishella,
it was a Chris. Like,
Chris,
yeah.
Chris and Vinny.
Yeah, you were all the way in the back, but like but
Yeah.
Chris and them were there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember just being in the Uber because Chris and Vinny were trying to get Chris
They're
and Vinny.
trying to do that.
Chris
yeah.
and Vinny were trying to get with
Yeah,
them. I
and
remember
we were
in
like,
the
what
Uber.
the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and I just saw the prices go, and like
I don't remember the taxi part though. I mean, I know we were in a
it was
taxi,
like
but
it was
I
like
don't
a
remember.
fancy. I think you were like sleeping maybe.
I might have been. I don't know. I don't remember. We all
Yeah.
have those nights.
No, I
But-
feel you.
But just to see that, that technology, the way it's come now, it's just social media and just things that we are used to from the previous decade, and see the sort of emergence of it now is insane for me.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like hotels are cool and everything. Like they the hospitality is cool. They take care of you with the towels and stuff. But Airbnb, that's a lot more like
Yeah.
It's the same thing that you said with
Yeah,
the
it's
with the Uber and the taxi. It's like the same thing.
everyday
Yeah.
people. They come, they greet you.
Yeah.
You walk in, they're letting you in their home.
Right.
You know what I mean? Their living space. So it's cool to see that. Like, and you can do that all on your phone, bro. I
Yeah.
can sign up for Airbnb right now.
That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like life is just like a video game now, you know? Like I can just
Yeah,
like
bro.
call up a ride, I can just find a place to stay,
Dude,
like all just on this
I
thing.
think we're getting closer and closer to Blade Runner.
Blade Runner?
Yeah.
I hope not, dog. That whole fake people thing, I'm not with it, man. Call me what you want to call
That's
me.
gonna
but-
happen, bro.
Nah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it should happen.
People are gonna start making clones of themselves, like the super rich.
Yeah.
They're gonna make clones of themselves so they can never die.
I kind of see where he's coming from. Like, I feel like it's becoming a reality television show almost, but like, it's not reality. You know what
No,
I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
It's a lot of stuff that like you didn't think would happen is happening.
Right.
Like just everything. Like
Right.
everything's kind of like a joke, and just
It is kind of like a joke.
like as much as I love the social media era that we're in, how you could be in Italy and I'm here and we're connected because of social media.
Yeah.
Meaning like if like for example when X died, right? That like everybody felt that. It's like we saw that happen. That's a moment in time for us that we all
Yeah.
experienced. Just imagine social media was around
That's
when
a
Biggie and
shame, too.
Tupac died.
Yeah, man. It'd be pretty crazy.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people didn't find out for a week maybe.
And it's
Or-
crazy. It's crazy how like that was 24 years ago, 25. I don't know.
Yeah.
21 years ago, and like how much technology advanced in that short amount of time.
Exactly.
Like yeah, that is kind of
It's
crazy.
just crazy when you look back. It's good in that aspect,
Yeah.
but then there's also the down.
Like I never would have thought that CDs or DVDs would have become like obsolete.
I
No.
kind of sell it because, dude, LimeWire, bro. Like you start seeing that, people were like, "Wait, how can we make money off this market here, where people
man, that's-
illegally download music?
Yeah.
How can we make money out of it? Streaming,
Streaming.
bam.
Streaming's
You know
really
what I mean?
genius.
Damn, I didn't even think of that. That
Yeah.
was essentially early forms of streaming.
Bro,
Streaming
I,
is really
I had
genius.
LimeWire, I had FrostWire, I had
Frostwire.
every wire,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
I think I was using Pirate Bay.
I remember
Or
Pirate Bay.
torrents, yeah.
Or
torrents, yeah,
Napster.
torrent.
Remember Napster?
Napster, yeah.
Yeah, what's crazy about that Napster was that was a streaming service, and they got
They got
Axed
Axed
hard
hard times.
times.
Yeah.
Who owned? Does anyone know who
no,
owned
fuck.
Napster? That wasn't AOL, was it?
It might have been.
Weren't they associated
Not
with
Time Warner.
MySpace in some way?
Was Napster associated with MySpace? Or
I
maybe
don't know.
the song said powered by Napster?
It was something like that.
Something like that when you clicked the song. Man, I remember that lawsuit when it came out and they got sued
Yeah,
because
they
they
got
weren't
fucked.
paying for the music. And
Yeah.
people were like paying for the
What was
music.
the band that was that? Because I think
Metallica.
It was Metallica.
went
They were the ones that.
hard. They went
They went
hard
hard on
against
them.
piracy.
Really?
Like Lars, yeah, they were just like
That's the lead singer, right?
Yeah,
they
Lars.
went hard with all this like internet propaganda about like stopping piracy and stuff.
In their music or like
No,
during
No,
it
just
was
just
going?
like side
they,
stuff.
lawsuit, bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
lawsuit. They used to have like online videos talking about how like you shouldn't do it, man. Like that was a huge thing, man. But the thing is, the kickback was so heavy that they couldn't ignore it anymore. Like that's
Yeah.
how we have streaming today.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
because like everyone was just like, oh, it's illegal. And they
Yeah.
just kept doing it.
And they
And
want
like,
it.
yeah, you can't go
Dang.
after everybody. Like that's why the whole SOPA thing was such like a joke to me.
Uh-huh.
Like they were like, we're gonna stop pirating across the internet. I was like,
Yeah.
do you know how big this
Yeah.
is? This is huge.
Damn.
Like the people who are probably putting together the Photoshop logos for the SOPA campaign are themselves downloading music illegally. You know, it's just like the internet can't be regulated. That's why the whole net neutrality thing. I
can't
understand
be.
the seriousness of it. People are like, we're gonna put rules on the internet. Maybe, but probably not because there's so many people that are invested in it that just won't let it go that way.
We need to keep net neutrality. Like, if they revoke net neutrality, dude, it's just gonna be like how television is. You're gonna have all these different ISPs, internet service providers. That you're gonna have to pay money to. It's like, oh, you want the basic package? Oh, but then you need the social media package, right?
Yes.
So then you're gonna pay $10 onto your $30.
Yeah.
Oh, but you need the video streaming package too, right? You
Yeah,
go on
yeah,
YouTube a
yeah.
lot. That's another
Need
10.
that too, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you listen to music.
Bro.
Oh, why don't you tell us that? That's another
Bro,
10. Now
they-
you're at
they-
$70 for the month.
Dude, they try everything to like sort of like if you're having fun with something, for example, right? When Instagram first came on the scene, you know how these like content creators, like the ones from Vine,
Fine. Yeah.
they switched over to
Logan Paul,
Instagram
Jake Paul.
because they wanted to get their shit at a more accessible audience, someone that was a larger audience. And now they're putting regulations on it, meaning like if you post something like 2 minutes ago, I'm probably not gonna see it until like tomorrow or
Exactly.
hours from now.
Oh, their algorithms.
Yeah, the algorithms, like even YouTube did that. That was a problem with YouTube, right?
They're still having a
They're still having a
massive
problem.
problem.
Because people were like once someone opens a new lane, then all the regulations start to come.
true,
That's when
man.
the whole plane starts
Well,
crashing.
YouTube, one of the, I forget the woman's name. She was on Casey Neistat's video. She said in a live stream, they were talking about like the guidelines and terms and stuff about YouTube. And she said, oh, you can subscribe to someone, but based on how much you watch them, our algorithms will not put their videos, if they're brand new and just uploaded, you won't be notified about them because you watch other subscribers more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so that makes sense why PewDiePie has 65 million subs and only he gets about 5 million people watching his videos at a time. I'm like, dude, if I was a creator, if I was a creator, I would be pissed off because, like, dude, like, I earn these subs and only 10% of my people are watching. It's like,
Right.
notify. You should be, if they hit the bell and if they are subscribed, they should be notified.
Yeah,
Every time I put
to
a video.
defend them a little bit, man. I think I read something like every day 5,000 hours of video content is uploaded to YouTube.
I believe it.
That's insane, right?
Yeah,
So,
and
like,
all that passed by without.
But do you know how much time myself I spend? I know how much time you spend on YouTube.
Dude,
I know how much
I'm
time
obsessed
I
with
spend on
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'm obsessed. I go from video to video
right.
to video to
Well,
video.
if we all lived in the 80s, we'd be obsessed with TV. But we're obsessed with this is our TV. That's what
Yeah.
YouTube is because we just don't feel like watching whatever comes on. We want to watch specific
And
stuff.
no, it's funny. We don't want to watch like 30, 40-minute like episodes on TV. I have no problem watching like 45-minute documentary
oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
dude. I love.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that I can like. I have to use the
relax.
I have to use the
Yeah,
bathroom.
Exactly.
I'm on.
Take
in the
a
bathroom.
shit.
It's
Yeah,
like that.
hey, let's
I just got it up.
Damn, that video's hot, bro. Shit,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much, man.
No, but yeah, bro. It's
Foul,
like,
flagrant.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. It's crazy how like we've come, bro, with this
Yeah.
whole YouTube thing. Like,
Speaking of documentaries, man, I need to talk about It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I saw that this week with my roommate, man. It's the Mr. Rogers documentary, and I want to talk about
Are you aware of this?
this
Did you know
scene,
that?
bro. All right, so A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood talks about Mr. Rogers, not even his life, just like his work, how he made the show, the impact it had, and like who this dude was as a person, and like I've grew up watching the show, man, and
I think we all kind of had some.
Yeah.
we know who he is. You know what I mean?
Oh,
for sure,
yeah.
it definitely resonated with me because you know, I work in public television. I also kind of have a similar dream with this guy. Like, I try to make original programming and original content, you know, and I want to do that for the rest of my life. But
Yeah.
this dude, this is how obsessed this guy was, man. Like, everything he did on the show was very intentional. Like, the puppets, the colors, all that. Like, he had a reason for it. But he was obsessed with the number 143. Like, it's in the show in different places. He talks about it all the time. And so the reason why he's obsessed with it, and this is pretty crazy, is so there's one letter in I, as in I myself.
Yeah.
4 in love, 3 in you. I love you.
Fall in love.
That was
Holy
like
shit.
the thesis of his life, right?
Yeah.
So he was really fat when he was a kid,
Okay.
and like he had a bunch of health problems because of it. So in the 50s, he like got really healthy or whatever, started swimming every single day.
Mhm.
And there was a friend of Mr. Rogers that would like notice that like, at the end of the day, sometimes he would go hard in the pool, like just hard, like doing laps back and forth, like really exhausting himself. And he's kind of an old man, right?
Yeah.
And he would get up out of the pool, rest for a little bit, and go on the scale, weigh himself, smile, and come off. And his friend was like, "Why do you do that every day?" And he was like, "For the past 40 years of my life, every single day, I've weighed 143 pounds. And if I'm 1 pound over, I work that pound off."
Wow.
So, dog, like, it
What
was.
if he's 142?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, let me get that
He
cheese steak.
yeah, right. You probably have to drink water or like cheeseburgers or something. But like,
Yeah.
this man was obsessed. And when you
Yeah.
think of Mr. Rogers, you think of this dude that like is just like this. Oh, yo, he's like he's a lollipop, man. Like, he's
Yeah.
sweet, but nah, like he
Yeah,
was
was
a thug, bro.
I saw
was a thug.
something. I don't know where I saw it at, but like they said that he was one of the first people in television to put people of color on the screen,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, and that he made there's I think one black guy on the show, and
Yeah.
he made him a police officer.
yeah. So,
So-
this is what happened with
That's
that,
cool.
man.
Okay.
So there's a lot of police brutality going on, obviously, at the time.
Yeah.
Especially towards black people.
Yeah, during the
So,
civil rights, right?
Yeah, so there was this epidemic. I forget exactly what the incident's called, but there was black people and white people in a pool,
Mhm.
and this dude came with
Yes,
the chemicals to
this is-
start pouring it in the water, right?
Yeah.
So Mr. Rogers was really pissed off. This is all in the documentary. So he had this episode where he's just like sitting outside cleaning his feet.
Why don't you join me in the pool?
Right, and they clean their feet together like in the same water, and like it was a direct response to
Yeah.
like that what happened,
Oh,
and
wow,
it was
that's
crazy.
He
'cause
was,
people-
and he was like, "See, kids, isn't Mister something?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have nice feet?
Yeah, he
Like,
was
isn't
saying
he a nice guy? Look how happy
he was saying
is.
the stuff, and when you watch it, you're like, this is kind of weird. But when you
Yeah.
understand the context of it, like he was directly saying like what's going on outside is some BS. Like
Yeah,
this is,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was really really cool.
Yeah.
You know, and on top of it, like, you know, that guy, he was like, I don't even know how I feel being a police officer. That's what he said. Like, I feel weird acting as a police officer. He's like,
Yeah.
it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's all he's doing. That, you know, his whole
During
life
that
he's probably
time.
known that they're against him.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, you guys need to watch this, man.
Where's it at?
You,
HBO?
no, you could see it in the theaters right now. We went to like this independent theater in Philadelphia called the Ritz. And listen, man, I've never cried during a movie in my entire life. I've cried reading a book. That's like the one time ever.
Mhm.
But I was holding back tears.
Really?
That's how cool this movie was, man. Like,
Oh, I gotta check.
I
it
gotta
out.
watch it.
Y'all gotta
Dude,
check
you
it
just
out.
got me like hooked. I
Bro,
wanna
'Cause
watch
you're a
it now.
documentary guy.
Yeah, I'm a documentary guy.
one
yeah.
last thing, yo. Okay, so Mr. Rogers, like, he's a cool guy, but like he was all about helping other people. He had a hard time helping himself. So there's this tiger puppet that he used, bro. And this guy, like, he would ask people to be affectionate towards him through the puppet. He could never ask for himself.
Okay.
So if he was scared, like, he would talk through this puppet, bro. It was the weirdest thing, but it was super eye-opening.
Huh.
So like they were asking him in the interview, they were like asking about his personal life. And he's like, honestly, it's easier for me to express my feelings through a puppet. In mid-interview, he pulled out the tiger and like start speaking in the tiger's voice. He's like, I feel really scared and alone. And I was like, whoa.
Hey, that would have freaked me the fuck
Dude,
out.
that's like what they were saying, but he was just like, I know this is weird, but
He's a
that's
smart guy.
he's like,
Yeah.
that's just how I feel.
Damn.
It was so crazy.
Oh,
man.
maybe
It
Do
was
he-
they,
so
do they go
crazy.
in like deep into that to tell you why he felt that way? Or?
You know why I think
they
he did
kind of
that?
do delve into that, dude. He had a rough childhood. I won't spoil the entire thing,
Okay.
but yeah, it was really good.
I
It was
feel
a
like
good
another
movie.
reason he did that is because maybe it was gonna it's impressionable on young kids, so when they see that, maybe they would like.
They won't see it in a deep manner, but in like a kid.
No, they'll
movie?
think that maybe you got to be nice to people,
Yeah, it was
So-
kind of like that.
something like that.
I took so I have a degree in media studies and production, which is it's silly. Anybody can get it. But like the one thing I did learn, we had this class called Child Media Development, and if you notice every educational show for children, it's all talking animals. And the reason why it is that way is because it's been proved by research that children listen to what animals have to say, quote unquote animals, like fictitious portrayals of animal, and they remember it as opposed to people saying it. Because children are shown to ignore other humans talking. Like when their mom tells them like to be quiet and stuff like that, they'll ignore that. But when an animal says it, they remember it way longer.
Why is that, though?
Because they're so astonished that this animal is talking to them. So like, you know, they have a puppet or a cartoon, they're like, whoa, like this is talking, and it leaves more of an impression on them. So like that's why like when animal characters say like you can do anything, like it really resonates with them. Yeah.
Wow. Or is that also too why like parents will talk in a childlike voice sometimes to their, or just like a, you know,
like a different voice that's
when
not
they're
so
talking to
domineering.
their kids. Yeah, and I feel like they receive that better than if I were to be like, listen, don't do that.
Right, yeah.
Because it's
maybe that's why Barney was so huge.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, I'm like, my mind's blown. I'll go
yeah.
home and like dig deep into
I just had a moment. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Another thing is because like there's a certain age where kids don't understand that animals don't talk. And we talked about that in class. Like, it's a very young age, obviously, but like 6 or 7. Anything is possible for them. Yeah. So it's very believable that this puppet can talk. It's very believable that this like Mylon Otis character can talk.
What the hell?
So
dude,
yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude.
Dude,
it's pretty nuts.
I have to watch.
I have to watch it too, bro.
It's cool, man. It's cool. It can be uncomfortable, man. It's very, very emotional, dude. And it's just an overall one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. What about you guys? You guys seen any good documentaries?
Oh yes.
I was just talking about documentaries.
I think I told you to watch this a while ago. And I don't know if it was the last documentary I've seen. If it is, then I've been doing a bad job with docs, because this might have been 3 years ago. It's called The Woman Who Was Never There. Do you remember this?
I don't think you told me to watch that.
It was a woman who started the World Trade Center Relief Foundation.
Really?
Right? And she told people that she was a survivor.
Oh,
and she was never there.
She
was in Portugal. I think it was Portugal.
I think you told me that.
While the whole thing was going on, right? So she picked one person who died in it. One of the people who were helping people said that she was his husband.
Dog.
And she happened to have random encounters with him in pictures from like meetings where she had to go from Portugal, I think, to the U.S. at the World Trade Center. And she said that they were like married and stuff. Whoa. And dude, it lasted up until like 2009 or 10.
Really?
It was 2011. It was the 10-year anniversary that people found out who she was. She made so much money, and people were like, "Where were you again?" And then that's when she was telling the story like confidently, and she like messed up on a part. She said like the wrong floor that he like saved her on, and someone was like, "He never made it up that floor."
And she had no like rebuttal for that.
No, and no, she was like, and then she like, went back, but then just right there, it opened up the floodgates, and people were like, and it was live on TV, and people were like, wait a minute, and people did digging, and they found out she was never there, and dude, she like disappeared from like the face of the earth, and then it was the 15th year anniversary, right?
Dude, that's wild. People
on the streets with the camera, they just happened to pan to the left, and she was on the street after being missing for 4 years, and then they went to follow her, and then she turned some corner and was never seen again.
Bro, what's this documentary called?
I think it was called, Natalia showed me, I think it was called The Woman Who Was Never There.
Okay, man.
And it was on Netflix, dude. It was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. We watched it, and I thought I was watching a horror movie.
How was she able to tell some of these stories?
That's what I'm saying. They're like, what is wrong with you? Like, how could you lie? How could you say this guy was your husband?
Biggest lie.
Yeah, dude, it was in a newspaper. It was on national TV. They had clips, and I'm like, I went on YouTube to find them. I forget what her name is, and I found the clips, and I was like, oh my God, this woman, like, she sold a 10-year-long lie.
See, I've got to ask, the only question I can ask is, like, what's the point of doing that? That's why I think some of these people are, like, sociopaths. Because
she said that, I forget what she said.
Like, you must.
But she, like, wanted to, feel alive or something. It was something so bizarre.
Sociopathic behavior there. That's what it is.
Yeah. And dude, it was my skin was crawling.
Yeah,
like,
of course, man.
Because they were like showing like her whole actions and behavior, and like how no one like realized it. And I'm just like,
wow.
I was like, dude, that's like, how many people do that like on a day-to-day basis? Like, if we know them or we see them on TV today, that 5 years or 10 years from now, we're gonna find out that so-and-so was a scumbag.
Yeah.
Something like that, which is going to segue into my next segment, but continue. What's your
All
documentary?
right. Well, this documentary is pretty old. Actually, it's on Netflix. You guys probably saw it. It's called Imposter. It was
No.
about a kid in North Carolina in 1994. He went missing, and they didn't find a body. You know, he was missing for days, months, years.
They did find a body or didn't?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Okay.
Did he have like a mom and dad?
Yeah, mom and dad.
Okay.
He came from like a broken home though.
Okay.
But he went missing in 1994 in North Carolina. I don't know which city, but he was playing basketball. He was last seen playing basketball, and then that's it. So time goes on. You know, they don't find a body, whatever, and then they get a call from someone in like Spain, I think, and it's like, we found your son. He's over here in Spain. And then, you know, they're like, no, it can't be.
Yeah.
So the mom, I think, flew over there.
He started from North Carolina.
But you hear me out here.
How
So
old is he supposed to
okay.
be?
I think he was like young, like 11, between the ages of 11 and 14.
Yeah.
So they got a call saying he's in Spain.
Yeah.
And mom's like, no way, it can't be. They go over there. They see him. And they're like, oh, wow, like, you look a little different, but I can tell you're my son. So then they bring him back over.
This is weirding me out just listening to
They
this.
bring him back over to North Carolina. And I think for the first couple of months, maybe a year, he didn't talk at all. Like, he didn't talk.
Yeah.
And they just
And they're
attribute
like-
that to the fact that he was traumatized or something.
Yeah, like what happened to this
Yeah.
kid?
But I'm not going to get into the specific details, but what it comes out to be is that's not him. It's a con man that was trying to escape some type of situation in Spain.
Wait, this
Yes.
child was a man?
It
At this
was
point.
a man. It was like a man that portrayed. He didn't look anything like the kid, by the way. But I guess something traumatic in the
Yeah.
parents' head. Just knowing that this could possibly be your son,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
How much time had passed?
Years, bro.
Okay.
It's
so it
it's
makes more
old, from
sense.
2012. It's called Imposter. I saw it
No,
on Facebook.
I'm talking about from the time the kid was abducted, quote unquote, to the
might
time
have-
they went.
It's over a year, bro.
Okay.
It was over a year.
What?
It was years. So he
This is
they
interesting.
just so he was a con. He ended up being a con man from
course.
Spain or Portugal, one of those countries. But he was trying to escape a situation, like meaning that I think he was homeless or he was mistreated or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, like let me find a way. I'm desperate for something just to get over
Yeah.
out of my situation.
Yeah.
So that happened, and when that happened, I think by that time he was well into like the family and school and all that stuff.
Do you speak English?
Yeah, but he had an accent. But he didn't say anything for a little while. But then he started talking, and I think the sister caught onto it. She was like, "Wait, why does I forget the guy's name?" But she was like, "Why does he have an accent?" Like, what? And she's like, "No." And mom was like, kind of naive. She was like, "Well, it's probably because he was living there or whatever.
this is
He was
so-
young when he got abducted, so
Yeah.
whatever."
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a con man that was trying to get out of the situation.
Bro,
It's called
that's
Imposter. I think you
insane.
can find it on
Oh,
internet.
I'm definitely gonna watch
Yeah,
it. I'm
it's
gonna watch
good.
yours too, man.
That shit,
That's
like,
insane.
you talking about skin crawling, bro?
Yeah.
That shit made my
Oh,
skin
like you have a
crawl,
grown ass
Well,
man portraying a little boy?
Yeah.
Not only that, but like you have now a stranger in your house. You're asleep.
Yeah.
There's someone in your house,
Yes.
dog, that first off probably doesn't speak your language. That's just walking
then-
around at night.
But then when I was watching it, the thing I thought was
Ugh.
like,
Oh, that's just like, ooh.
but when I was watching it, what I thought initially was like, okay, as fucked up as this sounds, I understand it why he did it.
Right.
He's trying to get out of a situation.
Oh, yeah, he's trying
I
to
think it was
leave.
something where he was like abused or something like that, and he was living in a government system that I guess didn't care about him. I don't know, but
Yeah.
he's when you're that desperate to do something like
Yeah.
that,
Right.
You just reminded me.
you don't. Yeah.
Like, how did he think this was gonna end? That he was gonna keep up the facade of being their son for the?
I mean, I thought
life,
I
a
probably
facade?
thought he'd probably grow up,
Facade,
find a
not
job,
facade.
go to college,
Yeah.
and skip a situation, and then now it's like,
Because, because you just said that, you just reminded me why the woman told that lie. And this is going to correlate to what you were saying,
Okay.
Germany. She was obsessed with American culture, and she wanted to feel American.
oh, she wasn't American.
No, she was not American, and she wanted to be American.
Sounds like such an excuse.
See, it sounds like an excuse,
Insane.
but if you put your, all right, man,
I think that's what it was. I'm pretty sure. Like, you triggered something, and
Yeah.
that just came up in my head, like, and I feel like that's what it was. Because I haven't seen
it
this
sounds
doc
like
in
an
a
excuse,
while.
but I believe it.
Yeah,
And the
her
reason why I
twisted
believe it
mind.
is because, bro, like when people are, I guess they feel like their backs against the wall, or they want to be so heavily a part of something.
Yeah.
They'll go through extreme lengths to get to that, you
Right.
know, one way or another. Huh?
Why is it so easy? Is it because that these people target when people are like
Well,
traumatized?
I don't think we would expect people to lie about a tragedy because we look at them like this is a tragedy. We're all affected. Like no one's gonna.
That's
lie.
where the sociopathic behavior
Yeah,
comes from.
that's
But part of it, it's
right.
like, that's legit how she feels.
Right.
That's like a lack of sympathy, right? or empathy.
Totally, yeah. It's probably just a lack for regard of other human emotion in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really tough.
Dang.
Those kind of people, like they could,
Yeah, stay
they could
away
get,
from it, man.
They're sick.
they could get cut in the face and look at themselves in the mirror and just be like, okay,
This is great. Like,
this is
real.
great.
Dude, that's sick. So what about you? Besides the Rogers, do you have any other ones
Documentaries?
that you've seen recently?
No, I'm really big into imposters. I'm really big into like finding out secrets.
I
though.
love like murder mystery type
Yeah.
of shows and like
Yeah, you do.
just things where they have to make you think like why.
Yeah.
Like I like to after I watch a documentary or just a movie in general, I want to ask myself like why did they do that?
Right.
So what do you
I
guys
like
like better?
motives.
Do you guys like the dramatization of the real event, or do you like the documentary better?
Documentary because like I like when people explain something.
The dramatization, I can't stand. I love the documentary. That's
You like
what I
doc?
meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the dramatization, like I'm big into Bible stories, man, and like stuff that went on in the Bible, and it's just like a bunch of like white people and British people like being Jesus and stuff like that. I'm like, this is so bad. Like
That
this
is
is
so
awful,
real.
man.
That is
This
so
is
real.
awful. All these like white Egyptians and stuff. You know, like I like stuff to be as accurate as possible. And when you hire actors to be in a dramatization, I know you're trying to showcase the talent, but it's all about like what actually happens. So
Yeah.
you got to go document
And
it.
hearing different viewpoints is what's amusing to
Yeah.
me.
Right.
There,
Same,
I think
bro.
there are a rare few where the dramatization is better than a doc.
You got to name one right
so
now,
yes,
bro.
yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street.
We'll
Give you a
see.
perfect example. The OJ.
Well, I got
The
something.
OJ thing. That drama.
That one,
was
yeah.
Amazing.
Did
show?
you see that?
Yeah.
The show.
Okay, now I got to watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
now
there
I
there
gotta
was
watch
two.
it.
They had the show with
and then the
Cuba
Made in
Gooding
America
Jr.
ESPN documentary.
Yeah.
That shit was good too.
Which
Oh,
was good.
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, it was 7 hours long.
Hold up. I got
Yeah.
a documentary that I watched that was crazy. Remember the Menendez brothers that killed their parents?
Yes, I.
Wait, you talking about the 12-year-old?
No,
how old
it's
is it?
Dog.
they were
Dog.
20s,
Dog. They were in the 20s.
and they have a TNT show.
This
It's
documentary
Law and
is
Order.
gonna-
The Menendez Brothers.
This documentary will mess your life up. This one is they talked to the one cooperative brother in jail last year, and they're like, "Yo, what really happened?" And he was just like, he's like, I told you, like, the truth is out. Everybody knows by now, but I'm just going to walk you through it, like, step by step, what happened.
And they remember every
I want to
single
spoil it for me because
detail.
I like.
You want me to spoil it for
Yeah,
you?
spoil it.
Well, there's two.
Okay,
There's the
there's
doc,
yeah.
and then there's the TV
Well, just tell
show.
me the story because I don't know.
It's
like,
crazy,
what
bro.
They did.
It's really nuts. So, like, the Menendez brothers were, they were born into this, like, super rich family. Like, they were just two brothers, man, that were, like, very, very rich. And their dad was this rich guy, and the mom was a rich guy. But, like, the mom was kind of, like, begrudging that she had these children. Like, she wasn't really cool with the fact that she had kids, so she was kind of rough on raising them, right?
Yeah.
The dad wanted them to be, like, tennis players, the best tennis players ever. So he would, like, pressure them to work out and
Ooh, I think I
practice,
heard
like,
it. Is this the 90s?
yeah, in the 90s, like, really, really hard, really, really hard. So, like,
Right.
what's crazy is that they were friends with OJ. That's what reminded me of that. Like the
Oh, really?
the Menendez brothers, they were friends with OJ. So they have big parties over the house, and OJ will come over and all this stuff, right? So it gets dark real quick. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I don't want to make this podcast super dark.
Shit. I'm just kidding.
Bro, it gets super crazy. So like, the dad was having sex with them because he was into this like a belief, this
Yeah,
like
fucked you up right
this
there.
ancient Greek belief that like, you know how like the Greek warriors used to have sex with each other.
Socrates and stuff like that. They would
Yeah,
have sex
so
with the young
he was
boys.
part of this twisted mindset that's like that's what made like warrior mentality. So he'd have sex with his sons, which led the sons to sexually abuse each other, right? So now,
So they would start. Sexual? How do you sexually abuse each other when you? Wait, I'm so confused.
you
there.
do some
It's
crazy.
like, yeah, it's fucked up.
Yo,
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying it
they're
doesn't make
big-
sense if they both know what's going on. Why would
No,
they?
because
No.
it was happening for so long.
and no, it was happening separately. So they didn't know that the other brother was getting.
Oh, okay,
sexualized.
cool. All right,
So
makes sense.
they were
All right.
emotionally traumatized,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
thought it was normal because they were so young.
Yeah.
So they would like sodomize each other. It got crazy, bro. So basically, they were really, really effed up. On top of that, their dad was abusive. So like, if they were late to practice, they get beat.
Yeah.
They'd have to practice so hard all day that like they had no life. Like they were panting at the end of every practice,
Okay.
right? So their dad was crazy. Now, they basically find out that both of them are getting sexually abused because each one thinks it's only them and the other brother's safe. And like that was their only reprise. They were like, at least my brother's not getting messed with. And the other brother's like, at least my brother's not getting messed with. And then there's this point in the story where they both find out that they're getting sexually abused by their dad. And they're just like, So it comes out. They're just like, yo, you like, I can't believe that you've done this. Blah. They both like talk to him at the same time. Like, we're gonna go to the police. He's like, you're not gonna go to the police. He's like, otherwise, like, I'll kill you. He's talking all this crazy stuff, right? So what happens is they go out on a boat trip by themselves. So it's the mom, the dad, and the 2 kids. And the 2 kids are out on the boat by themselves, and they're thinking to each other. They're like, yo, the Menendez brothers. They're like, if what he said is true, he can just throw us off this boat right now and kill us, and nobody will know.
Be killed.
Right? So they get back to the house and they're like, we got to kill our parents. And so they get a shotgun, dude, and they just blow their parents away. And then they call on the phone and say that they've been murdered. They didn't say that they killed them. They call the police and say, yo, our parents have been murdered. So the police take it as a serious thing. They're like, all right, we're going to find this killer. Don't worry. Sit back. You know what I'm saying? So they're going over all the evidence and stuff. And one of them cracks, bro. One of them cracks. But it took a long time. So to the public in the 90s, everybody was like, these Menendez brothers, their
sick.
parents are so rich, they wanted to kill them to get the inheritance. They're sick in the head, you know what I'm saying? So there was all these allegations. And at the same time they were being prosecuted, the OJ case was going on. And so they were friends. Yeah, and they saw each other in prison. Like OJ was like, he saw one of the Menendez brothers. He was like, yo, what are you doing in here? And he's like, well, I saw the news. Like, you killed your parents. Like, it was crazy, dude. Like, so it's a really, really good documentary. Definitely kind of disturbing, but to hear the brother's account of the whole thing, and like, he's as honest as he can possibly be, and he's a cool dude. Like, you think he would be like totally unapproachable after this, but like, he transformed his life.
So, all right, my question to you guys though, like, is that justified? I mean, no murder is not right, but
no.
In that situation,
If someone's messing with my little brother, bro,
I don't care if your mom, dad,
bets are off, dog.
Don't matter. It's like
bets are off.
Yeah,
That's such a
The
hard line.
The mom knew what was going on, and didn't stop it. That's why they killed her.
This is gonna sound. I'm not really afraid to say this, but hey, man, good riddance. That's what happens to you when you do shit like that.
Bro, I'm telling you, man.
If that's what they're saying is true,
I empathize with them, dude.
Yeah.
I empathize with them because it's easy to say, "Oh, let the law take care of it," but it's different when you're
when you got
family's
money
being
like that,
assaulted.
they knew that their parents were people of power, you know.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is say, hey, "Listen, like this never happened." You know?
Just write a check.
Right back to the same shit.
That's why that's why the OJ case was so bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like everything pointed to him. He even escaped in the and like everyone knows he did it.
But at the same time, though, like
it's just
LA
crazy.
at that time and what happened, the defense team painted a picture.
Yeah.
That
because it also helped that the police brutality was going on at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
So like that, it.
But
that
you're right.
was
You're
crazy.
right though, man. The writing's on the wall. Like Johnny Cochran got cancer right after that.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if that's not what people call karma, you know what I'm saying? What I believe is God. Like,
my mom told me she was at work when the verdict was played, right?
Yeah.
And you know how like you see that, like you always see that video of the white people like, oh man, fuck, and then like the black people like, yes,
yeah,
that legit was a thing, bro. That happened. Like
really?
people
Because back then that was considered a win because black people were getting beat in California.
Yeah. It's not right. I still think he did it. Like, and he should.
I think everybody knows.
Dude, his 60-minute interview that he did.
You saw the allegedly where he's like, if I was to do it, this is
I would do it like this, and I'm like, and then after he would say it, he'd be like this.
Oh my god!
I'm like, dude,
his deposition, bro. When he was
twisted.
talking, he was like, "Yeah, I don't want to answer this question."
Bro, he said if I did it, I would have got. He did everything he said. If he did it step by step, was what exactly happened.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
well,
how is he?
It's nuts.
Also, too, what really screwed up the prosecution was the racist cop Furman,
right?
And also the tampering with evidence. Like I think one of the medical examiners or whatever.
It's like the chain of command.
Yeah. And once you do that, and plus with what's going on in LA at the time, the police brutality against black people, that mixture of that stuff, and then Chris Darden, the attorney on the prosecution, he put him to the stand and say, "Listen, try this glove on."
Yeah,
and he was like, "Look, it don't fit.
Does not fit. You must have quit." I heard, wasn't he wearing like a glove on his hand while he tried to put it on?
So it was, I think it was like a golf club, and whenever you put something outside in the rain, it shrinks. And on top of it, he had a latex glove.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a latex glove on it. I need to watch the show now.
If you really wanted to get that on, bro, he could have.
But
so the TV show Cuba Gooding Jr. is like really good. It's really good.
Really, really good.
However, that ESPN, like he said, the ESPN documentary on OJ is 7 hours
I watched
long.
it.
7 hours?
It's an hour episodes.
Oh,
But I watched it literally 4 times, bro.
okay. So
I
gotta
watched it
watch
the week it came on TV. It
on
was like
Netflix?
So
Sunday.
good.
It was
on
Sunday
Netflix?
to Sunday, and I remember watching it and like,
I'm getting chills right now. It's so good.
Dude, the
you guys
world
make me
was
wanna just
glued
stop
to it.
this and watch the documentary
because
right now.
it was. And
They go from
because
the beginning of his career?
Here's the difference between the two. The ESPN one showed how racist everyone was.
Yeah.
And dude, the shit that they were saying, and even on camera to the deposition,
yeah.
I'm like, what is like? I'm like, dude, like we grew up in like 2 different times.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
And they show you like everything that happened in the trial, like, you know, from the beginning to like the end, bro. And like even when you know, the chase, the high speed chase,
Yeah.
they tell you everything that happened with that, like second by second.
Dude, I heard when that
Wild,
happened.
man.
My mom said when that happened, like every channel on TV
Yeah,
had
every
that
channel.
on. Like,
Every channel.
Every channel had that on.
Yeah, man.
The cop, the cam and
My mom
The
was at
camera
work
in
when
the
they got
sky.
the verdict, bro. They were like, she was in like the cafeteria where she worked, and the verdict happened. All the coworkers came out. They're like, guys, hurry up, everyone come
That's
out.
crazy.
Dude, it was that big, bro.
Dang, man.
And everyone knows he did it, bro. It's
I don't think we've ever had something like that for us. Like, kind of 9/11, but we were, like, really young.
what do you mean, something that stopped the world? Kind of.
Something, yeah, that, like, we all
9/11.
gather around the TV. But I was...
The only events that I can think of that stopped the world positive was Obama winning.
That was
That
big.
I can remember.
was
There was
huge.
Obama winning. Yeah, that was massive.
Yeah, that was big.
It was 9/11, Obama winning when Osama bin Laden
Osama
was
bin Laden got
killed.
Yeah, but
big.
that wasn't like, all right, 9/11 when it happened, bro. It was like months. Like I remember being a kid, bro, and just going on CNN, and like that's all was
Were
played.
you in Bensalem at that time?
No, I was in Northeast.
You were in Bensalem, right?
Yeah,
We
man.
were on strike. You
Yeah,
remember that?
we were on strike.
Yeah, we were on
We
strike.
had an early dismissal. I remember it because
I remember that, too.
our gym teacher became the principal that year.
Wow.
Weird, I know.
What school is this?
Anne Frank Elementary.
Okay.
Start
Northeast.
from the bottom, now we're here, man.
Yeah, I know, right? So he came into our classroom. He was really good friends with one of the teachers, my teacher at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, something terrible just happened. A plane ran into the Twin Towers, and we just received news that there's one that's in Pennsylvania, or it's about to hit Pennsylvania or something like that. We gotta get the kids out of here. Like we're talking to district as we speak.
Yeah.
We gotta get the kids out of here." And I remember thinking like, "What the fuck?" And my friend was like, "Yo, it's World War III. Like this is crazy."
I
whatever."
remember people were saying that.
Got home, my dad sitting on the couch like that, TV right there, and he's looking at it. He's like, and I'm seeing like the footage, the replay of it, like the first plane and the second plane. I'm sitting there, I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
I
Like, as a
remember.
kid.
I remember my mom. I think she came home. I think she like rushed home, and I don't know if I was outside, but it was like worrying because like I'd never seen her like that.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I remember going to TV, and I think she was calling my grandmother, right, my mom. And then I remember live on TV seeing the second one hit. And
You saw that?
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
it was
hit live on
it
TV.
was on live television, bro.
Live television.
My
And
parents
I
saw
remember the reporter was like, "Oh my God, the second tower just been." And my mom was like on the phone. She's like, "Oh my God, did you see that?"
Really?
And I that's the only thing I don't remember where I was that day, but I remember seeing that.
I remember every second of that day. It was a normal day.
That's crazy, man. My parents like hid it from me, man. I just remember exactly what happened. We had an early dismissal, and I remember teachers were crying, and I was like, "Why is everyone crying?"
Yeah.
So I was walking home. I was like talking to my boy. I was like, "Yo, why are people crying?" He's like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "But we got the rest of the day off."
Yeah.
So I went home, and then my mom was crying, and I was like, "Mom, what's up?" And she was just like, she's like, "Nothing. I'm just very sad right now." She's like, "A lot of bad things are going on." The TV wasn't on in the house. I remember that. And usually the TV is on. And then my dad came home because he came home early from work.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad started talking about war. He was like, I was like, "What's going on?" My dad's like, "We're probably going to be at war for a long time."
Speaking of war, I remember the first night we attacked in Iraq. Like, remember that bombing? Remember that bombing? I think it was, I don't know where in Iraq, but the first night, remember they were saying, because they had like a countdown on CNN.
Like after 9/11, like right after.
Yeah, it was like a presentation. They were like, yo, U.S. is going into it right now.
Yeah.
And then they had like, I think it was like I forget the guy's name. It was like Sanjay something. He was like, yeah, right behind me. They're about to attack. And then I saw it.
What?
Yeah,
I
bro.
was
when they let that first bomb off in Iraq.
Dang.
I have a picture. I don't know where it's at my house. It was because we were on strike for a while. My Aunt Gina took me to see Lion King in New York, I think 2 days before 9/11 happened. I think it was the 9th. I think it was on the picture. I think it has the timestamp. Do you remember back in the Kodak pictures?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it said 9901, or it might have been like
That's
90101. It was
That's really
sometime in
crazy.
that timeline.
Yeah.
And I remember the picture we were standing there, and that's just like nuts to me.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember it was kind of, I think it was like chilly on that day. I don't think it was hot. I can't really remember it, but I don't know. I had like a light jacket on. I can remember seeing the picture. We were standing in Times
2 days
Square.
Before, or?
Whenever it was, because I don't know if it was 9901 or 992000. I remember seeing the picture, but
I remember
just
that whole
nuts.
time period because I think a month before that, Aaliyah died. And I remember like that was big on the news too. It wasn't as big as 9/11, but like
I think Left Eye died in the same
the same year.
same
the car
year,
accident.
right? Yeah.
But dude,
That
that
documentary
shit-
is insane.
What?
The one that was on.
Left Eye?
Yes.
Yes, that was good.
Have
that
you-
was really good.
You know TLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Left Eye. She recorded her death.
Yeah, the car
And
accident she got
in
into,
VH1, I remember VH1 played that so many times, and she was like, it was her and 2 other friends in a Jeep.
a boyfriend too.
Yeah, they were in a
boyfriend.
Jeep, and they were like
Yeah.
singing, driving, and I don't remember what happened, but all I remember is seeing like a tree, and then like it just like
Yeah.
and I was like,
God.
ooh, and then after that, for drama effects, they made the screen black,
Yeah.
and then it faded into the picture of the car, and dude, it was like I was like,
Yeah,
whoa,
unrecognizable. You couldn't tell.
yeah.
Also, too, speaking of like documentary versus the dramatization, the movie United 93 about the flight,
Yeah.
the passengers that fall back.
That was a
Yeah.
great
one,
movie.
the one that went down into PA.
Yeah,
Shanksville.
great.
I didn't
movie,
watch
man.
that one. Yet.
Amazing movie.
It was awesome.
They show like from
Oh.
like the air traffic controllers trying to contact U.S. I think flight 111.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like
People
they
on,
talk
people
about
on the
that shit,
plane talking with the. Remember when
Yeah.
the phones had planes back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could, it was like a one way, like they couldn't call you, but you could call them, kind
Yeah.
of like prison, something like that. And I remember they had the video recordings of people
Yeah.
on the. Oh, dude, that was
And the
jarring,
black
man.
boxes too, man. Like the
What's that?
Black box.
or what's it called? The
Oh, and the pilots thing.
yeah,
Where it
yeah.
says everything that the log, like kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
a captain's
Captain's
log.
log.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's in a black box that's like indestructible.
yeah, indestructible because
It can't burn.
can't
it
burn nothing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
So I
Wow.
remember they play the part where I think the first plane that got hijacked, Muhammad Atta, who was like the head of the thing, the mission, he was like, guys, we're going back. We have a couple planes here, and we're taking it back. You guys just be quiet, sit down, everything will be okay. Like so, people, the first 2 planes, they thought like, listen,
Yeah.
like we're going back, so let's be cool. But
No.
it's crazy. But they thought the guys had bombs. That's why no one attacked.
No one attacked because they didn't want it to explode.
Yeah, they didn't want it to
All they
explode.
had was switchblades.
Yeah, and like you gotta
Wow.
think in that situation, it's like I'm gonna die either way.
You know what's
why-
crazy?
If the air
There
marshal
was
had
no
gone-
air marshals at
Yeah.
that time, I don't think.
Well, flying changed, man. Real quick, Seth MacFarlane was supposed to be on that flight.
Really?
It's like a big story. The guy who made Family Guy.
Uh-huh.
He was partying the night before and he got really drunk, so he was hungover and he was late.
Wow.
He missed it by I think like an hour or 30 minutes. And he literally said like he was just like he fell asleep in the airport waiting for like another flight, and then he looked on TV and the plane that he was just about to go on, he saw it just like hit the towers.
Isn't
And
that
he was
wild?
like, he was like, dude, I was almost on that. But it's crazy because
Yeah,
like
I don't know what that would
they
do to
interviewed him
someone's
and they were
psyche.
just like, does that bring like some super meaning to your life? Are you like now endowed to do something great? And he was just like, honestly, no. He's like, I just see it as like I got lucky and
Yeah.
like it just was my time to die. Like he had a very down to earth perspective
Yeah.
on it. Like he
That's
didn't-
how I would view it too. I'd be like, I wouldn't be sad about it. I'd be like,
I think I'd be in like super shock.
I'd be like, damn, that could have been me, but at the same time, that's not my time. I'm here for something greater.
Right.
That's how I would
Yeah.
take it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Damn, that's
Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
flying
it's
changed,
wild.
man. Like I always wanted to fly a 747, bro. I heard people could walk around. There was like bars and stuff in the 747. Like
Really?
we don't got that, bro. That would have been lit. I heard they had like dinners.
Yeah, they
and
don't
stuff.
do them anymore, right?
That would have been sick, man. A plane that you could walk around and like
Like
socialize.
a Boeing
on.
747 or
No,
757
man.
or something. like that.
That's like the stuff they used to have in the 80s where like flying was a thing. Like you could walk
Yeah.
around on the
Yeah,
plane and like
yeah.
go to a bar. Like
I
that's
heard
cool.
about those plans. Yeah.
That's cool. man.
See, like that brings me back to now. Like I don't really complain too much about like airport security. Like everyone shits on TSA, but dude, I better safe than sorry. That's how I
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
it.
And it's not as bad, you know.
The only
Yeah.
issue I have
Go ahead.
with
I know
is
what
when
you're
you're
gonna say.
coming back into your country.
Yeah, they treat you like a.
treat me like a fucking animal.
It's like, dude,
It happened to me twice.
Yeah.
Like it's
I don't
unreal.
like that. But other than that, dude, I don't give a shit. Check me all you want. Like you can check my shoes, check my ass crack.
Right.
I don't care.
Remember, do you remember the issue that they were giving you
About-
like when we were trying to go there?
Yeah.
Because your name.
Yeah, it didn't match the. Cause all right, so I have a weird middle name. It's well. It's
You
on
have
my birth
you have a
certificate.
traditional
African
African
type
name.
of middle name. It's like two
It's all a very long
Yeah.
name.
So on my passport, I think it doesn't say the other part, but on my
It's like cut off, right?
Yeah, it's like cut off. So they're like, wait, are you the same person? Blah, blah, blah. They weren't buying it.
And your passport
So-
picture, you look different a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a couple
yeah,
years
yeah.
before.
Yeah, I look a little different, and then they were like, wait, you're not the same person. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
come on.
Yo, this man was like, I could see in his face, he had sunglasses on, but yo, he was like
I was
hot.
like, dude, come on.
I'd
Like,
have been hot too, man.
'Cause
Because
once-
not only that, it's kind of scary though. It's
Yeah,
like,
because once
yeah, I
happening
thought I
now,
couldn't
yeah.
fly now.
Because once you got past that part, the name part, then we went to the next part, right? We had to put the bags, and weren't they? Was that your bag? They
No,
were
no,
like,
it wasn't.
going
It was Shane. He had,
Shane,
he had
okay.
the iPad.
It
and
was
all
like something. We're like, damn, are we even gonna get on this flight?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like one thing after another, and I was like, God
Yeah.
damn.
But yeah, airport security definitely changed. Like that situation changed everything. Changed the
yeah,
game.
man. Now it's it's super strict. Now like flying is a very regimented process. There you can't yell. Like there's no fun. Like you it's just like I heard back in the 80s there's a whole different game. But like now it's
Yeah,
just
when they
like, you
take
sit
off,
down,
people be like, woo.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
quiet. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
can't
you
do
gotta
that.
literally just go to sleep or just
Mhm.
watch a movie.
I love
You have
flights,
two
though,
options.
man.
Me,
I
me
love
too,
it.
bro.
I love
don't
it.
I don't have any fear of flying.
I love it.
I don't have
Like
any
you know
fear
how
of
when
flying.
the turbulence gets a little crazy, everyone's like,
Yeah.
my mom is so funny. Like, she'll be on a plane, and you know, like when it's like that,
Yeah.
she'll be like,
Now
I'm like, mom, chill.
the one thing about a plane that because like I don't get nervous on a plane either. I'm chilling. But the one thing I hate is that unexpected big drop, and you just feel your
Oh,
guts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is a
Like
little
just
crazy.
going
You know what I
up,
did
and
hear, though?
I'm like, oh, that makes me sick.
You know
to
what
my
I did
stomach.
here? The planes that we have now are outdated, meaning like we need to like build new ones.
Bro, did I tell you what happened when I was on
So-
the Air Norway plane?
What?
Bro, that was the most technologically savvy plane I've ever been on. Bro, there was no. You could have said, "Oh, we were in a thunderstorm." I'd be like, "Really?" I had no idea.
Really?
Like, I couldn't feel turbulence. They had lights on the ceiling, like in the aisle,
Yeah.
that were changing colors, so it would
That's
reduce
lit.
your jet lag.
That's lit.
Wow.
The window thingy, like you know how ours had like the flap.
porthole,
yeah.
Hole? Dude, this had a button. You could set the tint. You could make it midnight black on there.
Lit.
What?
While it was like
Lit.
daytime.
I love night flights, by the way. So that's
No,
I'd be
it
too,
was
man.
daytime.
Oh.
And you could turn it nighttime black.
nighttime? Okay, I'm doing that. Like,
And I was
super
like
lit.
this, and like the captain would be like, okay, it is now 6:52 in the morning. So like the lights on the ceiling will be like dark blue, purple,
Yeah.
and then they turn to like a nice orange, and you could see everyone one by one just like naturally like waking up.
That's
Wow.
sick.
And I
Oh.
felt so energized.
dude, that's the future. Yo, just imagine a flight in like
Yeah, I call
20
that
years from now or
a
something.
smart plane. You know,
Dude,
That's
I,
like the
and I
word.
think
Apple needs to make a plane.
iPlane.
iPlane?
That's
Well, I mean, you
Like a
saw, you
shape
saw
of
what,
eyeball
you
or
saw.
some shit.
Qatar-
I'm
I think,
kidding.
I think
It
Qatar.
looks like a flying iPhone. No wings. It's the iPhone in the sky.
Well, I think Qatar is like right now the leading force for like airplanes.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
bro, their first class is insane. You got to shower in like first
See,
class.
that's
Really?
that's what's up.
Yeah,
Dude,
I've heard about
unreal.
some crazy, nice, like first class like experiences. I wish I could do that. I
one
mean,
day.
you could do first class, but it's gonna cost you a little extra.
Yeah,
They
man.
take like a $200 flight to like maybe $500.
Now they did
Yeah.
that in Qatar Airways. I think it costs $25,000 to fly first class.
Yeah, fuck that. Isn't that like Emirates flying or
One of them.
Emirates too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$25,000.
I think it is Fly Emirates.
You gotta think, bro. 25,000, and it's probably a bunch of layover too. Never.
Do you know who
probably
Casey Neistat is?
Casey Knights. Who?
Neistat.
I do
He's
not.
a YouTuber.
No.
How
So
do
he
you not
tra-
know who he is?
He travels a lot, right?
Maybe I do. Is he the guy that does like the product reviews?
He does do product reviews. He wears sunglasses all the time.
Is he the guy that made like the Google glasses and like he was like, I don't like the way these look, and
Yep.
he made them black? All right, I
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
guy. He has a funny looking nose.
Yep, that's
yeah,
him.
okay, yeah.
Yo, so he did this thing for a long time where he was saying how you can get a free upgrade to first class. Like he did a whole document, a docuseries. He was like, you got to get your flight. Once you get your flight, you just complain. Then when you get a plane, try to get a refund. Then you try to get a different seat. And if they don't give you a different seat, they just boost you to first class. So he got first class free so many times. It's on his channel. You can watch it.
People probably try that so many times though.
Dude, but people will tell them, it's like, oh my God, it worked and stuff.
Really?
But it's really funny. And then he tried it on Qatar Airways, and it worked, and he got first class boosted to a $25,000 seat. Bro, he says that you're in the thing, right? You have so much legroom. You hit a button, your whole seat goes flat like a bed, and when it goes like that, it does a chime. So then your door opens, and the stewardess comes.
Wow.
She has pillows in her hand with a blanket. She's like, let me set this up for you.
Yeah.
There's enough room in this cabin of yourself where she can stand next to you. She puts the pillow behind you, and then she puts the blanket over you. And then she's like, will you need anything else? He's like, oh no, that's it. And then,
Wow.
But see,
and then she notifies you. She's
keep
like, sir, your shower is ready.
What?
And I'm like, bro, dude, and the shower is massive.
Okay, let me just break this down for you. I haven't seen the video, but I'm guessing just by the way that you described it that he has a deal with that airline, and that's a promotional.
Not
video
the first time. The second time he did. But the first time he
You're famous.
finessed the
Finesse a
system.
$25,000.
You're a famous YouTuber with millions of views.
Bro, I'm telling you, when you watch the
story
video,
sells.
I'm telling you, when you watch these videos, you're gonna be like, because he videotapes the whole thing. Like he doesn't like cut. He'll like be in line and he'll show you what he did, and like then he'll tell you on the plane. And I'm like, damn.
More than meets the eye, bro. Transformers. That's all I'm saying, man. But like, I'm telling you, that's pretty cool though. I do gotta check that video out.
Yeah.
But
It was like 20.
were you gonna talk about something before the documentary? Was this what you were segueing into? Because I had to drop something about Michael Jackson real quick.
I actually want to, dude. This
I want to push back the Michael Jackson thing because it's gonna break my heart if he drops some knowledge about Michael.
All right, okay,
you guys,
all right.
you guys
so
might know
mine's
what it is,
quick.
but yeah.
Mine's quick.
Yeah.
Dan Harmon.
Creator of Rick and Morty, also
shit.
also of Community.
I heard about that, man.
What happened, dog?
You're gonna be so disappointed. How much
So
do you love
stop.
Rick and Morty?
I want to work for Adult Swim in the future. That's Rick and Morty's my life, bro.
Son, listen to this.
Bro, this shit.
This broke my heart today.
What happened?
I don't even watch the show.
Well,
that
one,
much.
Rick and Morty might get canceled.
Nah.
All right, he said nah, right? All right. 2009, Dan Harmon did a video, like for a little comedy thing, and it was found today. He pulled down his pants and fake raped a plastic baby.
You gotta think with what's going on in today, like how people are quick to cancel people.
So, but the dude that made a Serbian film, what's up with him? He's still making movies. And there's a scene in that movie that was basically that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know because I watched it. I think I watched it with Ann.
What was the context of the video? Obviously, I don't approve of that because it's super lewd, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, what was the context?
I forget the content because I couldn't. It was like 4 minutes long, and I was like, dude, I'm not watching. I was at work.
No, I would never.
I was
watch
like, I'm
it.
not
Yeah, I would
watching.
never want to watch
But,
that
That's
either.
like,
weird, dude.
But like he was like butt ass naked, and there was like a plastic baby laying there, and he had a camera on him.
What
and
was
I
it
think,
for again? Like, what was?
I
the
don't
message?
remember. Like I don't know.
It was just.
I have no idea. And he literally.
Was it meant for the public?
I don't think so. And he was having fake sex with a plastic baby, and I'm like, bro. And then there was the camp that was saying, oh, people must not know about when he first pitched Rick and Morty to Adult Swim.
Yeah, it
was super messed up.
Well, the whole premise was just like Marty McFly wants to go back in time, and the only way that he can is if he like gives Doc a blowjob. Like that's the reoccurring joke over and over again.
Yeah.
There was no other story besides that. It was just that, and I remember seeing that way before Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I saw that video because that video it was funny, but
Oh man.
but like, dude, in today's time, like you can't slip at all in today's
Yeah, you
time.
can't.
Even though it
Even
was
if you did
10
something years ago,
it
bro.
was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
9 years ago. It was 9 years ago. And I was talking to Artis about this on Twitter because he loves Rick and Morty. He's like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, what is this dude thinking? I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to see the show get canceled. And I think this guy's a genius, but god damn, bro. Come on. What do you like? And even the people who were there videotaping him, say something. Like, dude, like, yo, this ain't
This is
cool.
gonna
Like,
bite you in the ass like 10 years from now.
that's what I'm saying. Like, this could resurface, and whatever you're doing in life will ruin you.
Yeah.
I feel you, but
And he deleted his Twitter.
on the same tone, right? So obviously that's super messed up. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't think anybody will.
Yeah.
But like, what is the statute that we say like, all right, this person's a different person now, like they've changed?
I think.
Like if I held you to something that you
Okay.
said or did 9
Okay.
years ago, like
And
how
I agree with
accurate
that.
would be?
Let's talk about
And
it.
Like for real, like what if
yeah.
I was just like, yo, Sheldon, man, I remember what you said 10 years ago. You can't be
Yeah.
on this. Like, you'd
And
be
I
like,
agree
what?
with that. I think in today's time, because I 100% agree with that. That
agree with you
people do
Right.
deserve second chances. And I even said he technically didn't like do anything. Yes, the act is horrible,
Right.
and disgusting and disturbing. But it was a like not no one come for me, but it was a plastic child. It was a plastic baby.
Not
it was
only
a
that,
toy.
so the guy does that, and listen, in the Serbian film, there's an
Yeah.
actor who does that exact same thing in the Serbian
Exactly.
film.
Yeah.
Is everyone out to kill that actor? I don't know who he is. I don't know
But
where
that
he is.
but that guy, where I think is different, is that guy makes shock value films.
I guess, but
So-
isn't Dan Harmon kind of shock comedy? Like shock comedy? Like
I
there's
see,
some
that's
stuff.
where it's
There's some
like-
stuff in Rick and Morty that's like pretty messed up.
It is messed up, but it's also written so perfectly well that it's like it comes off as dark comedy. Because like dark comedy and shock comedy is like very blurred.
Yeah.
But like what Dan did wasn't funny at all. It was like, dude, that's just weird.
Weird,
Yeah.
right?
Like that's just weird.
But here's my argument for that. And again, I know it sounds like I'm defending him, but
Yeah.
I'm really just trying to play the advocate here,
Yeah.
right? Devil's advocate, whatever you want to call it. Funny, and Patrice O'Neal said this, one of my favorite comics of all time.
Rest in peace.
He went on ABC and he said this, and it sticks with me to this day.
Mm-hmm.
He said these exact words: "Funny jokes and unfunny jokes come out of the same birth. You don't know what's going to be funny until you try it." Maybe in his head, he legitimately thought that was going to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
funny,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's not funny to us at all.
Yeah.
But like, what's the context? Like, I feel like context is being destroyed.
I
Like,
think he's gonna release a statement of
Right.
what the context is, and I think that's what because Adult Swim, as far as I know, before I got here, I was like checking on to see if they said anything, see if he got fired. They haven't released anything,
Mom's
so I
the
think
word on that.
yeah, I
I'm
think
telling
they're waiting for him to give some type of context of why he did that.
We just see the blowback of it all. Like,
Yeah.
because that's
'cause
what
pe-
dictates it.
Yeah, because people are really mad because now it's like the people who are saying Rick and Morty is a disgusting juvenile show. Now they seem to have something they can stand on.
You see,
And you know what I mean? But going back to his point real quick, I agree with you that what someone said 10 years ago should not be harmed against them, especially when they apologize for it. And if they keep apologizing for it, and then it gets to a point where it's like, how many times do I got to apologize for something I said? PewDiePie, Keemstar, like certain people,
yeah,
right?
Walt
But
Disney
I feel
too,
like
man.
Walt Disney,
Dr.
but I
Seuss.
feel like
yeah,
people,
They pick and
especially
choose, bro.
the media is changing and pushing that goalpost back every year. So if we get, it's been 5 years since you said something, you now have to
Yeah.
like spend 7 years in forgiveness or something like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You see, my thing is they just pick and choose what they want to be offended by.
It's true.
If
Yeah, they do.
a lot of the people that are, I guess, offended by this, which you have every right. I can't tell you how to feel, but a lot of them don't even like watch
No.
the show, don't know anything
Of course
about it.
not. No.
If I tell you I'm genuinely sorry,
Yeah.
what else do you want from me?
Right.
But that's just how it is
Mhm.
nowadays. Like,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
See, that hasn't become acceptable anymore. You
Yeah.
can't go into a public arena and be like, "Yeah, it's pretty jacked up." Also, I was super high, and looking at this right now, it's just not funny at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my bad. But then again, it was 10 years ago, and I'm a completely different person.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
fact that
there's
like
no
we won't
apology.
accept that anymore says a lot about what Oz is
Yeah.
saying. We pick
Yeah.
and choose like what
and
we
choose.
want to be offended
like,
by.
dude, I'll give you a perfect example, man. Tyler, the Creator, the OF,
Right.
the
I know
OF era,
what you're
bro.
about
The
to
shit
get
that
into.
he was saying, bro.
Right.
Yep.
But now it's like it's the same people who are fans of Tyler the Creator. I'm not saying like I'm a fan of Tyler the Creator, but
Yeah.
the same
Same.
people who are fans of him are the ones that are like all about the whole Me Too movement.
Mhm.
It's like, bro,
Mm.
weren't you technically in the same light, different
10
back
years
then?
ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But now you've
Right.
are matured to know that
Mature.
that's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So why can't you forgive? Why do you forgive Tyler, but you can't forgive something? And that's not me defending this guy's behavior.
Yeah,
or
that's
what he
actually
did.
a perfect. That's actually like a perfect.
But
analogy.
seriously though, like that's
you can forgive yourself and people around you, but
Yeah,
when someone
right.
in the media
like.
who taught you how to do this,
Especially if
you
I
can't
was
forgive.
young, bro. Like Tyler was what, like 19, 18 at
Dude,
the
yeah.
time.
He
Bro,
was
like,
talking about crazy stuff, man.
it's like,
He even admitted, he was like, the reason I talked about that is like because I knew I would get attention. He's
Yeah.
like, and now I'm doing what I really want to do.
yeah, exactly.
Got him where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Not saying it was right, not saying it was wrong,
Yeah.
but he grew a cult out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So-
dude.
But I hope this Dan Harmon thing, like it blows over.
was my
Dan.
stomach,
I was about to
yeah.
say you're hungry,
I know.
but
Food need
I was
all
about to
day.
say like, I just hope like
It'll blow over probably.
I think it'll blow over.
it will blow over because let's be real, Dan Harmon himself is not
no.
like he's not Seth MacFarlane.
He's not a pedophile as either. You know what I'm saying? It's
like
like
Stephen Fallon was a pedophile.
No, I'm saying he's
that's not what I
I'm like,
meant.
damn,
no.
all these niggas. is fucking
no,
Steph-
no, I meant like he doesn't have the status of Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Seth MacFarlane is known for American Dad, Family
Yeah.
Guy,
Cleveland Show.
Cleveland
Cleveland
Show,
Show,
Robot Chicken.
Robot
But
Chicken.
I will say though that Rick and Morty's taking over though.
it's
that
getting
lane.
there.
It's the
I
best
don't-
show to be on Adult Swim in 10 years. It's
Yeah.
the most profitable thing,
Yeah.
I would say.
I don't think it has the impact
Not
that
yet.
Family Guy has yet, but I think it has the same impact that American Dad has.
I don't hear people talk about like Family Guy. And I'm not saying it's terrible or anything. I just don't hear people talk about it.
It's the same thing with South Park. They're still on.
Yeah,
but they have their fan base, whereas Rick and
Right.
Morty's fan base is like
It's touching.
was us 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With
I
Family
see what
Guy.
you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Family Guy first came out, that was us.
Okay.
So people who are now us now from
Alright.
back then.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now that like I know that you posed the question maybe to see like what we think, but this isn't gonna halt Rick and Morty. It's not, in my opinion.
And they
So-
greenlit what 75 episodes?
Yeah, so that's I mean when there's money involved, bro. Sadly,
Yeah.
it's like.
But the
that's,
thing is, if they do, because he is the voice of Rick and Morty, the show can't go on.
Oh, of course. Well,
Yeah.
you saw what happened with Boondocks and Aaron McGruder when he was like, "I'm gonna do Black Jesus," and they're like, "Well, people want a fourth season of Boondocks." It's like that was horrendous.
Yeah.
I talked about that on the show. I was
Because he
offended.
was forced to do it.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't write it. Somebody else wrote it.
What?
Se-
Boondocks?
season
season.
4 of Boondocks.
Yeah.
Like it's just so bad. But yeah, I get what you're saying, man. So I think it'll blow over. Do I think it was too far? Probably. Does he think it was too far? He probably thinks it was
Yeah.
too, man.
He
So,
deleted his Twitter. So
yeah,
I mean,
bro.
what else can you do at that point? You have to.
It's not like a Louis
Gotta
C.K.
fall back.
situation,
Yeah.
man, where like you're actually like.
that hurt me too, man.
I think it hurt everybody. Because
You know about the Louis C.K.
What
thing?
happened? What did he do?
So you know who he is, right?
Yeah. The allegation.
Oh,
He had
bro, he
allegations
was-
on him, right?
No, not just he came out and said, yeah, everything that people are saying about me is true. He was literally would have women come to his like dressing room or whatever, pull down his pants and start jerking off in front of him, like without their consent.
Without their consent, yeah, that
And
was
it's
a big
like,
thing.
bro, it's like, come on, it's like think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just think.
You know what that lets me know, man? Or I kind of question this, like, how many of these people in these positions are that fucked
In
up?
Hollywood, almost everyone.
I'm dude. Every week it's something new. It's
Hollywood has been disgusting for at least 60 years.
eventually what's gonna happen is we're gonna, I guess people of power that are in these positions in Hollywood are gonna have to really take a look inside of what's really going on.
Yeah,
Because at this point I don't think it's just a coincidence. I think it's like literally that's really what's happening.
no, man.
Guy, girl, don't matter. It's
Bro.
just, you know.
Yeah.
Like, not to sound lewd, but that porno genre, casting couch,
Yeah.
that's a real thing.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Like, not like those videos might not be real, but like that the casting
concept?
couch,
That
the
concept is
concept,
real,
the
yeah.
concept
that has
of it,
been
yeah.
a known thing in media.
Yeah. It's
for
like,
at least,
you want to
like,
get ahead,
50
give me some head. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, you want to get ahead, give me some head.
The thing is, and a lot of podcasts have been talking about this, entertainment podcasts I listen to, not a lot of podcasts in general, that a lot of that transaction is consensual. Like this. So that's to defend. I'm not saying.
That's the flip side of it. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
I'm not saying
Okay.
that like the
Alright.
assault and
Yeah,
and
we
rape
know what
does
you're
happen
saying.
because that totally does, and that's
Yeah.
super messed up. But there's another side where both parties are like agreeing on
Agreeing
this. Like
to
the
it.
guy's like, look, this is how you're gonna get this part.
They even
And the
write
girl's
up a
like,
contract.
Okay, yeah. See, like that goes on, and I think will always go on. But to Oz's point,
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood is a very incestuous and gross thing, and it's the reason is because a lot of these people who are successful, they have these power fetishes,
Yeah.
and like that's the only way they can, get
Yeah.
off, man. So it's weird, dude. But there's the consensual side of it, and then there's the creepy side of it,
Yeah.
and it's so intertwined that sometimes it's hard to separate.
Yeah.
the two.
I think like especially the Harvey Weinstein. I think that started as consensual,
Yeah.
and then he just got power hungry.
Yeah, or it could be this, man. Like again, to preface what you said, or to go off what you said, is, it starts as consensual, and you might have a struggling actor who is given an opportunity from someone of higher power, and they start messing around with them. It's consensual, and
Right.
then it ends up to be that their career's not taking off like they thought it would.
Right.
Now we're in this time where the Me Too movement, all that stuff is, it's out there now.
Mm-hmm.
So you got these people saying, "Well, maybe I can get a little extra money if I come out and say, listen, that stuff that
Right.
was going on with me and
Right.
such and such
Right.
wasn't a real thing.
Right.
It was,
Which is a
I was
shame,
forced
man.
to do that."
It's a shame because there's people who are really suffering.
Yeah, there's people that suffer because, like Charlemagne once said, like no one cares about like the truth because the lie is more entertaining, and that's
Right.
what gets people.
He's in a fuck.
Yeah, he's in another one too. He's another one.
God.
Wait, he got nailed for
Bro.
sexual
Bro,
assault?
he-
Dude.
him and Morgan Freeman, I heard.
Well,
Morgan-
Morgan
Morgan-
wasn't as
yeah.
bad, but
Bro,
Charlemagne,
Charlemagne is literally snitching on
he's-
himself.
dude, he's been saying this for years though.
Dog, I need to hear this
Dog,
story.
all right, do you
man.
listen to the Brilliant Idiots?
That was my favorite podcast too.
And it's like making me, because I'm such a fan of Charlemagne, but after the
know
fuck
you are,
shit
yeah.
he just said, I'm just like, bro. All right, so he was talking. It was like the last episode. He was talking to Andrew Schultz. Did you listen to it?
Dude, he's been saying the same shit for like
Yeah.
the past 5 years.
So they were, yeah. So they were talking, and they were talking. I never heard of this. The the drug that they were talking about, which is like a women's Viagra.
Yeah, it's called who's called it?
The something flytrap.
Yeah, the Venus flytrap.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So it's called like the Venus flytrap, and he said you would give it to women, right? And it's like women Viagra, it gets them really aroused and horny, right?
Yeah.
He said that he used to slip it in women's drinks.
Come on, dog.
Yeah.
And then they would and he said the one woman, he said they would have sex and his boys would be like, oh, we got next. He'd be like, nah, it's just me. And then like they would do the deed or whatever. And then the next morning she'd wake up and she's like, she wouldn't remember like
and
anything.
at least I'm glad it's you. Like,
And then when she said that, I'm like, what is going on? And like I understand the South is like literally a different world.
Yeah, it's different, especially back then.
Because he's from Monk's Corner,
South
Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
Which is like, dude,
That's
like,
country.
That's like bumpkin, like
Yeah,
country bumpkins.
That's country,
and, like,
bro.
Like where you're like, damn, my
They're
cousin's
fucking their
looking pretty
cousins.
good.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Like
That type of shit.
And he got sexually molested too.
Yeah,
Charlemagne?
he got
When he was
molested too.
when he was what?
But he said he
8?
loved it.
He said when he was 8. So
Well, by a woman, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let's make that distinction.
yeah, so
Yeah,
hurt
yeah.
people hurt people, right?
Mhm.
And he said that he did that, and he said he did a couple other times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and Schultz is like, he's like laughing, but you can tell it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And he's like,
what else? He's kind of like,
he's like, dude, like
Yeah.
you rape these women. He's like, no. He's like, dude, you're like telling on yourself. He's like, you need to stop talking.
yo. But the crazy thing about it is
I'm
he's
like,
been
God
saying
damn.
this. I started listening to Brilliant Is I think 20.
I think I listened
13?
2015.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I was a year after. I think you told me to watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I started watching it, and Charlamagne's always been very open about everything, like his motives, intentions, past stories, all that.
Right.
So,
You just reminded me of something too.
he even, you know what's crazy about that
He
story?
even said that
About
he
his
raped
wife.
his wife.
But she agreed with it though.
He said on the podcast, he said,
Yeah.
I raped my wife, and Schultz is like,
Well, she said
what?
in hindsight.
In hindsight.
In hindsight,
He's
he
like,
did.
he's like, I would ask her something from now and then. He's like,
And she
when the
wasn't-
first time we had sex, was it consensual? She's like, I don't think so. He's like, did I rape you? She said, I think.
in hindsight, yeah.
And I'm like,
But
oh my god, because he has a case going against him right now.
yeah, but the most fucked up part about it all though is the tone in which he tells these stories. It's like jokingly, not like you're with your bros. Yeah, man, I put the jig in the drink and
grab him
blah,
by the
blah, blah.
pussy type of talk.
Yeah, and I mean,
This is on his show or another?
Oh, no, it's on
This
Brilliant
is
Idiots podcast.
last
Okay.
week or 2 weeks ago episode.
and I love Charlamagne. Like I looked up to him. Like that's he's one of the reasons why I wanted to start doing podcasts, and it's because
Right.
like he was so honest, and I feel like I have a lot of thoughts and ideas
Yeah, he's cool.
similar to his. Like just being very honest
He's
with
just a
myself.
creative guy,
But this is not looking good for the dude.
bro.
Yeah.
And like hearing it, and it's like you always want to support like people that you look up to, but when you're saying things
I
like
can't.
this, bro, it's like because I'm like now going through that dilemma. It's like, dude, do I even want to support anything that has your name on it?
It's too creepy.
Yeah,
man.
you know.
Yeah.
Do I still want to watch The Breakfast Club?
It's
Do
too
I
cre-
still want to listen
too
to the
creepy.
Brilliant Idiots?
You see, now.
Like,
I'm,
if you're getting revenue, I don't want to
contribute to that.
contribute to your pockets.
But it's hard though because there's a conflicting thing in your head. It's like, well, I
Yeah.
know that you're better than this, but then again, you're like, wait, are you really this
Bro,
fucked up? And I didn't know
and
it.
then he's laughing about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro. And Schultz is like, and people are coming at Schultz saying, it's like, bro, you need. And he's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I don't even know how to process this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm not gonna snuff my best friend.
Right.
He's like, he had a life before I met him, and what he did, he told it, and it caught me off guard.
His
I'm like,
defense is he's talking about it from like, I mean, it's not really defense, but he's talking about it from a place of reflection.
Right.
So meaning like, he probably knows that it's not the best thing to talk about or that he did that.
And at the same time,
But
he was
at the same
sexually
time, the
molested.
way you're talking about it, the
Oh.
tone in which you're talking about it is not making you look any.
It's jarring.
better, you know?
Oh, it's so jarring. Like when he was saying it, I was like,
Yeah, I was trying to say back like, yo, what? Because you know,
I was like, yo, like, why you? I was like, why are you still talking
Yeah,
about it?
it's like,
Like,
dude, you
he's
shut
telling
up.
you to shut up. He's like literally saying, you see on the camera, you see his face. He's like, bro, shut up.
yeah,
He's like, seriously, stop talking.
you're incriminating yourself right now.
Yeah,
by saying this.
and he said, why are you talking about this when you have a case against you right now? And the funny thing is, the Brilliant Idiots is not a live show.
yeah,
They could have cut that out.
yeah, it's a crazy
Like-
they approved of that. So
Like you
So
said,
definitely-
you're keeping that in there, but they took out when Greg swung on Charlamagne. They took that out.
oh, Greg,
Remember
swung
that?
on him, really?
You remember that?
No, I remember that.
I have to send you the episode where he said, "This is God." The episode is "This is God."
Wait, why did he swing on him?
Dude,
I really wanna know
he suffers from schizophrenia and like psychosis.
Yo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Schultz's brother,
Dang.
and he came out as he said he had like randomly they were talking, and he was like, "That was weird. I don't know what the hell that was." Dude, I just saw like a light, like I don't know what I just saw.
Dude.
God coming to strike us down for all
Bro,
the
I just saw like a light in the corner. It was like over there and then went all the way to like your weight and just disappeared. And I was like, okay.
Oh, you're kind of freaking me out though.
I really want to know that this
that caught me over.
I really want
but
to know.
But that just like really messed me up. Right
so
now.
he suffers from schizophrenia and psychosis.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, they were talking about something, and then it was a previous episode. It was like 20 episodes before. He said, yeah, I had just random. He was like, yeah, I had a sexual relationship with a man. They were like,
what?
They were like, what, Greg? And then he started talking about it, and he was like crying. Whoa. He said that these people were calling like his friend like, you know, the F word, the homophobic slur, and like he like stepped in and like because he fights a lot. Apparently he fights people a lot.
Yeah.
And he fought Schultz a lot because he thought Schultz said something. He'd be like, they'd be sitting there, and he'd be like, what'd you say? And start swinging on him.
Whoa.
And Andrew was like, you know, and he would like try and hug him or just like let him hit him. He'd just take it. So on the This Is God episode, right? They were doing the show, and then you can hear where they cut it. Like you can hear exactly where they stop. Greg goes right up to Charlemagne in his ear. He says, "This is God," right? And Charlemagne's like, "What?" And he just swings on him, and Charlemagne just dips it, and then what's his boy's name?
Wax. Wax, yeah.
Wax tackles him, and they get into the
big dude.
Yeah, and they get into the hallway.
What is up with my man?
And they're like, Greg, what's wrong? Greg starts crying, like he's like whatever, like he's just having like he's saying, I need help.
This is on the show.
Damn.
They had to stop the show.
Wow.
But they continued after it. He's like, I need help. So they're like, oh, we got to escort you out the building, right? So in the elevator is Greg, Andrew, and Wax, right? In the elevator, Greg starts beating the shit out of Schultz.
Yo, what?
Really?
Yeah, no reason. So Wax like knocks him out.
Yeah, you got to at that point.
He knocked him out.
That's
so now they're
lunacy.
outside in the street, and Greg like is like saying, I'm sorry, like crying again. And then he looks at Wax. He says, "What's up, you big motherfucker? You want to go again?" Like just like that.
Yeah.
And Wax is like, he's like, Greg, if you step to me, I'm gonna put you down again.
Yeah.
And he didn't. You could tell he didn't want to do that because he knew that he was not right.
Footage?
There's no footage of it. He knew that he wasn't right in his head, and he was like, dude, you know, I don't want to do it again.
Wow.
Took a step at him, put him down again.
Yo.
And they sent him right to a psychiatric place, and he was in there for I think like a month.
Oh yeah.
Is he good now or?
I think he's out now, but he's still like has like episodes.
He's probably getting
Yeah,
medicated.
dude, that's
Yeah,
hardcore.
like-
Like when it takes that.
Bro,
much
I
of
gotta
a
send you
left
guys
turn.
the episode, but I was like,
Please
and
do,
Schultz,
dude. That's
Schultz
nuts.
openly talks about it, and he says that like, because Schultz is like 6. He's a little bit taller than me.
Yeah.
I met Schultz.
Oh, he's a little
I went
taller
to
than
his comedy show.
He looks tall.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's like I'm like 6'2". I think he's like 6'4".
Wow.
And Greg is 6'6".
Yeah.
Like 6'7". So Greg's a big dude.
Yeah. Wax is a big dude too.
Wax is like 6'6", and
husky
wide.
and jacked,
He's just
yeah.
a big guy.
Yeah.
So I remember listening to that. I'm like, damn. But I don't remember how we just got to that.
No, okay. So we were talking about Charlemagne and like the whole
Yeah.
allegation thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's happened to a lot of people that I like, man. It's like
It is,
kind of
man.
weird.
It's weird. It almost seems like there's no end to it.
I think Chappelle said something about that too. He's like, these motherfuckers are dirty or nasty or something like that.
Yeah, but honestly, my roommate said this, and it resonated with me. If you're somebody who didn't do anything, then you don't gotta worry. Like, but even, you know, there's been false accusations and stuff. But ultimately, if you're the dude that didn't do anything, you have enough people to be like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't enough people for Bill Cosby because he did do that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for innocent people, there's enough people that will back
You know
them
what I
up.
used to think though? Like, cause I've been watching Charlemagne for a while.
Yeah.
I used to think he was bluffing,
Lying.
like just talking shit just to make it. Because
Crazy.
he was so jokey about it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was just all for that cutting edge, shock value type of thing. So, cause he does it on Breakfast Club. He's always talking about some. Yeah, one time I spit in the girl's, you know, whatever, but just
Yeah.
crazy
That's
stuff. I'm
nuts.
like, dude, shut up. You didn't really do that.
Stop, yeah.
So when he would talk about this stuff, I'm like, yo, he's joking. But now that he's just going and explaining the story in depth like that,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, he's definitely guilty.
And it's like that. It's like that cry wolf mentality. It's like people will tell you about it, and then you're like, and then when it's like it actually happens, you're like, oh, like,
Mm-hmm.
wow,
Yeah,
that's like, that's fucked up.
a lot of it just makes me like wonder like how many people that I still admire or have that many skeletons in their closet.
Like,
Speaking of skeletons in the closet, what are you about to
Oh,
say?
let's go.
What are you about to say?
Hit us with
Oh,
it.
man,
Hit us with it.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
what
be
I say?
I'm gonna be so upset.
Nah, it's you guys might have heard it already. So, Michael Jackson's voice, you know, it's high. You know,
Yeah.
it's always been high. So it recently just came out that the reason that Michael Jackson's voice was like that is because when he was younger, his parents actually got some sort of medical authority involved, and through however process it was approved, they chemically castrated Michael Jackson.
I think I knew that.
They chemically castrated him, so they got rid of his, and that is why his voice is so high. And also, it adds up because a lot of people, like, in that whole scandal where they said that, like, Michael Jackson was a pedophile and he was messing with these kids, a lot of people who were defending him were like, look, I spent all day around this guy and I don't get asexual vibe at all. Like, we think he's asexual. And so now it's all adding up.
Yeah,
because of what happened.
So he didn't have a penis or he didn't have balls?
Well, no, his testicles were attached, but the process that makes the testosterone that like deepens your voice and all all the puberty stuff was canceled. Wow. With this chemical castration.
So they did that so he would not lose his voice.
So he would be an epic singer throughout his entire life.
Dude, his parents were
That's how serious his dad was about him being a singer.
I know Joe Jackson was a fucking psycho.
Yeah, he was a psycho.
That recently came out from Michael Jackson's doctor. All this time later.
So he doesn't have it. He didn't have.
Well, Joe Jackson also died
too. He has that, but it's the chemical castration. So it's the process where and with the puberty happens that was canceled. So it's a chemical castration. It's basically like having them off, but they were still attached.
So he's
no, his voice just could. He didn't have the testosterone to make.
Good.
All three of our voices are deepened because we grew older.
Yeah.
And
that's why he's always talking like this. It wasn't an act. That's really how he talked. Because
I always
he didn't have any
that,
testosterone.
Man. He was always so mysterious in that aspect. Just
So
I heard that he was, like I said in the group chat the other day. I heard he was a mean dog.
Yeah, I know.
I heard he was a mean dog. He was a cold
music.
He was a cold-blooded killer.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Dropping the N-bombs.
Oh, for sure.
Cursing his mouth off.
For sure. Man. Listen, you got a pet monkey in an amusement park, you're a thug.
You know what I just
already.
watched with Natalia yesterday? I watched his 1 hour long interview with Oprah.
Yeah.
Where she went to the Neverland Ranch, and it was a live interview. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen it before. And this was in 1994, I think. And bro, he had the receipts, man. He was fed up.
Yeah.
With everyone just telling like lies on his names, like, the pedophilia thing,
yeah.
The Elephant Man bones, sleeping in a hyperbolic time chamber. Like
I remember that shit.
Like,
yeah, man. I don't think I was live.
Bro, he was like airing people out.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he didn't have a childhood, dog. That's why he was doing all this kid stuff and weirding people out.
Yeah.
Because he even said it. He said in an interview.
Kids, yeah.
He said in an interview in 1994, I think it was. He was like to Oprah. He was like, "Yeah, my dad beat us all." He was like, "He beat us all." He's like, he said we didn't have friends. We had each other.
Crazy, dog.
I'm like, and you can look at Joe Jackson. He was a sinister.
Yeah,
bro. We're in
one side of his face is like screwed up, and then dude, he was always.
He's getting prosecuted right now for this new finding. But just want to throw this in there.
I thought he was dead. Didn't he just die?
Yeah, he died.
Did he die?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel dumb. But they were saying like, there was some kind of case they were building. I guess not against him, but against some.
How many of
else.
the children are dead? Is it just Michael?
It's just Michael. There's Janet, Jermaine, Tito.
Yeah.
There's like 6 of them, I think.
I think it's 8. I think it's 8.
Jesus,
8 or 9.
And they were all talented.
There's Latoya.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that.
Dude, his music is deep.
Michael?
2 things about him. Okay, so 2 fun facts. In Dragon Ball Z, King Kai's monkey?
Yeah.
The name of that monkey is Bubbles.
Yeah.
Akira Toriyama was a huge Michael Jackson fan, and he named King Kai's monkey after that. But another fun fact about him, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Not sure if you guys have ever played that game.
I don't think so.
Probably did, but not willingly, though.
That's Sega Genesis?
Sega Genesis. Yeah, Michael Jackson did the soundtrack to that game, but he was so upset with how the Sega 32-bit processor made his sound happen, because it was 32-bit game, 16-bit rather, that you play on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
He completely disassociated any involvement with it.
Wow.
So then Sega, in 1994, the whole thing came out with the child molestation stuff, and Sega completely was like, okay, now for sure we're not going to put him in the credits. So all the songs are credited for Michael Jackson's keyboardist. But he did most of the music in that game. And it's crazy because if you play Sonic the Hedgehog 3, a lot of the tracks are actually like they're straight from songs. They're like his songs that like you can compare. Like the end credits theme is basically like the song he wrote. What's the music video where he's walking through New York and it's black and white and he's like going in slow motion?
Oh, is that Smooth Criminal?
No, it's not Smooth Criminal. But Smooth Criminal itself is
The Way You
is
Make
in
Me
that
Feel?
game. Yeah, The Way You Make Me
Yeah.
Feel is he made the end credits theme for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 first, and then turned that into The Way You Make Me Feel. Like it's nuts, bro.
Wow, that actually went boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom,
yeah.
boom,
Okay,
boom, boom,
yeah.
Dude,
Makes sense.
it's
I bet.
crazy.
Did you guys know? Fun fact: I found this out yesterday as well during the documentary. Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson had 10 songs together.
What?
Dude,
Yeah.
that's not surprising to me.
They had 10 songs together.
Do they exist?
Yes, one was released in 1988
They had
on
to have songs.
on Freddie Mercury's album. I forget it was. Michael Jackson was gonna release the next one on. I
Right.
forget what album it was, and then they had a fallout, and so now there's just 8 remaining songs that are just like in a vault somewhere.
Come on, bro. When are they? Gonna
Dude,
come
I'm like,
through?
dude, that's amazing. And I meant to listen to the song after, but I was so amazed when I heard that
Yeah,
fact.
that's
Because
amazing.
then, after I found that fact out, I think you tagged me on Facebook. Someone tagged me on Facebook in the new trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody,
Yeah.
and I rewatched it. Dude,
I'm obsessed
I never
with Freddie
cried
Mercury,
in a
like,
movie trailer. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody trailer twice because I sent him the Live 8 performance. I cried watching that.
Yeah,
by the way.
it's beautiful, man. That's
I
just-
cried watching. I don't know if you ever seen it before.
No,
Queen's
I know you're a
Live
big
8.
fan. I was out with him like 2 weeks ago, and we went hard at karaoke, man. And we
Yeah,
did the
dude,
whole
I got-
Bohemian Rhapsody,
yeah.
just me and him.
Dude, just us.
You're a Queen fan, man.
Dude, like I
I'm
got
way
it. For,
too
I
old
got
to
I
think,
got it
but
from my
I
mom.
think it's interesting. I think Freddie Mercury's probably. I don't know what it is, man.
I think he might be the greatest male singer I've
I
ever heard in
think
my life.
Just
Wow.
just
Really?
bro. That dude is so talented, man.
That range.
The range and the
Oh my
the
God.
like versatility in his like voice. Like he can do
Dude,
opera,
just think of this.
rock.
He was
everything.
he was a gay. Was he Indian again or Pakistani?
No, he was a Middle Eastern. He was from
forget
somewhere
where
in
from.
Africa, actually.
Really?
Morocco. Was it
No,
Morocco?
yeah, he's African, man. He's I
Yeah.
think it might be.
So we're talking in the 60s to
Then he moved
80s,
to
right?
England,
He
yeah.
grew up, moved to England, I think in the 70s or maybe it was 60s. I forget. He was he was straight, then became gay, then went to bi.
He became gay, or he was closeted.
He was probably closeted gay.
Yeah, he could have been whatever the term is, closeted, and then he ended
He actually was
then
bi,
he
but
was
he was
bisexual.
leaning towards the guy side.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
He had emotional
he
attack with
died.
women,
He
but-
died.
Interesting.
He has a child, but he died on his bedside. His partner was a man,
Okay.
Yeah.
but he had numerous women throughout his life.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And he was he Muslim?
Yeah, he was Muslim.
He was,
What?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
He was
you wouldn't know. People don't
He
know.
was
They
a
think he's white.
gay Muslim African man
So he's like a unicorn.
Yeah, he's a fucking unicorn.
in the 80s, dude.
Like-
And grew up in the 60s and 70s, and like moved to England.
Yeah, and became
it's
the
like,
most
what?
influential, talented musician of our time.
Of our
Yeah.
time.
But-
and it's like, oh, dude, and like I was telling him, like, dude, he was like openly flamboyant,
Yeah.
but he was so
So shy
badass.
and
No, he
very-
was just so badass that no one would like. I mean, until we see the documentary, I don't know how people treated him, but like the
There's
way
a
that
really
he
good one I gotta
walked
watch,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. When he
was like,
performs,
"Good, darling." He
Yeah.
was caramel, darling.
Yeah, but like everyone was flamboyant that time, so like he fit in.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
This is
like
crazy.
like I'm trying to think. A lot of the hair bands at that time.
Yeah,
you know
a
they
lot of
they,
them, yeah.
they would sit like this.
Well, that was the
Dude,
style,
like the
man.
British guys, like the
That
British
was
guys
the
sit like
style,
this.
yeah.
You know what's
And
so
like,
crazy,
oh, you
man?
know, we don't really know. We just go down to the local
Dude,
pub
no, and they had
and
this,
stuff. And that's how Freddie talked, but he had a little bit, you know, a little higher.
Yeah.
But that's how they sat, and they had their hands like this. That's
Yeah,
just
that's also a European thing, man.
Yeah,
You know,
a lot
that
more.
is
They wear
European
short shorts
thing.
and stuff. But you know
Yeah.
what's so crazy, man? I don't know what it is. I have like a fascination, like with a lot of the like 70s and 80s like lead like singers,
Mm-hmm.
like just how themselves they were.
Right.
Like,
What do you mean?
like you know how like Michael Jackson, I don't know, like the way he crossed, like you would look at him as just face value, you'd be like, okay, he's probably gay or something, but
Michael
he's
Jackson?
not.
No.
He's just himself.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I like when people embrace themselves and don't give a fuck. That's
because they were
why.
showmen.
That's why a lot of these like, I'm gonna make the correlation here. A lot of these rappers nowadays, like like the Young Thugs, Uzi, those kind of guys, right? They're a carbon copy of those guys from back in the day.
Yeah.
But now people are like, "Oh, these rappers ain't supposed to be like this." I'm like, "Why?" I love that they're like that.
Right.
I love that shit. Like
Yeah.
the different color hair. I mean, some of it is an act, but
Yeah.
for the most part, like you'll see like Uzi, like he'll be walking and he'll do the little thing,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, "I just like how people are like."
Yeah, he's
themselves.
different.
It's
He's
just
different.
Cool to
And-
me.
Yeah.
And like that's what like they tend to remind me of Freddie Mercury because I remember when I was watching the Live 8 performance, I don't think we'll ever see someone have that much power over that many people.
That was their first performance back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd argue that the Beatles were definitely bigger.
Yeah.
As far as having power over an audience.
In terms of sales and impact, I'll say yes, but like what Queen did in such a short amount of time is like
I can give you that.
that's like
That was
dude, that's like iconic.
I will admit, I was
like,
on.
Oh man, I just can't wait to see the movie because I know like I'm gonna cry because like, dude, like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
that's
a
just,
sucker for like when people can like. I used to like how Michael Jackson would go out in the crowd and just sit there for like minutes.
That's dope.
And just people would cry and faint.
Faint, yeah.
Passion.
You don't have that anymore, bro.
Paul
McCartney.
Paul McCartney, man, in Japan, people
Yeah, he
go
would.
bananas,
Him too.
dog.
Yeah.
They go bananas to this day. They go
Yeah.
bananas, bro. It's weird, man. People have an attachment. Music is like it's a gateway into the soul, and when you meet somebody who's like created that gateway, people get funny, bro. They faint, they cry, they
like,
do all
dude,
that.
when we were singing Bohemian Rhapsody, like we both were channeling like
I did feel that.
We can't sing.
I did feel that, yeah.
Me and you both can't sing.
Sheldon and I like got a little theatrical that night, and what was funny because like everyone started paying attention, and obviously because we were making fools of ourselves, but also because we were kind of feeling it.
And
Yeah,
you know what's funny? We like if people saw that, they'd be like, "Oh, they planned that, dude." We were doing like I have the video. We were doing things like in our theatrics of it that like it just came out like we were just like
we're like half acting it out.
yeah,
Like,
we're acting it out, and like. And then a certain part, I would just like look at him, and then he would do the part. Then he'd just look at me real quick, and then I just like my back would be turned, and I would just go like this with my mic, and he's like belting, and then I would like do a spin, and then I knew it was my part, and then he would do something else. Like, dude, it was like
Yeah,
it
I
was
just
so
think
funny.
I
It
think
was
he's
so
one of the-
funny.
I watched a documentary. If I find it, it's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. You've probably seen it, knowing you. But dude, this shit it talks from like the beginning of his like career,
It's
or just
unreal, man.
to the ending, like
Unreal.
on his deathbed. Like
yeah.
to see that, man, and just how free spirited he was at that time.
Yeah,
I think that's what gets me. Like people who were
Yeah.
just undoubtedly, unapologetically themselves.
Bob Marley was
I
one of
love
those
it.
people, man.
Yeah, like,
Bob
they don't
Marley
give a
was-
shit,
he was
bro, when
super
you don't
authentic.
And one of the things that resonated with me in the trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody, he's like, "Oi, Freddie, I think you need to slow down." And he was like, "Don't tell me what to do."
No, don't-
It was something like that, or he was like, "You live your life, I'll live mine."
Yeah, he does.
And
say
like-
something like that.
And like that's how he ended up dying too.
Yeah.
You know
but
what I
it's
mean?
like he did so much in that time. Like he died at 41, right? 41 or 42.
Oh, I don't know.
You gotta think that dude did a lot in those times,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about, bro. It's not about There's people that are 80 years old, 85, whatever. They didn't live a long, or they lived a long life, but not a very.
They barely lived.
Yeah, they barely
Yeah.
live. Like, and that's what like a lot of these musicians, right? Like we can talk about Kurt Cobain.
Sorry, distracted, but did you see his documentary?
Which one?
Yo, Sheldon, how many documentaries you see, dog?
Bro, like when it's like people
There's one I haven't seen.
idolize, Bad Out of Hell.
I didn't see that one yet.
It's on HBO, bro. That is gonna mess you up.
Dude, that's
Like,
like one of my like idols.
it's gonna
man. I
mess
love
you
that
up.
guy.
Who again?
Kurt
Kurt
Cobain
Cobain,
from
the lead
Nirvana.
singer of
Okay.
Nirvana.
But like, what I'm saying, like a lot of these like musicians, I think that's what fascinates me about like a lot of musicians is that they don't live so long, but they do a lot,
Right.
Fast.
and they impact so much, like so many people and touch so many
Jimi
people.
Hendrix.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
I've always felt like they learned the lessons too quick, and now they have to pay the price. Like
Yeah.
they figured it out, and now it's like now
But
you
they
have
knew,
to leave.
but deep down inside, they knew that they were gonna go soon.
And
They-
some
you know
of
what I
these
mean?
yeah,
people.
that's the
That's
weird
the part that fucks you up a little bit. And
Yeah.
and you find yourself trying to search and figure out how did they come
Yeah.
up with this sort of
like Biggie Smalls is a prime example, man. Like that guy had a really weird inkling that he was gonna go. Like it's very, very
Ready to
weird.
die.
All of them do.
ready to die.
Yeah.
Dude, they all knew. Like, dude, Kurt Cobain would like. He's like, I'll probably die next year. Like,
Yeah.
you know that.
But
like,
he was okay with it.
Jimi Hendrix would put acid in his headband,
Headband.
Yeah.
sweat, and it's like, bro, you're asking to like just
Yeah.
Be overridden, like
and
just
it's like,
overdrive.
Those guys I look at as like they're not mortals, bro.
Nah.
Like, they died, but like I'm saying, like they're
like
superhuman.
knock on
that's-
wood.
see that way.
that's
Knock
how
on
it
wood, and I mean this with all respect, but I feel like they're the type of people that are purposely here for such a short amount of time to teach.
to teach something
To
in
To
some
teach
way
something,
or
and they
impact.
and
That's
then
a
they
deep way
and
to
then
look
they
at it,
leave.
man.
Yeah.
Because, bro, think about it. Aaliyah, Left Eye, Elvis Presley, Kurt Cobain, Freddie. I think Freddie. There's what's
That's
it called?
still
The 27 Club that they have.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, like all these artists that
27 Club.
died.
Wow, how old was Bruce Lee when he died?
Bruce
that
Lee.
up.
Was he 27?
Nah, he was a little older. I think wasn't he like 40, 38 maybe?
I'm gonna find out.
Nah,
Right
his son died. His son was the Crow.
Yeah.
Right, he died. I think in his 20s as well.
He was 32.
32.
See what I'm talking about? When you die
That's
that young, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
and think about in that short amount of time that he had his film career, he had some of the arguably some of the best martial arts movies ever, like from the 70s, and they
And
still
nobody could
age well.
duplicate Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
No.
None of them could duplicate.
But not only that,
shit.
Joey Diaz had a really good take on it, and I'm not gonna steal. I have to credit him, but he said that like back in the day when that was coming out in the 70s and 60s, like immigrants felt really small in the United States,
And that's why he
then-
says The Bronx Tale is his favorite movie. I love that
right,
tale.
but exactly. But you also got Bruce Lee. That's like, look, you may not be from America, bro, but you can still be awesome. Like you can still be a hero. So like Bruce Lee was like every immigrant's hero. Man.
Yeah.
So that's another dude. But like, I got two people. First off, I really admire Muhammad Ali, but like he wasn't part of that crew. Like he actually held out. What was weird is that we actually watched him like dissipate, like slowly burn out.
Yeah.
But he was so legendary. Like that to me always stuck with me. Like this man that was so memorable and did so much, like he wasted away. Like isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he wasted away.
And we saw it.
Yeah, that was scary, man.
But we still hold him at like a high regard though. Like
He was a
I see
savage, bro.
quotes all the time. Like people see that's what life is about in my
Dude,
opinion.
his interview where he was going back and forth with the white woman. Like,
yeah, he's like, I love that one. I
Dog,
love that
when
one.
he stopped that guy from committing suicide, you guys ever see that video?
I seen
There
that.
was
Yeah.
a dude about to
No
jump
idea.
out of a building, and Muhammad, the cops are like, "Don't jump." There's a classic police perimeter with the ambulance and stuff. They're like, "Don't jump." Blah blah blah. Muhammad Ali comes through. They're holding everybody back. They're like, "Yo, let him through." He's Muhammad Ali. He's like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Somebody's about to jump." They're like, "Let me up." So they just send Muhammad Ali up. They trust this guy by himself.
Yeah.
And he tells the dude, the dude's about to jump. He's like, "I'm not here to hurt you." He goes, "I'm your brother. I love you."
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that? And that's what stopped
Yeah,
the guy
dude.
from jumping,
Dude,
man.
it's
Like,
wild.
it's just so cool. He's like, "You're Muhammad Ali." He's like, "Yeah, dude, I love you. Like, don't do
Yeah,
this."
don't do it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Like, he
dude,
uses star
sometimes
power
people
for
just
that.
need the,
But
it's just the
What were we
reassurance.
saying? Yeah, I was taking away from Oz's
No.
point.
I'm just saying that's like why I love like music. And some people like Muhammad Ali was a boxer. They that might be their escape way from the real world.
Right,
But for
watching
me,
fights.
Pretzel.
pretzel.
Yeah.
For me, like music is everything for me, and that's like
Yeah.
I think our basic form of like that's what we relate everything to. Like if I'm going through something, I'm gonna listen to a song that there might be a lyric in a song that might register with me and change my whole life.
Right.
Music is so powerful, bro. And like
It is, man.
like I try to tell people like they're like, yo, why do you like music? I like music, but it's like it's like why are you so obsessed with it? I'm like, dude, that's why. And then these figures, like these singers, musicians, like I just think they're so interesting, man.
They are,
I
man.
think that's why.
It's crazy to me.
It's a magnetism
Yeah.
about them.
Because I know your favorite artist is is Drake your all-time favorite, or is he like?
Yeah, I would say only. Yeah.
Wow.
So when he made music coming up, that was during a very impressionable time in your life, obviously.
You want to know why I like Drake for? Because I feel like he's the first rapper. I don't know, just his. I watched his upbringing, like just from like the Degrassi
You
stuff
you
until-
watched from Degrassi way
to
before his
everything. But I feel like I relate with him. Like he was like the first rapper, and a lot of guys would, rappers would talk about, chicks breaking their heart and stuff, but they were
Yeah,
never
for sure.
really vulnerable with it. Like I feel like Drake would be like, listen, this is me. I cry over girls sometimes.
Right.
I'm sad.
And people roast him for that.
And he got roasted for it.
Meanwhile,
but it's
they're
like,
doing the same thing, crying over girls in their real life.
exactly. Like he
Yeah.
was real with it. It wasn't like, yeah, you broke my heart, fuck you, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that. It was like, yo, like you texted me and you told me I ain't shit, and I cried for days about it.
Damn.
We go through that, man. Sometimes, like some of us.
People do, yeah.
You understand what I'm
That's a
saying?
real thing.
And I think that's for me, that's why Kid Cudi and
Yeah,
the Weeknd are
Exactly. Weekend does it too, and Kid Cudi.
they're like I don't know if they're almost at my all-time favorites. It's more so. It's like becoming more so the Weeknd now because his consistency is unreal.
yeah, it's
But,
definitely.
Obviously, when his music came out, none of us weren't doing any of the things that he said.
Yeah.
But when he was singing about pain, dude, it just really resonated.
Also, too,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I feel that too. But another guy that really, as a kid, I was really taken aback by was two people. It was Eminem. Even though I had both my parents, right? Like I didn't go through any of that shit. But I just never forget the famous Stan song, right? Just hearing that shit. Or even Kim, the song Kim, that's a very vulgar and very crazy song. And I've never been through that. I probably never am gonna go through that.
Hopefully
But
not.
to feel the pain in those lyrics. That shit is touching. And even 50 Cent, like many men, like I always laugh and I say, yo, that shit made me cry. But not because it's sad, but just because like the pain in the lyrics.
Right.
It's like
You hear that.
said what did he say? He said death gotta be easy because life is hard. Blah, blah, blah. Like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that touched me as a kid. I was like, damn, that shit's for real. So like music is just very crazy for me. Like
It is, man.
It just definitely hits me.
Also because in hip hop, man, like a phrase that's so deep like that will cycle by in a second. So your brain will just absorb it. It's like subconscious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like man, what was I listening to? Flower Boy. One of the lines is, or no, maybe it was Wolf by Tyler, where he goes, there's a track.
November's my favorite song.
He goes, your boy look happy, but truthfully, your boy lonely, and like that's it. And he just like flips to like a whole nother line that had nothing to do with that.
Call me.
Yeah, and I was just like, dang, dog, like really? So that, I mean, hip hop's big in that because there's so many messages that'll come out of one hip hop song. Like I always bring up Jedi Mind Tricks, I think it was, Dance with the Devil. So dude, at the end of that track, man, where there were a big reveal. At the big reveal, but also at the end, he goes, "That's why the devil follows me at every one of my shows. He might be standing next to you, like maybe in the front row." I think one of the lines is that, like,
just
bringing it
bro, back some shit.
I was just like, whoa, because everyone remembers the first time
instrumental too, bro.
Yeah,
Haunting.
Yo, I can't go home now.
Scary, right?
Yeah.
But yo, see, like that track, and I don't know if that really happened, man.
No, he said it wasn't real.
Okay, but it's a masterful piece of art.
Yeah.
But like, it makes you feel, man.
9 minutes of just like.
And you're listening to every word.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean.
It makes you feel, bro. Like, so I know what you're saying, Haas.
Or even Biggie's
What, he
Suicidal
didn't know
Thoughts.
he was raping his own mother.
Like,
Dude.
Suicidal Thoughts
That's a
by
crazy one.
Suicidal Thoughts by Biggie. That's another one.
Yeah. The
Which
way
one's
that
that
Fuck
again?
it, I want to go to hell.
The way
I'm a
that-
piece of shit, it ain't hard to fucking tell.
the way that song starts, he sounds angry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what I said? See, this is what I love about music because it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Like you said, he sounded angry. To me, he sounded fed up.
that's what I mean by that, though. Yeah.
Okay, so I take fed up. Like, okay, so you attribute it to anger. I take it as like, man, I just can't catch a break. That's
Right.
how I think of like fed
And
up.
when he's like,
But that
yeah,
line where he's
yeah.
like, I don't want to go to heaven with the goody goodies. I'd rather wear black Timbs
There's
and
a
black
black
hoodies.
hoodies.
Yeah,
All
like,
my
you know,
life I've been considered as the worst. Yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
I'm
And
getting
then-
chills thinking about it, man.
And also too, another like genre of music, because it's not just hip hop. Like I grew up a lot on like the punk rock era, the post grunge. Like
Okay.
I went back and visited that a little later,
Mm-hmm.
but like even that has a lot of like meaning to it.
I feel you.
And,
Yeah.
dude, it's crazy.
I mean, I have a guilty pleasure, man. It's Chemical Romance. And like, dude,
Yeah.
when I listen to some of
Who
their
you
songs, man,
telling, bro?
bro,
Yeah.
I feel like
Helena?
Helena, yeah.
that song, I was just thinking about that.
Was it wasted on good side?
That So Long Goodnight part is sad.
Yeah.
bro.
Dude, the music.
It's so
please don't-
sad.
You know how many times? Wow, I got something. I watched a music
Don't cry,
video. No. I had like a piece
He's
of
like, that's
fun
some mine,
on.
man. It ain't crazy.
No,
Fuck
no,
that nigga.
'cause- Bro, that song, the music video that goes to the song when they're carrying a coffin. and
Casket,
they're-
yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
and if you carried out this way, that part, and then you see his face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was like, it gave me chills. And then when they did the Ghost of You music video,
Okay.
when they're in the war,
Mhm.
and then his buddy's on the ground, like, and his like contestants are out, and he's like doing that harmonizing part,
Yeah.
and then it just echoes right into at the end of the world. I'm just
Right.
like, whoa. I love but My Chemical Romance, right after Black Parade, it just stops.
Yeah, they just
dead
stop,
right
yeah.
They
there.
disappeared off the face of the earth, man.
Well,
But
you
that-
know
it's just that
they
genre,
retired,
though.
right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had a farewell tour in 2016 or 15,
That's crazy.
but they had 3 albums after the Black Parade. You know?
No, but even just that genre like has kind of faded
Punk?
off. Yeah, it turned into like pop.
Is that the kind of genre you're talking about? That's why I brought them up.
That too, and I also like the more like I said post grunge, like
What is
3 Days
that?
Grace,
Okay.
shit like that, like the song
Rise Against.
yeah, Rise Against.
Rise Against.
Yeah.
What's that song about the dude that's a soldier and he's peeing on people?
I can't think of it.
Dude.
Dude, it's been a while. I need to have my
It's like,
library on
Son,
me.
when you see the world. Remember that?
my god!
Why is that at the tip of my tongue right now?
Oh my god! Why'd you do this to me? What is that song called?
I've drawn a blank.
Hero of War. Yeah,
Hero of War.
that's what
That's
I'll
just-
be.
Yeah, that's what's called
'Cause
Hero War.
when I come home. Dude, that song is...
Yeah, man. 3 Doors Down, 3 Days Grace.
3 Doors Down, okay.
I remember that song. It was the Savior. It was,
Yeah,
it was in,
yeah,
It
yeah.
was in one of the WWE video games.
Yeah, us.
It was
07
like,
might have been. Or even, It's Not Too Late. That song is like that
Whoa.
hits you too.
That song's classic.
This world will
If I
never
say it would be alright.
That shit's hard, bro.
Oh my god.
Just like the guitar riff. That shit hits your
Never
soul.
too late.
The pain in their voice. That's why I love grunge music so much, and I appreciate Kurt Cobain so much because the pain.
Yeah. But see, that's why like today nowadays I'm delegating more to lo-fi and chill. Not just because like
Same, bro.
not just because hip hop's my main genre, but like I can't subject my mind to that mental space when I'm not ready. Like those songs make me sad, bro.
Yeah.
Those songs make me
here's the
sad.
thing. This is gonna sound so morbid, but I enjoy being sad.
I enjoy being sad too.
Oh, you
I like
gotta
crying.
elaborate, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta elaborate.
So, like,
you gotta elaborate.
If I'm having a bad day, right?
Okay.
Bad day in the office. He knows where my mind state is, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot. If I'm having like a bad day at the office, just a bad day in general, I'll put on a song that I know will trigger emotion that can just let me cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just be
That will
sad.
just let me be sad. Like the sad song by X. Like, it doesn't affect me now, but I'm sure in a year or maybe 2 years, there's gonna be a moment in time where I want to hear that song, and then I'll finally
I cried like a
understand.
baby when he died. By the way,
I
don't know why I did,
You know
though.
why? It still hasn't like registered with me.
you see, I think all right. Here's my thing, right? And people they're not gonna understand it when I say this, but like, X was like I posted something. I said X was gonna change the game, and I'm not meaning like he's gonna transcend past his like his lane and touch people in different areas. I mean, like the people that listen to him, you're gonna get something from his music. Like the song "Jocelyn Flores," which was about the girl that came to visit him.
That was the first song you sent me about his too.
She came to visit him and she killed herself in the bathroom, and he wrote about.
Wait, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what
that.
that's what the song's about. He said, "I've been tripping about some things can't change. Suicide, same time I'm tame. Picture this in bed. I get a phone call. Girl that I fuck with killed herself." And like that's what he says in the song.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about the girl that came up, whatever. So like, I think
Was his girlfriend or friend?
it was just a girl he was fucking with.
Just
Like,
what he was seeing,
the
yeah.
girl he was fucking with. Like,
Okay.
He flew her out and she killed herself in the bathroom.
He flew her out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the first time that they met?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh goodness gracious.
Oh, he was fucking. I
Gee.
think he was fucking with her for a while. And
Okay.
He finally
Okay.
flew up there.
But still, that is. Man,
So-
that's heavy.
Wow.
The reason why like I cried listening to his music because, all right, first of all, he's 20 years old, so he had a lot of growing up to do, a lot of maturing to do,
Right.
and also too, like out of his contemporaries, I said this to a friend too. I said, yeah, you as well. Like you gotta think who's in his circle. You got Lil Uzi, you got 21 Savage, and whatever. They're not really making substance. Like there's no substance to their
Right.
music. It's just feel good,
Just bangers,
whatever,
yeah.
right? X was doing that kind of music. He was doing the depressive. Like he was one of the guys that was doing. He was delving deep into like the alternative side, the grunge side, the screamo side.
Yeah.
He was like the
the
revival.
singing, yeah, and like he was touching so many people. That's why so many people were affected by it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to like play devil's advocate here, but like say what if like Uzi or someone to die or were to die, right? We'll be sad for like whatever, but it's not gonna.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And I was
I think
listening to
I
this
know what you
song. I listened to this one song of Vice City. It's because when he first came out, he would make music like with no engineering, like it was very staticky and
Very
everything.
raw.
But
Yeah,
just
we
the way
talked
he was
about that Travis
rapping,
last
bro.
week.
The way he was just rapping, like
Mhm.
he was like 16 or 17 when he recorded that song. Like I'll play it for you guys when we get off here, but just he was doing like the boom bap stuff because he can actually like rap for real. Like
sure.
it's not just like
No.
the mumble shit. So I was listening to it and I'm like, this kid has he has so much more to give.
Mhm.
Like he had the allegations against him, like supposedly he beat up his
Pregnant
pregnant girlfriend. I don't know the extent of that. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact he was en route to changing and bettering himself. Like
It seemed
He was doing
evident by the
charities
stuff he
and
was
stuff.
posting and talking. He died on the way to a charity event, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
that's what I heard. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I believe all 4 people involved are now indicted, or
Yeah.
they found them all.
Yeah.
So
But
that's good.
It's hard to segue. Keep your point. I'm just saying, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
It's hard to get away with murder nowadays. If you kill somebody, there's 1,000
Yeah,
ways to
yeah.
find you. But continue. What were
But
you
I was
saying?
just saying, like, no, I wasn't really gonna say anything. I was just gonna say that, like, I had a moment there, like, when I was listening to like his first album, 17, and I listened to it the way through, and I just like started crying for some reason. I didn't know why I was crying though. I was
Yeah.
just like, damn, this shit touched me.
Yeah, man.
But when I first listened to it,
Mhm.
I didn't feel it the way it didn't register with me
Mm.
like it did when he died. I'm like, okay, now I get it now, you know?
Yeah.
So
No, there's
yeah, man, shit's sad for sure. Like music, definitely is my safe haven for real. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have moments where it'll be like you said, like a hard week or a hard day or something, and I literally would just purposely play a song that's gonna make me feel something and make me cry, and I would want to cry. I start thinking about the same thing, like, oh, you know, like my childhood or here or that, and it just starts going down from there. It'll be like a good like 30 minutes to an hour, and then after that I'm good. I'm like, all right,
Just to get it out your system. I feel
like everyone needs that.
I feel you.
One of the songs for me that like it's a long one. It's gonna be, you guys are gonna be like, what? That song is Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day.
Wow.
Cause like,
dude, I don't even remember.
If you think of like I'll play for you after, and if he's like, I'm the son of rage and love, the Jesus of Suburbia, and the Bible of, with nothing of, and steady diet of.
I remember this song.
Steady rum and Ritalin, and like when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, and he's like, no one ever died for my sins, for as far as I could tell, and it's like you just listen to it, and he's like, there's nothing wrong with me, and it's like when you're in that dark space in your head, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that shit hit me. It might not hit you. That's the beauty about music, though. It's subjective. Like, you might suggest a song that's going to make you feel a certain way, right? But me and him will listen to it and be like, whatever.
Totally.
But I can't shit on you for that because that's how it made you feel.
Exactly.
Right, no.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
And you have memories that are associated with that music.
Yes.
That's what's crazy. Like,
we
we
all probably have a certain song that we can't listen to anymore because, you know, it might have been playing when, like, a relative passed or, like, something bad happened. Like, there's, you know.
Dude, I have songs like that for sure.
Yeah, I can't listen to it.
So do I. Trust me. And like songs that like, you know, you heard bad news to, and like you listen to that song and you know exactly.
I can't listen to this. This is so stupid, but the song "Oh My God" by no, it's
Usher.
No, it's not that song. I hate that song. It was it's called "MIA" by Wale and Omarion. You probably never heard of it, right? It was. I'll play it for you later, but I can't listen to that song because I got into a car accident to that song.
Whoa.
Damn.
Like right when I was like, I rear-ended someone. It wasn't that bad. And ironically, it was actually the day Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Or yeah. And that was the day. So that song was playing, and I rear-ended somebody, and for some reason I can never listen to it because I think I'm gonna have a car accident again when I listen to it.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Yeah, and it's not even like a song it's a feel-good song.
Right.
For me, it's like so ironic. It was the day, you know the song by Sia, Bulletproof?
Yeah.
So that song, when that song came out, I remember when it came on, and then I'm listening to it in my room, and then my mom like knocked on my door. I don't remember if she was crying up, but she was real upset, and she was like, your great grandmother like passed away.
Yeah.
And like I was listening to that song, dude, and like you can ask that, dude, I couldn't stop listening to that song for like hours. Like I wasn't eating, I was just listening to that song, and like I was making myself like ill.
Yeah.
What song was
like,
it again?
Bulletproof.
Okay,
I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I like that
And
song.
I was like, fuck. And I didn't listen to it for like
Wait,
3
is
years.
that Titanium?
Oh yeah, that's on. I
Titanium.
am Titanium.
I like that song.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's the song. Yeah,
But not the Calvin Harris.
There's so many remixes. So
Yeah, not
whatever
that
the original
The
The original
song
with
is.
just a piano
it's
or
very beautiful.
whatever.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
No, I think
There's no dun dun. It's no
wait, maybe
EDM
there,
shit.
Yeah.
maybe there is. I don't know.
Okay.
But actually, I think it is that one.
The EDM version makes you feel like that, or
No, because when I heard it, because you gotta think like just read listen to the lyrics,
cool, yeah.
and like then when you get like some tragic news like that, and it's like I am bulletproof, nothing to lose. It's like no, I just lost something. I am not bulletproof. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
ironic. That's why, and like
Okay.
it like oh man, it sent me down a freaking spiral.
There's some songs that freak people out too.
What's some songs that get you like going where you're like fuck?
Like if you need a good cry.
I don't know, bro. Like I'm not trying to sit here and be like a tough guy. Like I can't remember the last time I cried, dog. Like
It's
was the
okay.
last time
I get in my sad place and my feels, but like again, like I usually reserve that to lo-fi. There's a song called "Last Goodbye," man, that really makes me feel, dog. Like that song makes me pretty sad, man. And like it just, oh, dog, 30 Seconds to Mars. What's that song called? Maybe We'll Meet Again.
Oh,
Oh, that is old 30 Seconds to Mars.
Bro, when
Yeah,
I
That
hear
is
when I
old
hear
30
that
Seconds to
song,
Mars.
I go on a run, man, because the emotion that it makes me feel is crazy.
Really?
I think about people that I met in my life that like were cool. I'll never see again because like I met them in another country, or I met them when I was in high school and I don't know where they're at anymore. Like I think about the stuff when he's like, "One day maybe we'll meet again." I'm like, yo, I feel it in my soul.
You know,
Yeah.
know someone for me by 30 Seconds to Mars? It's Was It a Dream?
Oh yeah.
Was it a dream? That one.
It's funny. Some people get freaked out by songs. And Anthony Clarkson, and I think he's cool with me sharing this. He doesn't like listen to the song "Let's Do the Twist." That come on, baby.
Yeah,
Let's do the twist.
What?
What?
Oh my
Was
God.
that the song that when he was dancing at Ben's bar mitzvah?
Oh no, I don't think so, man. That
and
might have
and
been.
he hit his teeth.
He knocked his teeth out of Ben's bar mitzvah. I wasn't there,
Really?
but like, yeah, he was
No.
breakdancing, and then he knocked his two front teeth out. He said like he hit his face on the ground, ran to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and he said that like it
I
was
would be
just
traumatized.
blood coming out of his mouth, and his two front teeth were gone. But
It's not funny.
He
but
said he's freaked out
I
by the
coulda-
song "Do the
I
Twist."
thought it was that song.
I don't know, maybe, man.
Bro,
he said
we
he
gotta
said
ask
I
him.
was like, why can't you listen to that? He's like, bro, it freaks me out. He's like, it scares me. I don't like listening to it. I was like, whoa.
You know what song really freaks me
Wow.
out?
What?
You heard that song "Tiptoe Through the Window"? But
I know you're gonna say From
That
Insidious.
shit is fucking.
That song,
Tiny
That
Tim.
shit gets
Tiny
me
Tim.
like.
Tiny Tim.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh
dude.
my god.
Have you seen the original like performance?
Yeah, he's just playing a ukulele
Bro, that shit
and like
is so
black and
creepy.
white screen, and he's like 6'5".
The scariest part is the bridge of that song where he's like, maybe
Yeah.
the flowers in spring. Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude,
what?
that's exactly how he sounds. That was really good.
Yeah, man. It's so crazy.
Bro, I could
Ooh.
never listen to that
Oh, I
song
feel like
though.
I'm listening to ASMR. I got the tingles.
No. I could never listen to that song, but it's.
good
I
at
don't think his
impressions.
intentions was to make it a creepy song.
No, like that
I just
to
think
him
at the
sounded
time,
good.
I think at the time it came out, and the audio
Bro, I
in the world was
cannot
obviously
listen to that
not up to
song.
that time, and it came out so bad.
Also, it was Insidious, and Insidious was a pretty scary movie. But
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty
I
weird.
It's a
accompany that.
genuinely good horror movie.
Yeah, it's
the
really good
first
one.
one.
I
the first one,
accompany
yeah.
that song with the visuals.
With
Like,
the little kid running through the house.
dog, not even
No,
that.
not that
There-
part. It was
there's a-
Or with
the
Darth
red,
Maul.
the red face.
Give it
the
to
red
Isn't
face.
that Darth Maul though?
He looked just like Darth Maul. The
Didn't it?
ghost
It
in
did look like
Insidious
Death
did look
Mar,
like Darth
but
Maul.
it wasn't Darth Maul.
This is the scene, right? The guy is going through the house. I still get chills.
I get chills too.
He's going through the house, and there's a coat rack, and he's looking around because the window's open. So you
I'm
see,
looking around like shit.
No, I was looking for my car keys.
I was freaked out because of that light. But
Dude, I wish we had
he,
for that.
he's looking around, and there's like the window's open, so the curtain is blowing. So he looks at the window, but the camera has us on a wide shot of the room, and we see over by the coat rack there's a kid just looking at the wall. Dude, man.
Okay, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember that shit.
Was so freaked out, bro, when I first saw that.
I'm
and-
like getting teared right now. 'cause I
Dude.
remember that scene.
Dude,
Isn't-
that
yeah,
movie
dude.
was so good.
It was
dog.
so
I was
good,
scared out
yeah.
of my fucking mind, dude.
Dude,
and,
because-
and it was funny, bro. Like,
because-
the
Yeah, it
paranormal-
was funny.
You know why it was so good? Because it came at a time where we were so tired of the paranormal
Paranormal
activity,
activity.
found footage
Found
films.
Yeah.
Thank you. And there was no good horror movies.
Yeah, there wasn't,
for
yeah.
a
No,
while.
there were
The
none.
last good one we had,
There were
it wasn't
none.
even that scary, but it was just a good film. Was probably a Halloween.
Oh wow.
Halloween, the Rob Zombie remake.
Yeah, that movie
was a-
Hereditary
that-
was
that-
good. I liked
Dude,
it.
I wanted to see it. Is it awesome?
Now you know
It's-
my thoughts.
Okay,
on that.
it's very weird.
Okay, I like.
Hold
weird
on,
movies.
hold on. Can I?
He's the biggest critic of
can I
all
ex-
time, though.
I liked it though, but it was
Ezra.
weird as fuck.
Hold on, let me explain something. That movie was a 9 out of 10 up until the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
movie, the
That
last
shit
45 minutes,
fuck
you can
outta
ask
me.
Steve. Steve will vouch for me. Me and him saw it together. We were like, yo, this movie's it. This movie's like, horror movies are coming back.
Yeah.
Last 45 minutes, I want a refund.
Yeah. The way
That's
it
how
ended.
bad that
yeah,
film
in the,
ends.
In the circle when he goes upstairs, when Pete goes upstairs.
He didn't see it.
Chill.
He didn't see
Okay.
it. No.
But dude, that movie is.
When you see-
I guess I'll understand when I
No,
watch
but
it.
yo, the movie, it's long.
So
It's long.
Weird.
But it's like it was because they make it seem like it's like these people are suffering from mental disorder. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, we never
I
had
was
a
like, yo,
horror
just
movie
kill the mom,
where
please.
it's like people are suffering from mental disorder and that might be their downfall. We never had one.
Yeah.
At least as far as I can tell. Maybe The Shining was the last one that I can think
Yeah.
of, like where someone
Bro,
like a main character is having a
in-
mental disorder and it's affecting the whole family, and then it
Turns out to be
falls
something
into
It
paranormal.
went to shit. Yeah.
it's typical
It turns,
tropes.
it turns
But
to
I-
something
see,
paranormal.
From
Dang
him,
it.
like he will say that it ruined it for him. It ruined it for me too, but it doesn't take away from the movie.
Because
Like,
leading up to the last,
that shit
if they
was
cut the last
so
45 minutes and it ends where I think he knows what I'm talking about, where it
Yeah.
ended,
I didn't like that.
good
at
movie,
all.
good
Okay.
movie right there. But it kept
Really
going.
good. I was just seeing it,
It
bro.
was
It's
scary
good.
or it was cool?
It was all right. I wasn't scared.
I
laughed a
was-
lot, actually.
See, I wasn't
creeped.
I wasn't scared, but I was like
This
I
is
was my
eerie.
undivided attention. It
Yeah.
had my attention from as soon
And
as
it was
that
moving
as
fast,
soon as
like
that moment
everything-
as soon as
yeah.
that one moment happened, my attention was like
Oh,
I was
with the-
like yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, then my attention was like I was like, ooh, we got something here.
And that girl looks creepy. The whole
She
movie.
looks like the sister of the kid from Stranger
Bro,
Things.
she's young too.
Wow, she does.
She's young, but she has an old ass face.
She does too. She's
I'm sitting there like, dude, this girl's creepy
Dude,
as
but
fuck.
they tease what the movie's gonna become early on, and
Is there gonna be another movie? For
No.
it?
Steve and I picked it up. See if they do. I don't know how they're gonna do
Steve
it.
loves horror movies too.
That's
So
my
do
favorite
I.
genre.
Me and
That's
him
my
used to
favorite
talk about it all the time, but
Yeah,
there
that's my
hasn't been
favorite
a good one.
The last one that really scared me was Sinister. I was not cool with that movie. Bro.
Really?
I got so
Really? I didn't
scared.
really-
See,
really
I don't
didn't
like.
that way.
I think boogeyman movies aren't that scary.
Yeah.
I was laughing. Like I remember I was with my boy. We were watching it, and I was like, "Man, this movie's not that bad, dog." Then
Then it kicks up.
hold up. Then the box opened.
Yeah.
Remember in the beginning where like the kid sleepwalks, so he ends up
Yeah.
in that box, and he's
Yeah.
like, I was like, "Stop."
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one part that I'll never forget, bro, because it's the only time in the movie theater I had to look away from the screen, was when they're going through the home video of
Mm-hmm.
the lawnmower killing. And it's like the cameras on the lawnmower, and they run over that guy's
Okay,
face.
all right.
I was so bothered by that. I couldn't.
Did you like Sinister too?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
It's not that good.
No. I feel like Sinister is just like.
I love horror movies though.
But we have the conclusion of Insidious coming out this October.
Bro, I only see the first one.
No,
dog.
you're gonna want to.
Bro,
We'll have a
Insidious good.
movie marathon, but this new one is a prequel to the first one.
I love movies like that where the last one is the beginning and how it started. I love shit
yeah,
like that.
and Paranormal Activity fucked it all up.
No,
Yeah,
no,
they
no, no,
fucked
no.
it up.
I would argue that the scariest Paranormal Activity was the prequel. That movie was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh!
Which
That
one? Was that
movie-
second one?
That was
No,
the, that was
that
the one in
was-
the 80s, bro.
Oh, was that 3? Yes, that was
Which
That
one?
was
three.
three.
Which one's the one where he's on the couch and then she comes and gets him?
That might have
That's
been
the
the
first
first
one.
one.
No. That's what the first one was when she pulled him. Remember, she was watching him for hours
Yeah.
and hours. Oh, I'm just getting creeped out.
No, she wasn't.
No, that's the first one. Remember, she was.
She was
up-
on. He was on. He checked, and then you saw her in the background. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Then she appears. Then it takes the shot. That was the second
Like
one.
the second one.
Second one.
Okay, second
And she
one.
was
Yeah.
like,
The first one when she came, like she killed him and then went out and then came back and hit the
Oh,
screen.
you remember the
Ooh, that shit got
remember
me.
the mom was upstairs with the child, and then she's like, "Honey." Then she was like, whatever the girl's name, you hear, dum, dum. She's like
Yeah.
Stacey, and she sends it right to the camera, and I was
Yeah.
everyone there was like, "Oh!"
That shit
And then you see the baby, and
fucked
she
me
takes the baby, and the baby starts like,
What's the one? Was the third one the one with the
Nasty.
grandmas at the bottom of the steps or some shit?
that was fucked up.
That was
four,
weird,
Four
bro.
was turning out to be so bad up until the last minute with the girl with the colt.
Yeah,
And then when everything tied in, but no, was a really good one.
What?
5 when it went
I didn't
to
watch
when
it.
it went
Spanish?
to dude, that was
I didn't
such a
see
good
that
movie.
one.
The marked ones.
I didn't watch that.
That
one.
was such a good movie.
All right, so I have to
I
watch
stopped
that
at
one.
4.
Yeah,
I
because
stopped at
no,
4.
you were with me when we saw 6.
I
When
did.
move-
Yeah, I
move
got-
Six
yeah,
Paranormal
yeah,
Activity
yeah.
movies? There's 6 of them?
6.
Yeah.
Get that.
Your favorite one is 3.
3. I
I love 3.
There's
5
a,
was the marked ones.
there's a scene in that movie that is so brilliant from a filmmaker's perspective.
Which one are we talking about?
The third one, the one in the 80s that takes place when they're all like little kids.
I
And
think
they
I
have
know.
that joint.
I know- I
Okay,
think
I
I
saw
know.
that one. Why
I think I
didn't see it?
No, you've seen them all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've
there's-
seen
There's-
3 with you.
There's
Yeah.
a scene in that movie
I
that's
know which one you're
so
talking
brilliant.
about.
So funny things are happening around the house. Obviously, that's the whole premise of every Paranormal Activity. So they set up cameras around the house. The guy sets up a camera on the fan that goes back and forth. I've never been in more suspense watching a movie than having the camera slowly go left to
on
right.
an oscillating
Yeah.
fan.
But here's the genius thing: nothing happened.
yeah.
It was just there to make you nervous, and I've never
No,
felt more
you're
nervous.
Wrong. You're wrong.
No, stuff hits the ceiling and then it falls down.
Not that. When the girl was talking, like the camera was going like this, it was panning, right?
Yeah.
And then it panned back, and you saw the girl.
Oh,
she was
yes.
at the steps. And
Yes.
it panned this way, and it panned back, and you saw her levitating a little bit. Then it cut.
Yo, that.
I
dude.
remember that.
Bro, you see, it's certain. For me, with horror movies, the thing that
Oh,
gets
dude,
me
that movie was so.
is just little things, bro.
That
like,
movie was good.
Yeah, it was good, man.
That was a good
It was
movie.
a good one.
Yeah, dude.
Especially when you saw his wife at the top of the stairs and she was levitating.
We're sitting here shitting on Paranormal Activity, but it's actually not bad. Like,
No, because they
Some of it's
see.
not
Here's
bad.
here's the thing.
I know what Sheldon's gonna say. It sparked a like a whole genre of like, oh, now found footage movies are like, oh, blah, 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 and there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
Like the one that was it was like called Grandpa or something like that. It was like the old people.
No.
Don't Breathe. You
No.
talking about? The one with the blind guy.
That movie.
That
hold on.
movie was. We're going everywhere, but I'm about to
Hold
talk
on.
about.
I wanna
Don't
talk about
Look
that movie
Back.
too.
We'll get to that one second.
Okay.
We'll get to that one second
sick.
because I'm about to reveal something to him. That movie was genius.
Come on.
No.
man.
Listen.
Stop.
I know
What
you're
movie
talking about
What movie we talking about?
with the 2 kids and they go to the grandparents' home for the weekend.
Oh,
Drew.
Yo, that movie was creepy as shit, dog.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you why. Like,
I
I'm
never
actually.
saw it.
What that scene? Is that the
Woo!
one with the
Hold on.
oven or?
Yes. Yes, that's the one.
That shit
Yo,
was
Drew,
creepy,
look at my
bro.
eyes right now.
That shit
It's
was
called
creepy.
it's called The Visit.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that shit was creepy.
Hold on, look at my eyes right now. I am tearing up.
Because that's how scary it was.
Yo, because the fucking reveal in that movie, bro, the reveal in that movie is fucked up. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. But
Alright,
I just
dude.
saw it and I was like, Paranormal Activity
No.
1.
No, bro. It's
Yo,
good. It's good.
yo.
It's good. It's good.
Those people, they're not their grandparents.
Yes, that's creepy.
Yo.
When you think
Yo.
about that shit.
So
that's
remember
what
how
gets
you're
you.
saying it's creepy that, like he said in that imposter thing?
Yeah.
Like someone random. So they were
I'm already
talking to him.
grossed
Yo,
out.
those two people were murderers. The girl, she went beneath the house to get like a ball. Her grandparents were murdered under the house.
Yeah.
And they never seen their grandparents before, and the mom never got to see them. So she couldn't remember what they looked like.
Yeah.
So that movie, when they flipped
That's
into
actually
that,
pretty cool.
and I was like, yo, because I almost turned it off, and I was like, wait a minute, something's going on
Yo.
here. I was like, something's going on here.
Dude, that shit had me fucked up. You know what's a good movie too? Remember
But Don't
Orphan?
Breathe. Don't Breathe is good. Orphan was
Fucking-
nasty.
yo.
That movie was sickening.
That girl was
That's the
fucking
same
out
thing.
here, bro.
If they adopt an orphan, and turns out she's a 37-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Who
Wow.
looks like a little girl.
Oh, snap, bro. I'm looking at the trailer. I mean, the poster here. And
For
it's
which
creeping me
for
out.
which one?
For Orphan, bro.
Yeah, it's a little girl with the
Yeah, with the
eyes.
choker.
with the choker on, right?
Yeah.
Son, what? Is that on
I love horror movies,
might be
man.
on
I like to be.
Netflix.
I like being
I
scared.
can watch them by myself, but
I
Don't
can't
Breathe.
watch by
I think
myself.
I
You
saw
can
with
watch
you.
them by yourself?
No problem.
I
No
can't.
problem.
Some.
I'll
Poltergeist,
go
I
sleep
can watch.
watching them.
I can watch by
You'll go to
myself.
sleep watching
I'll
a
go
horror
sleep
movie?
watching
I
horror
can't
movie.
do it, bro. You're crazy. I can't do it.
Right,
You got
no-
that.
no
Go to
issue.
sleep watching White Noise, dog. That movie messed me up when I was a
That
kid.
Yeah, I
movie's
did.
good.
Yo.
That's a good movie when he's trying to talk to his wife.
Dog, when he's listening to the sounds and like the sounds start coming to life behind him, like they start like walking around,
Oh.
I was like, I'm done.
Or the screen.
All right, let's talk about
I'm
Don't Breathe though,
done.
because that
Yeah, let's talk
movie.
about Don't Breathe.
That movie was genius.
I like that
I
movie
saw
a
it with
lot.
you. I
You
remember
did?
seeing it
Oh,
with
yeah,
you.
we did. We did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw a lot of horror movies together.
I love that movie.
When he
love
said-
that movie.
Stole child from me.
Oh, when he
Bitch.
dropped
Remember the thing with the
that.
cum? Remember the thing with the cum, bro?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He said
Oh,
she
yeah.
stole a child from me. She hid it, and then when we saw her pregnant, I think we're in theory we were like,
He's like,
I was like,
I'm gonna
what
take
the
one from her. I was like,
fuck?
what? Because the whole time I was like, what's the reveal of this movie gonna be?
Yeah.
He's like a devil worshiper.
Yeah.
He's an ex-criminal. Like,
Nah.
who cares? I'm not scared of that. And I saw that, I was like,
That
what?
is-
Yeah,
twisted.
you're thinking he's like the villain or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is. But it's like he
That's a
has
whole
some
different
hurt
reason.
in his life.
Yeah.
Like trauma in his life.
Son, that movie.
And he knew where they were, bro, the whole time. He's like, dude, that shit was scary. That one kid got fucked up the whole movie. the nerdy
and
kid.
he didn't die till the last
Yeah, he
like 30
did.
minutes. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn. It's
You
like,
really did.
I didn't think he was gonna die though.
how did he die? I forget.
I think the dog. Did he let the dog out and then got him? Or
No, I
No,
think he
'cause-
fell. Right.
the girl? I thought that
How
girl
did
was
he
gonna get
die?
fucking
Me too.
wrecked, but she didn't.
But nah, she got the.
oh
whole-
no.
She ran away.
You know how
didn't
he
she?
died?
Like,
Yeah, but
They had to go back into the house, and the
yeah.
guy was right there, and he shot him like right in the neck.
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I think that's how
that scumbag boyfriend, dude. That dude got fucked up.
he
Yeah.
got clapped.
He got
every scumbag boyfriend dies.
Yeah, he
though.
always does.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
So I knew he was.
I
the
thought
easy
the
mark.
nerdy kid was gonna make it though because he seemed
got
like
outside.
he had intent. Like
He was the
But he
hero
wanted the
character.
girl.
yeah, he wanted the girl. But
was,
see, that's that like
He still
thing.
goes, ugh.
See, but that I like when a movie's supposed to be a horror movie, but there's
Yeah.
like some type of love interest twist
Connection,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I like that.
How'd
So,
you guys feel about it? I think we saw.
I liked
it.
it. I liked it.
I
liked
watched
it.
bits and pieces, man, and I liked what I saw. I was very, very entertained.
Remind me
Part
of,
2 comes out this year.
Good.
Stellar cast.
Good. I'm glad, man.
I think they named some names, and it looks
It
like
had a lot of
it's gonna be
comedic
good
relief in
class.
it as well.
Yeah, it seemed to be.
Did you
pretty
ever read?
funny.
You should
I
watch.
didn't read the book.
Nah,
I
dude,
didn't
that
read the book, man. Stephen King.
We know how Stephen King is. He's my favorite author.
Yeah.
That book's twisted. Because you remember the scene where, spoiler alert, whoever has not seen it, you remember the part where they make the pact with the girl?
Yeah, yeah.
That they'll always be together?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know how
I
they
remember
make the
that.
pact?
How?
So when, you know what I'm going with this?
Mhm.
So when they're hypnotized, right? When they were down below in its chamber, she
Yeah.
couldn't get them to wake up. So the only way to grow up and wake up and not be scared of it is lose your innocence. So she essentially has sex with all 6 kids
In the book?
in the
That's
book.
wild, bro.
Really?
She has sex with all 6 of the kids.
Well, I didn't know where you're going then.
Yeah.
I
I thought
didn't
you
know
might
that
have read the book.
happened.
So
No,
the
I didn't
book
read
the
the book.
book is like, because the book takes place from 1960s to 1960s to the 80s, whereas the movie's taken from the 80s to the 2000s because there's a time jump.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it returns, right? and then they go back to their town because you know how they said every 30 years a child disappears or children disappear, so they go back to kill it, to finally kill it.
Yeah.
So in the movie that comes out in 2019, it's gonna be 30 years, and they're going back to the home. It's like it catches up with all them.
The second one should be better.
Second one's gonna get wild.
It's gonna get wild.
It's gonna get. It's gonna
the only
get
part
really
I don't like
wild.
about the movie when they're down in the sewer and like you start doing the little dance and shit. I don't like that part.
That's a significant part in the book because there's a reason for that.
I mean, I get it, but like, I don't know. I just don't like. I don't know. I don't like that
All
part.
right, so I'm gonna let you in another thing. All of Stephen King's books are tied together, like every single.
There's
book.
a Stephen King universe, yeah.
Yeah, it's a universe.
Yeah.
And every character references each other, and
So it's
in the
just one
movies.
character,
No.
or-
So like The Shining,
Yeah,
the movie
yeah.
with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
It takes place in the same universe as it.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know the movie that came out a couple years ago, Dark Tower.
Yeah.
In
I
the
never saw it,
in
though,
the
but-
book, because it's intergalactic.
Yeah.
In the book, they say, there's a galactic being that the gunslinger was chasing, who can resemble a clown, and he left to a different part of the galaxy, and he became on Earth.
That stuff is cool, man.
Yeah.
What are you guys' favorite horror movies of all time? You gotta pick like
I have to put The Conjuring in there.
Conjuring was so good.
Conjuring
dog.
was so
I still
good.
haven't watched that yet.
It's so
You
good.
need to watch Annabelle too, because
I
that's
didn't
like the
watch
prequel to The Conjuring.
I gotta watch that too.
No, you know what's really
I
good
like
that
it.
you guys
I
need to
really
see?
like prequel movies.
You know,
horror
I like
movies, too.
prequel movies way better.
Sorry to bash documentaries to death, but if you watch the original Conjuring documentary, when they talk to the people that were involved with that, that is an amazing one. That's
gotta
awesome.
check that
When
out.
they
I
get
gotta check that
when they
out.
get
I
the
watched
real
a lot
story
of
of what
shit, bro.
happened, but
Mhm.
that's a spooky one. Save that for a day where you don't need to be spooked.
I'll maybe watch that tomorrow night.
It's a spooky one.
The Babadook.
I did see that.
I didn't see that.
That is a good movie.
That movie was very interesting, and it had
Very
an
good.
awesome conclusion.
It put a
I
twist
highly
on the
recommend that.
Boogeyman. Put a really good twist on the Boogeyman.
What's it called?
Babadook.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Babadook.
Yeah, that's
Like-
one that it's one of those horror movies with a very positive message as well. So I would check that
Okay.
movie out. Yeah,
I'll check
It's like a mother's love and negligence.
What kind of horror movies do you like? Like, there's different kinds, obviously. Just like thriller kind, a little bit.
yeah.
And then there's the one like you said, the Paranormal Activity kind.
I'm not into the paranormal activity
I'm
because
not into that either.
I feel like that's too
The
easy.
candid.
Yeah, it's not clever enough. I like being scared of like a person or a mental condition or
Yeah.
making something that seems like fairly normal be scary.
I like Hereditary
that
though,
takes skill.
because of
Hold on,
the
time out real quick. Hold that thought. So if you don't like the paranormals, did you like Insidious?
I did like Insidious because it was different, right? So like the whole thing was like, it's not like your classic. There's a ghost or like my cousin's possessed. No, it was like, look, man, you can leave your body when you sleep. Your kid figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's
the
already
the
it's
astral
like, whoa,
realm?
What?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like he's astral projecting.
I don't think we ever seen that in a movie,
It's a
too.
real life concept that people
Yeah.
believe in. That like, yo, you can like leave your body in your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So they took that real life concept and made it scary because you could take that real life concept and be like, you can go wherever, like you can
Yeah.
visit different planets. But they're like, what if you leave your body and it's like an upside down world of where you're at? Like that's horrifying.
That is nuts.
That's horrifying.
I didn't think
I want
that.
to talk more about Hereditary, but he didn't see it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
dog.
no, I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna.
We'll
spoil anything.
loosely
But
talk about
I
it.
like how it's something that was within the family, meaning like remember the grandma, and then
Yeah.
and then
It's the
you
same-
remember every time she would paint like.
It's the same thing with Paranormal Activity.
But that's like they're recording.
That's where I
shit,
thought
though.
that movie was like. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but they're
get that.
recording shit.
I get that.
I
But
don't
the
like that.
But remember the family background, Paranormal Activity 3. It started with. This is gonna be hard to dance around.
Just do it, dog. I'll watch
sure?
it either way. Yeah, spoil it for
All
me
right,
right now.
all right.
Just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm
Sorry,
serious.
people. Go see Hereditary if you can. We'll mark it in the timestamp of when this Hereditary conversation starts. Boom. Hereditary. The mom was in a covenant, right?
Yeah.
Mom was in the covenant. Then her daughter was forced into being it and couldn't remember how she was in it.
She was part of a cult.
Yeah,
cult.
dude.
Classic.
And
And
then she
dude,
meets that
and
lady.
the symbol almost looks exactly like the one that was in Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
And 3, remember the grandmother was in a cult
Yeah.
and the house burned down?
Yeah,
Same thing happened in Hereditary.
bro.
The house burned down. And like they had to move all the files.
Yeah.
And what is so fucked up, and I called it as I knew something was happening as soon as we saw that woman.
Yeah, and she came to the car and she was like,
Yeah.
and she went to her, Charlie, talk to me, Charlie. And then,
Oh
bro,
man, I knew.
oh
They-
my
they-
gosh,
they were-
dude. That shit
So
gets me
so the grandmother who passed, her daughter, like got out of the cult and couldn't remember. So the movie's projecting it like she's suffering from some mental disorder.
Yeah, she's like snapping.
Right? Turns out that her body is a vessel with a demon in it. And it was supposed to be carried to her daughter, but because her daughter was killed, they cult tricked her into believing seances can talk to the dead.
Yeah.
So they did that, but what they did was just release the demon in her.
Yeah.
To come.
And she started like attacking her son while he was like.
And when she was asleep.
When he was asleep and shit, but then she would snap out of it. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I love you, blah blah blah," and then she'd go back to doing it again. Like, it's wild.
Dude, one of the most jarring images I have in that film, and it was like they both were having a shared dream.
Oh yeah,
that was fucked.
You talking when at the dinner table when they were cursing each other and shit?
Oh, dude, that was
wild.
See, now I gotta see this, man. But
I
lost
I'll go see it with
respect for it because it's that classic like demon
exactly,
thing,
and that's
man.
why I said I hated it.
But you when you watch it, there's some fucked up scenes in it that are gonna be like it's gonna make sense to you. Dude, when Charlie's head came off, man, that shit was wild.
So the kid, right? His mom. Oh man, we're gonna talk about this scene because this scene's powerful. Because I felt that.
I felt that too.
So the kid, he's going to a house party, right? And his mom's like,
crazy,
"Oh, is there gonna be drinking?" You know, he doesn't want to tell his mom. No, there's not gonna be drinking.
Yeah,
it's gonna be partying. No, it's just everyone hanging out. Take your sister with you. And she's like, it's like one of those high schools that's like K to 12.
Yeah,
right.
So the sister would kind of fit in,
but. No, but it was like a high schooler party, but he was bringing her, so it would have been fine. Like people would have understood. And she was like what, middle schoolish?
She might have been like sixth grade.
We're talking about the girl with the weird looking face. No offense to the actress.
Yeah.
But
so, takes her to the party, and she has a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
Right? And she gets into some
he's sitting there hitting a bong with his friends.
And she comes in there,
and
she's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So. And they live in this part in town where it's like everything's just far
away from
like
each
hospitals
other.
like 15, 20 miles
it's
away.
Like the mountains kind of.
I hate that.
So
that makes you nervous.
He's driving fast, he's high.
And she starts to get air.
And she's like freaking out. Like she's like, I can't breathe. So she sticks her head out the window to get like, the draft to hit her. And he's driving and there was a deer on the road, something dead in the road. And he veers the car. And this is what pissed me off. He veers the car, but it pissed me off later. He veers the car over, and there was a freaking light pole. And just, she hits it. And then he stops the car, and you see him like...
I like that part, though.
So did I.
I love it.
5 minutes aside.
And he walks in the house
he was like this.
Like a zombie almost.
And then you didn't even know that I thought she was...
dead.
No, I knew she was dead, but I thought she was laying in the field. I thought her whole body left. You see him like this, right? He's holding on, and then he looks in the rear view, and you just see an empty seat, and you see... what we presumed was her in the field, and he's like this, and then you see it's a long wide shot, right?
Bro.
And then you see the car slowly rolling forward, so he left her there.
Yeah.
And we're like, damn. So then he's like, zombified now. So he goes in the house, traumatic. He gets in bed, like still wearing his stuff.
Whoa.
And just
lays down, puts the cover on, doesn't even go to sleep. He just stares like this, and then you see the sunrise, and then his mom's like, okay, I'm gonna sleep. Then you hear like a blood curdling scream, and then the camera shoots back to the scene of the accident.
You need to watch
and
it, bro.
You see her head just laying
and the
with
flies.
But it looks so
real, bro. It looks so
wait,
real.
Why did the mom scream then?
Because the body was in the car.
Yeah, the body was in the car without the head detached from the body.
That's what was so jarring.
And she saw that shit.
He left the head.
He left it. Yeah, he left the head.
He left the body because everyone was like, "Why is she screaming?"
Yeah.
And then it shows the head. And then it shows her back at the car, and you just see the blood on it and no head. And you see him in the bed. He's just like this.
Yeah.
Like he was shaking the whole night, like profusely sweating.
Bro.
Right?
Very touching scenes, bro.
Dude,
I was like, what the fuck?
That was nuts. Everyone in the theater, pin drop. Couldn't hear anything.
I gotta watch this movie.
People like,
see, the theater I was at, people were laughing.
No, they were laughing. They were laughing later. I don't think they were laughing.
You know
at
what
that
part
part
I laughed at when he's in the classroom and
he
had
gets
his hand
possessed.
up like this. He's like, and he hit his head on the desk.
So
that shit was so funny, bro.
Days pass, right? No one in the family's talking. It's dinner time.
Oh
the mom's
gosh.
a wreck.
Yeah.
And the dad just like, so do we have anything to talk about tonight? And the kid can feel the vibe with the mom. He's like, so mom, do you have anything to say to me? And she's like,
yeah, I do.
And she's
she
like,
goes off.
What do you mean? He's like, why do you hate me? Right? And she's like, hate you? She's like, I don't hate you. Yo, and she starts like,
bro, I like his clapback though.
She's like, yeah, and she's like,
he's like, well, she didn't want to go to that party.
Yeah, right. Hold on, we're missing a part.
Okay.
She's like, I don't hate you. I just hate how no one in this fucking family has any accountability. And she starts snapping. He's like, I love you to fucking death, but you are so fucking stupid. He's like, you can't do anything right. And he's just
This is
sitting,
after the death of
Yeah,
after
he's
death.
sitting there
So
like
dinner table,
tears in his eyes.
and the dad's just sitting there, just like looking down, and the kid like has tears in his eyes, right? And he's like just sitting there like this, and he's like, she didn't even want to go to the party. You made her go.
Because she's trying to put the blame on him, saying you're the one that you left your sister. And she was like, she didn't want to go. That's you.
And dude, like, I could have
bro.
swore like I've seen this happen. No, I've not seen this happen before. But like this emotion,
It-
I felt like it was
I
like
felt
me and my
it.
mom arguing, like when I was younger, and she just had this look on her face that like I was like, oh, he's about to get hit.
Yeah, he's about to get fucking.
And I forget what she said, but it just resonated, and like he just like left crying, and then in the middle of the night, so for the possession to work, it has to break a family spirit. So right there, the family spirit's broken, and it has to target someone who is in extreme duress and is emotionally unstable. The son, he just went through something crazy.
No.
So that's the spirit started picking at him.
Yeah, I saw the part in the trailer where like he sees the reflection.
Yeah.
So check this out. So before the mom forgot that she had like the demon in her, she took paint thinner,
She's
right?
paying everything that happened.
Yeah. She took paint thinner, doused herself in it, and doused her children on it, and was holding a match. She was possessed at this time. She doesn't remember. Let's all light on fire, right? And then, so she has a dream one night. The kid wakes up like sweating, and his mom's standing at the foot of his bed. He's like, "Mom, what are you doing here?" She's like, "What? Nothing." And the camera's just like quick pan, not quick panning, but just like cutting on both of them like this.
Yeah, to react.
So they're like talking to each other, and he's like start crying. He's like, "Mom, why do you hate me?" And it cuts back to her, and she's drenched. She's like, no, I don't hate you, I don't hate you. And then it cuts back to him. He's like, oh, why do you hate me? Why do you want to kill me? And he's drenched.
Yeah.
And he's drenched, right? He's like, why do you want to kill me? And then it cuts back to her. She's holding him out. She's like, no, I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill you. And then he's like, Mom. And he's on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on?
Bro.
And then they both wake up at the same time. They both had like a shared dream.
Yeah.
And dude,
wow,
and this kid just gets progressively
worse, bro.
worse
In
and
school,
worse.
bro, he's in fucking classroom,
Like
like
getting
just
stalked by this demon.
Like, yeah, bro.
He turns to like, you know, in school when it had like the glass cabinet and had all this stuff, and he turns to it, sees the reflection, right? And then he goes to turn back, and then the reflection's still looking at him. He turns back, he's like this,
Yeah.
and it's still looking at him, and just goes,
See,
this
smiles,
smiles.
smiles
the
at
thing.
him, right?
He slams his head.
And then all you hear is the that sound when the possession is like,
remember that sound all day?
like it says like, and it goes silent.
Yeah.
And you seem like this, and then the teacher's talking. And I forget the kid's like Ben, and then you see him like,
no, Pete. Yeah, yeah, he makes this weird face. Like, no,
he's like this, his neck all contorted, eyes are red. Then he starts
to touch on what you said.
Smashing his head against the desk.
To touch on what you
saw that in
said,
the trailer.
you said you don't like demon movies because it's so cliche, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I like this movie is for that exact scene. The fact that like usually these demon things take place in a place of like privacy, like they're at home or whatever. I like that the demon follow him to like a social place, like school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like he's
man,
in
it
a
wasn't
classroom and
isolation.
shit's like attacking him.
That's
like,
pretty creative.
That's
see
why I
that.
was like, okay.
But see, like, an example I would hold is this movie isn't that scary. Hide and Seek, Robert De Niro, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing
Whoa.
supernatural about
Forgot
that.
about
There's
that.
nothing
No,
supernatural about
I'm having
that
a
movie.
flashback.
But like I was,
We talked about
I was
this.
legitimately not in this podcast. I was legitimately creeped out when I saw that movie, and like the whole thing is that he has multiple personality disorder. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? But like they made that so
I just had a
creepy
premonition.
the first time I saw
had a
that.
dream about this like 6 months ago.
What?
That we just talked about this.
Hide and Seek?
Hide and Seek. It's not on the podcast.
is this, like
now,
the
I'm looking at
freaking
I'm looking
Halloween-
at crazy.
Halloween
Dude, now
episode of
I'm
Andrewcast?
Like,
We need to have like
goddamn.
a Halloween, or not Halloween, like a horror movie binge or something.
This has been the most
Hide and Seek
disturbing,
was a great
dark
film, though.
podcast ever. What?
This was
No,
a dark
it-
podcast.
It was.
Bro, I got a very eerie feeling. Like I don't think I'm gonna be able to drive home tonight, man.
Dog, come on.
Don't put that into the existence, please.
I know. I'm a fucking drive by like a cornfield somehow, magically Bensalem, and
That's
just see.
they need to
There's a
remake
cornfield
Children.
further that
Oh,
way.
come on, you don't have to say that.
Like, it's really down the street.
Oh fuck.
That's what they need to remake is Children.
No,
of the
but like,
Corn.
dude, like that movie just literally like made me feel weird.
Hereditary.
Yeah,
Bro,
it
and
wasn't scary though. It was just weird.
Weird,
and that's
yeah.
the thing. That's
And
what
no,
you
it
need to
pissed me
get
off.
from-
They tried to make the last 45 minutes scary, but they fucked
It
it,
didn't.
up.
I was
They
laughing.
fucked it up. They fucked it all up
was
because it
laughing.
was. people in the theater.
All right,
were
let's dive into
cracking
the
up.
ending. What happens during the ending?
So,
let's hear it.
So was it after school? What happened?
I don't know. I just remember they're in like a circle, and that lady, that friend with the grandmother, sitting there like, come here.
We're skipping. We're skipping.
Oh
way
wait,
ahead.
she's like
after school.
She's like,
after
come here.
school,
She's like,
he got admitted to the hospital. He got admitted to the hospital,
He
right?
fucked up his
So
nose
his
and
mom
shit.
was home, and she just gets possessed.
Her and the dad get into like an argument. He's like, you know what, I'm leaving or whatever.
And that
She's
part didn't make sense.
like,
to
she's
me.
like, no, she's like, come here.
I need to show you
She's
something.
like, I can't throw this book. I can't throw this book in the fire.
Yeah,
in
the
fire.
book
It'll burn.
That when they were gone, it was drawing who was gonna die, and it looked. Was it Peter?
It was Peter. It was
What's his
Peter.
Death Note?
Yeah, it looked like Death Note, bro.
Continue.
So
She threw the
the
book in
mom
him.
gets possessed when they're away, right?
Okay, interesting.
Now they're home. The kid's asleep upstairs.
She wakes
Right?
him up.
It's nighttime. She doesn't wake him up yet.
And what are you
She's
talking about with
she's
that?
saying to her husband, "You need to kill this book. It will get rid of the spirit that's possessing the house." And he's like getting pissed off.
The husband's in disbelief.
He's in disbelief.
Yeah, because she couldn't throw it in there.
Classic,
No, but
classic
no, but-
horror
no,
movie
he wa-
husband.
He wasn't in disbelief because he knew some crazy shit was going on in the house. He knew
Yeah.
that the family was broken.
He was in
And
denial.
he said it. No, but he said he didn't want to believe spirit, but he saw it happen a couple times.
Yeah.
He just couldn't believe this.
He wanted
it
to
came
run
down
away
to
from it. Like he didn't
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah, yeah.
associated with it.
Yeah,
course.
he's like, we got to get out the house. He's like, just get out the house.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Leave
Yeah.
the house because I don't think it could have. I see, but I was
Well,
saying
no,
the kid was getting.
she couldn't leave with him. He had to leave her.
Yeah, he had to.
It
leave
came to
her.
that point where he was like, "Fuck, I can't stay with you. I gotta leave y'all. Like y'all
so-
fucked."
So he takes the book and throws it into the fire.
Right.
It wasn't the kid on the book; it was him on the book.
Ah.
And he
Yeah.
incinerates.
Yeah,
it.
he
And she's like this. And then she goes high, right? Then it cuts. It's midnight, right? The kid wakes up, and he goes and he looks in the treehouse where his sister used to play. Charlie, the lights on,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What the hell?" And then it's a wide shot in the room, and you see the mom in the corner, like in the ceiling corner, like this.
Classic.
And people are like, "We're like, oh, dude, this movie's about to end, right?" And this is where it broke it. And then she fucking is like this in the air. I'm gonna show this on the camera. She's like this in the air. He gets up, and you just see this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I start
He
laughing at
floats out
it.
the room, and then he turns. He sees nothing, right? And then she just starts chasing throughout the house.
Yeah.
Like no.
running?
He goes downstairs to the living room where his dad is. He's looking at him, and then he's like, he turns around, and there's a fat naked dude in the doorway, just like this.
Yeah.
Just a random dude.
Just ran dude
Yeah.
smiling at him. No, the guy from the beginning of the movie. That when they went to the funeral, it was the cult. All the people in the were in the house now,
Yeah. Yeah.
naked.
Well,
Yeah. It was. It was. It was super stupid.
And then the mom's like, chasing after him, right? He runs into the attic, of course,
Yeah.
where his grandmother's dead body is. And then he turns around.
No one ever runs out of the house.
And then he turns around and sees his mom floating with, I don't even know what this is.
Was he like the chosen one or something? Because they put the crown on like Jesus Christ or
no,
some shit.
no. So the demon that
This movie
possesses
sounds so weird, bro.
it is. So the
It's
demon
very
that
weird.
possesses, right, can only possess a male host body.
Interesting.
But the demon itself is a female. But to become
Interesting.
the true king, it has to be in a male body, but it's a female.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were putting Charlie into his body. But his mom is floating in the air. She's staring at him like this. And she has like a wire cutter. And she's like sawing off her head. And then she's like going like that. And just
Yeah.
staring at him. And the
Weird.
body drops. And then the body just floats away. And then he sees that. And he's like, ah. And jumps out the window. He falls 2 stories, right?
This man survives.
No, he dies. He falls 2 stories, right?
That
And then you
was
see a spirit ball, just circling, goes on his body, right, and disappears. And his sister, right? I think she had like mental disorder or something like that.
She was socially awkward, bro.
Socially awkward.
Just super socially
I
awkward.
thought she had like
Yeah.
something.
She.
No.
I don't know, man. She's
So
awkward.
so she used to just walk around going like this. So right, the
Just
kid.
randomly.
So we're like, so the kid gets up. He looks at the camera. He's like.
That
Yo,
shit. I
everyone-
laughed at that part, bro.
I laughed
We
and
walked
Steve
out
were like-
the movie theater after that. We're like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Put my money back.
Yeah, so it's like this. And then you see his dead grandmother's body and his mom's body float into the treehouse. And then he climbs the treehouse. And then there's a court up there banging drums. And like, all hail the true king who will take over the
Yeah,
world.
It was very stupid.
And he's like-
then.
Just like that. And they put the crown on her head. And then you see his dead mom and grandmother without no heads,
Yeah.
just bowing.
Yeah, it's
like
just
this.
bowing. Yeah, it's real
And
stupid.
all the
bro.
naked people are behind them just bowing. There's like 30 people in a treehouse just bowing. And,
Bro.
and then the movie ends, and Steve and I were like, Yo, this movie sucked.
Oh, man.
But everything leading up to that is amazing.
good.
It's
Phenomenal.
told in an amazing
Phenomenal.
way. It's a lot of action and shit like that. But other than that, bro, that's pretty stupid.
Yo,
I
this
love the movie
movie's
theater. I was
wild,
like, this shit's
man.
dumb. I gotta bounce, bro. Like,
I was so
gotta
mad.
be out, yo.
Because it was so good, and then it just went. See, that's the problem with horror movies. They just don't know how to end a
yeah,
film.
you don't know how to end it.
They don't know how to end a film. Conjuring is one of the few that did a good job, I could say,
Yeah.
ending it. Insidious, the first one, ended as a good
Insidious
job.
Yeah.
ended really well. The first one.
When he took the picture and it was actually the woman from the Astro
gosh,
World.
that ending is still with me to this
Yeah,
day.
that shit
man.
was fucking. Yeah,
Yeah.
you left out creepy.
I feel like the way to end a horror movie is you have to put the twist in, but you don't even give the audience enough time to process it before it's over.
yeah,
Exactly.
you gotta
That's
leave it.
it.
Like, wait, what happens
And
next?
do you leave it ambiguous?
Inception's not a horror movie at all. It's an awesome movie, but like that's the way that it ends with the spinning top. That's how every horror movie should end. It should always be like, huh? Like that's it. That's how
Yeah.
it should end. It should never be like one big scare, like one final
But
conclusion.
At least,
Yeah.
at least I can tell you the ending of Inception, the top does fall.
Huh?
You know this?
Oh.
Bro, when he spins it starts wobbling right before it cuts. And you know it's going to fall.
How do you know though?
Because we've seen what the top looks like spinning in a dream. It never falters. It's just like this, spinning.
I'm sure people would debate you on that.
I'm telling you. And even the director says it falls.
Okay, really?
Yeah, he says he makes it. He said he makes it back to his children.
Well, okay. Well, the same thing with Sopranos. I'm not sure if Oz has seen the entire
No,
Sopranos.
I haven't seen it.
Have you ever
Okay.
watched it?
I watched like way back, like 2001 or some shit when I was
It
a
ends.
kid. I did hear the ending's kind of.
It
Like,
has the most.
controversial.
It pissed off a lot.
It
of
has the
people.
most infamous ending out of any television.
Just tell me how it
series
ends.
of all
I'm
time.
probably
Okay. So
yeah.
you won't even remember when you watch it. So we're talking about five seasons, 5.5 seasons, an hour apiece. A long story. Tony Soprano is this crime boss who he goes to see a therapist, which is totally not allowed in the mafia because they're afraid that you're going to tell people secrets. He keeps it a secret from everybody. He's a family man. He's got his mafia on the side. He's a bad person, but the whole entire show, you kind of grow to love him. It's that kind of thing. It's like
Okay.
the Walter White effect. So there's a scene at the very last episode where they go into this restaurant and Tony is just, it's been a huge scare. Pretty much the New York Mafia was trying to take out the New Jersey Mafia. They were in hiding while the New York Mafia got assassinated. So that now everybody that was threatening his life is completely dead. They're gone.
Oh shit.
Or so they think. So now they're in this restaurant and Tony's eating dinner and all of his kids are coming. So his son is coming, his daughter's coming, and his wife is coming. So Don't Stop Believing starts playing. And as it starts playing, like people or his wife comes in, she's like, "How are you doing?" Blah blah. He's like, "I'm good, I'm good." The son comes in, he's like, "AJ, it's good to see you. How are you?" Blah blah blah. So the wife, the daughter, Meadow Soprano, is having a hard time parallel parking outside to get into the restaurant.
Okay.
So she tries one time, doesn't work. Tries 2 times, it doesn't work. So then we cut to this guy walks through the restaurant past Tony's table. He's wearing a members only jacket, and he looks at Tony for a second and goes into the bathroom. And Tony looks at him, right? And then he goes into the bathroom. The camera shows the guy walk into the bathroom. This random guy that we've never seen in the show ever.
yeah.
Not once. We've never seen him once. So on the third attempt, Meadow successfully parallel parks. And she goes, yes. So every time somebody enters the restaurant to sit down with Tony, like his son or his daughter, the door rings because there's a doorbell. There's a little bell attached to the door,
Yeah.
like you would go into a restaurant. So ding-a-ling, his son comes in. Ding-a-ling, his wife comes in. So we see Meadow Park, and then the song goes, "Don't stop," and he looks up and he hears the ding one more time, and that's how it ends. So
all that build for just that?
exactly.
What's the significance in that though?
So
Like-
here's the big take on the end of The Sopranos. So Meadow tries and fails three times to parallel park. In the series, there are 3 attempts on Tony's life that fail.
Okay.
On the 4th time, she parallel parks. People theorize that on the 4th time, the 4th assassination attempt, Tony gets killed. They theorize that the person who walked into the bathroom in the members-only jacket was a remnant of the New York family that was supposed to go to that restaurant to kill him. So we assume because the bathroom was behind him, and every single time he looked up at the door, it was from his perspective. Since it cut to black, there was nothing to see anymore because there was nothing to see from his perspective because he got shot in the back of the head.
Oh
They
shit.
asked David Chase, the creator of the series, if this was true, and he was just like, what do you guys want me to tell you? He's like, do you want me to give you a concrete ending? He's like, I'm not going to do that. So like that's
Okay.
the whole debacle.
I got a question.
You're
for
gonna
you,
watch
though.
The Sopranos.
But
now.
here's my thing though, right? Do you think usually with shows, movies, we're used to a certain type of ending, right? We usually know what it is.
I want ambiguous every single time.
Do you think that these kind of things are set in stone for a reason, so we can have this kind of speculation?
Yes.
Like, you remember the show The Night Of? Love that show,
Man.
But that ending it ended on like,
Have you seen
it could end this way, or this could be the conclusion. That could be the conclusion. I think
it is such a good show.
such a great show.
The reason why, from a creative perspective, that directors and writers do that is because of this, exactly like you said.
Lasting
it makes
impact.
the show more memorable.
Yes.
Because I just talked about the ending. You want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's different when
yeah.
it's like, because Sheldon just said the ending to Hereditary sucked. But if I tell you that the ending to Sopranos doesn't make sense for a lot of people,
I'm more subjected to
Right.
watching it because
it's a marketing.
how
move.
can now you told me that like the speculation with it. Now I'm more subjected to watching it because I want to see like if I'm gonna get the same type of.
Another
thing.
show that did that was Lost.
I heard about that as well.
Lost is another one. See, but the problem with Lost,
I kind of like that now. In retrospect, looking back, like
I like
I
ambiguous.
kind of like that.
I like it.
I like ambiguous because, excuse me, it gives a lasting impact, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have, depending on how that ends, you're gonna have people who hated it,
Yeah.
people who loved it. But guess what? Both people will tell you to watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
To see how
That's
you
the thing.
feel about it, and then you can
Whereas-
speculate. from
Exactly.
there.
Whereas shows that have a concrete ending,
It's like
it was cool.
Okay, whatever.
You ever
Like,
watch Dexter? Either one of you?
I heard
Dexter?
that. I heard that show's like amazing. Like
It's
about how he
great,
kills
but the
everybody and
last,
just-
but the show did not succeed that well after when that writer strike was going on,
okay.
and they lost a lot of main writers. And the last season or last two seasons was,
Okay.
you know, and they gave it like a concrete-ish ending,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Like you don't want a conclusion. You want like, okay, this is probably what happened to his life afterwards or whatever. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I like that.
so
I do like that.
Lost gave a concrete ending, but it was done the right way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But is it really the right way though?
Here's the thing, because how they told the story out of chronological. So
Yeah.
not everything was happening as you saw it.
In chronological
Doesn't mean it
order,
was
yeah.
happening like A, B, C.
Yeah,
It could have
yeah.
been like A, C, B.
Yeah.
I like that. That's what Quentin Tarantino does a lot too.
Yeah.
In his movies,
Yeah.
he'll tell
Pulp
things
Fiction.
out of order on purpose. So it could be as a tactic to get people to start talking
Yeah.
about it, but at the same time, it's a genius tactic.
It makes you
because
pay attention to
it
the movie,
makes you
too.
pay attention.
You have to pay
Memento.
super close attention.
Memento, the whole film is told backwards.
Yeah.
Did I see that?
No, I didn't see it, dude. I got
I,
catch on a lot of
I have it
movies,
on. I have it on DVD, but I'm sure you can get it on. I have it on Blu-ray, but I'm
Yeah.
sure you can get it on
1, 2, 3
YouTube.
movies or something like that.
Something like
This,
that.
this guy has.
But dude, you
this guy has.
have to pay attention.
Real quick, and I feel like this podcast has just been us talking about the premises of movies, but I like it. So
Yeah.
this guy has short-term memory loss, like Dory from Finding Nemo.
Bad.
The only
Okay.
the only way that he can remember stuff is tattoo it on his body.
Yeah,
Wow.
tattoo on his body and photographs.
Shit.
bro.
Yo.
So he takes off his shirt, and dude, he has like his whole life on his body.
Wow.
And
So
he
he-
wakes up. Yeah, it's
Yo,
nuts.
and it's
nuts.
like, and how it ends is how the movie starts, and it is so you have to. It's like one of those that you have to watch more than
Yeah,
once.
Yeah.
Because like there are certain parts in between it that are told out of order because he can't remember.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the movie, you're watching him, but what's it called? An unreliable narrator.
yes,
Unreliable narrators to me are some like they're really hard to tell. So like Westworld, you have an unreliable narrator. What's my favorite show right now? Mr. Robot
Yeah.
with Rami Malek, who's going to be playing Freddie Mercury in the new Queen movie.
Oh yeah.
His
yeah,
show.
Yeah.
I think you tried watching it before, but
I
it was
didn't
too
like it.
it was
It's
too techy.
I don't like when people like make me think early on.
Yeah.
I wasn't really into it either, but I love that explanation.
No. It's like this
See,
is
here's
many
the
meanings
here's the
to
thing.
it. I don't like
here's,
that.
Here's the thing. Some shows they don't give you everything. Like Sopranos is a mafia show. It's not hard to show violence and stuff like
Yeah.
this. So how are they going to portray violence in Mr. Robot? They got to do it in a smart way. So what
Yeah.
do? Since it's a hacking show, some of the United States' biggest like enemies when it comes to hacking is like Russia, China. So then you have the dark web come into it,
Yeah, but
right?
there's too many slow points in that show.
No,
though.
there's really not. It's really not.
Your level of intellect or whatever, the way you are a critic of
Yeah,
shows
all right.
and TV.
He-
so
here's my thing with you, Sheldon.
You'll definitely like that shit.
I want to second what Oz is saying. You have a high tolerance for shows. You're very
Yeah.
patient. You're very patient. If
Yeah.
I'm not hooked by the first episode, see it.
No, I don't have to be hooked by
No,
the first
I don't-
episode. I
Ready?
watch the
I
second
do.
episode.
I do.
Ready?
I do.
All right. So, did you watch season 1?
Of
Mr.
Mr.
I watched
Robot.
3
Yeah.
episodes of Mr.
My
Robot.
brother
right,
highly
listen,
recommended it, so I
ready?
just watched part of it.
Because I can give All right. Make it to 5, right? You can either start at 4 and 5 or watch 1 to 5. Make it to 5. When I tell someone to watch a show, I say get to 5 because the first 3 is all set up.
World building.
It's world building, right? Then the 4 and 5 tend to be character development. Then 6 and 7 is when action happens. 8 or 9 is either the penultimate episode, and then 10 is the what do they call it? Like the
Climax?
not the climax. That's like
Rise?
usually 8 or 9.
Falling
it's like
action?
falling action.
Okay.
It's like they gotta they're in some shit now. They gotta figure out what to
Yeah.
do after
Okay.
the last episode, right? Please watch the first because you're gonna once you get the 5, you're gonna be like, whoa, okay, all right, I see what's going on.
I'll try it again.
So,
I will
so
be
try it
fair
again, and I say try it again too.
I'm gonna try it
once you
again
get
just
to
for
5,
that sake
because a lot of the mobster shows get into it episode 1.
But all right, like I always relate everything to the night of because that's like the last show that like really like fucking.
Well, you gotta remember,
Stuck with
that
us.
was a limited series, so they have to tell it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I know
hour,
that.
it's
I know
hour
that.
and a half
The night
episodes.
of? Is that Netflix?
No, HBO.
HBO, baby.
Bro, that dude,
HBO.
when he turns the light on and then he sees her in a,
How many episodes?
you would love that shit.
How many episodes was it? 8?
It was 8.
8?
The reason why I think you will love it is because I feel like we all have a friend like that. Meaning like come from a foreign family. I'm spoiling it for you again, but
No, that's cool.
you
Just
come
give
from
me the
a
premise.
foreign family and like dad
Trying
owns a
to
taxi,
make it in America.
trying to a kid that doesn't kind of
Fit
not
in.
popular. He doesn't have
Yeah.
But he's trying to be
friends.
popular.
He's an
And then the
oddball.
popular kid asks him, "Hey, you want to hang out?"
Not even oddball. It's just the fact that he's a foreigner
Yeah.
and he's having
And
a
he's-
harder time
That's sad. Bro.
becoming socially
Yeah.
like he's a cool
feel
guy.
that.
He
Yeah.
has his friends within his own community because of his racial
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Nationality, yeah.
Because he's Pakistani.
Pakistani,
Okay.
yeah.
He can become friends
In
Pakistan.
New York
he's trying
City,
To, he's trying to get
like-
other friends. you
Yeah.
know?
The biggest fucking city in the United States. But the thing, like, it's so relatable because I feel like, I don't know, I kept thinking of Movie Star when I saw that, man. Because he comes from, like,
I didn't think of him.
can I tell you why? The taxi thing.
Okay.
And how his parents are, like, Pakistani.
Yeah.
He gets invited to a party.
Okay. Maybe
by a cool
this
kid.
maybe
And he
besides
gets approached by the
besides
girl. His first interaction. So we see his first interaction,
Okay.
getting invited to a party.
I'm
Interaction
rolling.
with a girl.
I'm
What's this called
rolling.
again? I'm
The
writing
night
it
of.
The night of.
Okay, I'm gonna write.
I'm
it down.
rolling with everything you're saying, but Mubashar never had an issue when I met him with social.
I get that.
Whatever.
I guess I'm just making it the correlation between the two because, like, I'm thinking strict parents, Pakistani parents.
Yeah, but you would know
Muslim
more
faith.
than me because you grew up with
Yeah.
him.
Now you take it from that realm and then seeing how he ended in jail, going through the jail process.
Well, Muba's not in jail.
Yeah,
but
he's not in jail,
Yeah.
whatever. But
that's where it changes.
but to see that transition with everything that happened in between, I'm like, fuck, this show is like great. I like personal shit like that.
And let's be real, bro. HBO just has hits.
Yo, they do. I need to get into
That-
Westworld too. I really need to get into Westworld.
You watch Westworld, don't you?
I do, man. We'll talk a little bit more, and then we gotta end it because it's almost 11. I know you guys got stuff to do. I got stuff to do
This
too.
has been a great-
Yeah,
great
this has been a great podcast. I'm really gonna break down.
You'll be back on.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
really
I
gonna
can't
break
wait.
down Westworld and why I don't like it.
Ooh.
Okay, so I watched Westworld. I watched the first season,
I know what you're gonna say.
and I was like, this concept is really, really good. I was like, this concept is actually amazing. We have a bunch of rich people, and it's like a real life augmentation. You know, you can go and spend money and enjoy like the Wild West and be almost a character in this world and do whatever you want, right? And then you have the flip side where like these robots are slowly becoming sentient and they're slowly becoming intelligent, and there's all this backstory and stuff like that. There is so much talking and pauses and metaphorical characters that are like, oh, this is this person the whole time and this is that person the whole time, that it's like it lost momentum for me. I felt like I was just watching it and I wasn't engaged with it. Like I was just absorbing all the information, going like, okay, so this person is that and this is this and this is what actually happened. Instead of the stuff actually happening, it feels like Westworld didn't know when to stop world building. Like every single episode was world building, and I was like, I get it. I get there's a whole bunch of exposition. I feel like every word out of someone's mouth was exposition. When are we gonna get the meat, dude? And so I was like, maybe second season will be better because I like samurais. I want to see some samurais. I watched the first 2 episodes of the second season. And I'm like, it's the same thing all over again. That whole scene where that guy goes into the party and like everybody stops because they're all robots. I'm like, that was it. That was the big reveal. I could have seen that coming 2 minutes ago. So like Westworld's cool. I like the concept. I feel bad for pooping on it because everybody loves it so much, dude.
Yeah.
But it's not that great. It really is not that great, and I'm not afraid to say that. Wow, it's okay.
That's hard to follow.
It's okay.
You see, like from what you just
Okay,
said,
you
like,
go first.
From what he said about the show,
It's making
I
me
haven't
wanna
watched it. I don't like slow points. Too many slow points.
That's all
when
this
they spend
is.
the whole season,
That's all
and
the
then
show is.
and then you said the second season starts, and it's like
Yeah.
you're waiting for something,
Right.
you know, climactic to happen, and it doesn't. That just stirs me away from the show.
All right, so here's the
Go ahead.
thing. All right, so the premium network shows, right? HBO, Showtime.
Yes.
They have a significant more budget than a lot of these other shows have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can drag out. So they don't. I won't say drag out, but in 10 episodes, like these episodes are not 45 minutes with commercials. These are literally like 60 minutes to sometimes 90-minute episodes, right? So because of that, they can flesh a lot of stuff out because they have time. HBO has the resources.
Have time. Yeah,
They have the resources, right? So, and a lot of HBO shows, like especially their drama shows, like their serious shows, the ones that they want to win awards, they do a lot of world building, and I admit they do tend to do that a lot with a lot of shows. But where The Night Of is different, The Night Of is a limited series. That's one and done. So they have to get that story across, and they got it done in 8 episodes. Ending was ambiguous. It was cool.
Yeah.
But like that just is a reflection of our criminal justice system in America. That's why it relates to us. Because that's
what I'm
like
saying.
that really does happen.
It could happen to one of our.
So
Go ahead.
Westworld is phenomenal because it tells, like you said, unreliable narrator, uncharacteristic timelines that we haven't seen in a TV show, and aesthetically it's beautiful. So you just have to. So certain shows, you can tell the theme that they're not going to get this done in 1 season. They might not get it done in 2. They might need like a couple more, and then you're like, because the season after this one right now, it's going to be all action. Like season 2 was great. A lot of people, and it panned everyone. Critically, it's phenomenal, right? But you had audience people saying like, you're in that camp. It's like, oh, you're just like trying to be too smart for us. You're trying to confuse us and stuff like that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who's the main character of Westworld?
The main character is Bernard.
You think so?
Yeah, Bernard, and see, but that's the thing. Who's the main character of Game of Thrones?
I'm not into Game of Thrones either.
You don't watch Game
I'm
of
not
Thrones?
into it.
All right,
I
so
can't listen.
So it's Bernard and Dolores. We'll say it. Bernard and Dolores. They're the 2 main characters.
What's
And
compelling about either one of them?
they have a Magneto and Xavier relationship,
Listen,
and that's one of the best relationships in.
Here's a show. Here's a show that's 90% talking, right? I'm not gonna say Breaking Bad because everybody says you gotta watch Breaking Bad. No.
Breaking Bad is 90%
Let me tell you another show that's 90% talking. That is Vince Gilligan, Better Call Saul. That show's 90% talking.
Show's boring.
There is not a bad episode of that show.
You know why I said it's boring? I don't think Saul is a compelling character.
Damn.
You know who is? Hold on. You know who is? Tuco. I'd rather see a show with Tuco
No,
or Gustavo.
I'm gonna tell you where you're wrong. Right? There's nothing more static in Westworld than the characters. They don't change.
They're robots.
Who wants to watch a show like that?
They're robots.
Who wants to watch a show
Who
like
wants to
that?
watch The Matrix?
Dude, watch Better Call Saul. He's the most dynamic character ever.
But it doesn't
If
mean
the
he's
little-
good.
Dude, it literally starts off with him. You see him as somebody who's like hiding. He's a shell of his former self. He's a nothing. He's a zero.
That's a flash forward.
I know exactly.
Yeah.
But then you go to see how he got to that moment, and the show starts off with him being the exact opposite. So
I know.
it's so cool to see like that. There's actually going to be a progression.
But do you know-
that's
do you know-
promised to you
but
in
do
the
you know
first
why?
episode. There's nothing promised to you in the very beginning of Westworld.
But do you know
you
why
have
it's
a really
like
cool
that? You know why you
concept.
like that? Because you watch Breaking Bad.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't have to watch Breaking Bad to like it.
You would because you know Saul
dude,
because you became a huge fan of Saul. From Breaking Bad.
No.
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk is an amazing character actor.
He's a good
And
actor.
not only that, but like the whole situation with his brother, how he's like afraid of going outside and he's afraid of cell phones and stuff. That's done in a way that makes you say, okay, there's more to this. With
Okay.
Westworld, they tip their hand, right? And you're like, all right, the hand's been tipped. There's more going on here. And then it takes too long for them to show you the rest, and you lose interest.
Because, like I said, it's 60 to 90-minute episodes, no cuts. It's one of those.
Better Call Saul is an hour each episode.
With cuts.
There's different shows. They're different shows, right? They're different genres.
They're different,
but
different genres.
I know, but at least the main character carries you through the hand tipping in a quick way, in a way that keeps you engaged. With Westworld, they keep you hanging on for too long, and you couldn't even pick one main character. You
I
couldn't
said
even
there's
pick
two. I named them
There-
off the top.
I'm saying, what's the protagonist that we follow through the story?
Bernard.
Again, he's not an interesting character. He's static. He doesn't change. He's nothing.
Oh, I was just about to. Well, did you saw season 1?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Why do you think he's static, Drew? Why is Bernard static?
What? Because he's a machine. But look, who cares about that? I don't want to
Dude,
watch a
that-
show about a machine. If that's the big reveal, the main guy, the guy who we thought was human was a robot the whole time, I can name you 6 other movies where that's the same exact thing.
No, you couldn't.
I could.
What? What do you
Dude.
got?
Deus Ex Machina, where the guy's like, "Am I a robot? Am I a robot?" Like that's a
Oh, with the girl?
yeah, that's a theme.
Deus Machina?
That's a theme that's prevalent in so many fictions. Like this person that we thought was human is actually a machine. Like I've
Not
seen
a lot
it.
of people
I've
like that
seen
movie.
it. I've seen it.
But here's the thing.
That was kind of cool. I
So-
like the exchange.
So
It's gonna look good
the
on camera.
one reason that people love Westworld is because once it's outside the park, now you have these sentinel beings in reality.
I guess
So what is
the way
hasn't
season.
watched season 2.
No, I have. The way
You have
season
all
one
of
ends.
season 2?
No, the way season 1 ends, right, is there's a big party
And the
then what's his
uprising.
face gets killed, right?
Yeah.
And the first episode of season 2.
is the recap?
Do I need that? I've been waiting for 2 years.
Yeah, you need that because if you haven't seen it for 2 years,
I
what
gotta
do you
start
mean?
watching
dude,
the show.
no.
So
Talk about
it
this
takes
shit.
place. Episode 2 picks up right. Episode 1 of season 2 picks up right where episode 10 of season 1 ended. Like it's like continuous. Like yes, it could have been episode 11, but guess what? They didn't. They gave 2 years because they needed a bigger budget for the rest of season 2 because it gets wild. There's action every single episode. That's what I'm saying. You can't shit on shit. You got to give shows a chance. Like I'll tell that to anyone. If you're gonna watch a show, if you're gonna start watching it, watch the full season, and then at the end of the season, that's when you decide, say, all right, I'm not gonna watch anymore.
So
or I'm
if
gonna
you were to
continue.
watch the rest of season 2, right?
If you're gonna start season 2, finish it.
Okay, cool. But I'm saying if you were to watch season 2 and still not be compelled by
Then
anything,
don't watch season 3.
Okay.
End it right there.
Okay, cool.
Because right now,
Because when
There-
do you
there-
say it's not good? Like when is the right time for you to
I
say
have a
it's
feeling
not
that
good?
Oz is gonna hate it.
no,
No,
because
I've
I
watched-
don't know what because he likes shows that are based on reality. Like you like things that
No,
actually happen.
I like fiction too, like like a virtual reality, whatever you want to call it. I like that, but I mean, it has
Yeah.
to be told in a compelling way.
And it
from-
is
from the
because how
jump.
they do it. Because like I said, like you gotta have patience. Because I had patience for Breaking Bad. I hated Breaking Bad season 1. I did not think Breaking Bad season 1 was.
That's probably the
good
most
at all.
loved show like that everyone talks about.
And it is because I said, you know what? Season 1 ended strong, but I hated the first like 6 or 7 episodes. I'm gonna watch season 2. Season 2, right off the get, boom, it had me. Season 2, and then I watch every episode weekly up until the series finale. But like Westworld is one of the ones where it will show you an episode, dude. What episode was happening at the start of episode 2, episode 1, season 2, is technically what happens in episode 9.
Okay.
So it's leading. It's doing the Quentin Tarantino effect. It's telling that a chronological order. Because you know why? Because the main character is a sentinel being who got screwed with in season 1 that you find out in season 2. He got screwed with. So he's trying to jog his memory back, just like in the movie we were just talking about, Memento. Turns out what he's thinking that happened, he's currently going through it. And what he was going through was, sorry, I had it backwards. What he's thinking about, he's putting himself into it, and he's lying to himself. There's a failsafe in his brain that's lying to him. So he's seeing something different, and he's trying to figure out what the hell
Well,
happened.
my question to you, like the typical average viewer is not gonna see this stuff like how you see.
No,
it.
That's
why.
will.
That's why.
You know,
I'm saying
you know why they
are-
will? They will because All right, so one, to get into to have attention span to watch an hour-long episode of anything is hard, right? So they got to get you hooked from season 1, episode 1. It pulls you in enough to keep watching the rest of the season.
There's a thing that I allude to, and I'm not throwing your point out, that I think is the most important thing for any form of television show. It's called subverting expectations, right?
Yeah.
You have an expectation when you're coming into a Westworld episode of what you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes there's a subversion of that, meaning that
Of course.
you'll see something completely different. That's the whole reason you watch a show. You want there to be a surprise, right?
Yeah.
You don't want everything to be laid out for you right away.
Yeah.
So we'll compare it to a show like The Sopranos, right?
Mm-hmm.
You expect there to be, in an episode of The Sopranos, somebody getting killed, somebody getting mugged,
Oh,
someone
it's a
saying the
mafia
F
show.
word.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen every episode
It
of
doesn't.
Sopranos. There's
It's
some...
what's the number one thing about Sopranos? Number one selling point of Sopranos is family dynamic.
Right, okay? There's family dynamic. But in every single episode of Westworld, there's just this BS, like, are they real? Are they not real? There's a bunch of robots that get killed, and that's supposed to be the action in season 1. Like, you see these dudes just, like, clipping down these fake people. Like, that's not compelling. You know what I'm saying?
Because you got to look at it like this.
I walk into an episode of Westworld, I know exactly what's going to happen.
That's
most of the
not
time.
True.
Most of the time, I know exactly what's going to happen. The reveals, maybe not. The whole thing, it's the Star Wars effect. What's the big twist in Star Wars, right? Obi-Wan was Anakin's master. Darth Vader was Anakin. It's all an identity.
So Shane,
It's all an identity. It's all an identity thing.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars, but
Yeah.
like all the twists in Star Wars are like identity.
So you're looking for shock value in
Here's
your
the
show.
thing: Leia is Luke's sister. Like, and that's exactly what Westworld is. It's like, wait, Bernard is a robot. Wait, she's this, he's that. Those aren't good twists. Those
Yes,
aren't good
dude,
twists.
They are, because you don't find out he is part of them until episode 8. Because they're trying to figure out what happened to someone, right? And randomly the girl was like, where's this room going? Like, what does this door lead to? And he was like, what door? And people are like, he doesn't see a door. And they open it, and he's like, what the hell is going on? Like, he can't see anything because it was blocked from him. Like, and people were like, oh shit. But one of the biggest problems now today with the internet and like TV shows is that people will try and predict what's going to happen.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, that's
So the Reddit page for Game of Thrones and Westworld, any HBO show has they have like internet sleuths. So people are like, will find pictures from like sets, like people taking pictures that aren't supposed to be doing that.
they do that with
And
everything, though.
Yeah, and they'll be like, oh, season 2, it's like, from the way that last episode happens, this is going to happen this episode. And then when it doesn't happen, and their theory that they had a lot of people start buying into was wrong, they're like, episode sucked.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
When it's not
like,
what they want.
when it's not what they want, like you said, when it's not what their expectation or reality doesn't happen, then
I'm actually
people
gonna
will
watch it
start
now
shitting on
because I do want to see like what you're
it. But
seeing.
I want you to finish season
see what
2,
you're seeing.
and then we're going to revisit this conversation.
Here's the thing, man.
And then you're going to tell me, you know what? I gave season 2 a second chance. That show bumps. That show slaps.
Maybe.
Maybe, and if you don't, then it'll be like,
Maybe.
all right, then don't watch season 3 that comes out probably next year or 2 years.
I feel like if I keep listening like other things that I don't like, this podcast is just gonna go on and on. But I'm just gonna come out and say it, man. This is gonna be the last point of contention. I didn't like Stranger Things season 2. Thought it was awful. Thought it was terrible. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't watch it. But I'll tell you this much before I let you have the floor. I always wait until hype dies down for something.
Sometimes you have to.
Because dude, literally, I go on Facebook. Oh, Stranger Things. Oh, this is. I want to wait until it's done for me to watch it because I think I'll enjoy it better.
Yeah.
Because like say I watch it and I don't like it and I'm the first to say it's shitty and then I got all these people attacking me. It's like
Right.
You know what I mean?
Is that how? Is that? Why
I do
you
that on
don't
purpose
watch-
a lot.
Is that why you don't watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I mean I tried watching Game of Thrones. I guess I see the appeal for sure.
Yeah.
Like just the cinematography of it all, like just the way
unreal.
it looks.
It's unreal.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't like that medieval shit, man.
Same,
Yeah.
dog. I'm not Lord of the
And sometimes
That
like,
shit was dragging.
sometimes like it's not for everyone. Some people try to push shows on to people, and it's not for everyone. You know
The
what I
Night
mean?
of captivated my attention because it was like. 'Cause I
It's
remember
real.
Shane, you were talking about it. I didn't start watching until episode 4.
I can do 8 episodes. That's why I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, episode 4. And then when I watched the first episode, bro, I was like, "What the fuck?"
So you know what's my problem with that show? Episode 1 had me. Then the next 3 episodes, I was like, Are we
It's
getting? I
still
was like,
heavy, but-
we
See,
getting
See,
somewhere.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. When,
It was like one of
when
those,
the first
like, we getting
episode catches
somewhere?
your attention, though, even if the next 2 or 3 are sluggish,
Mm-hmm.
you're still like, all right, I'm waiting. Like,
Yeah.
because that's why I think I like the effect of a strong opener leading into something versus, gradually making its way to something a big review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always think that's better.
But I knew it was gonna pick up because it is a limited series, so I knew it was
Yeah.
gonna be a one and done, and has huge names in it.
Yeah.
So I was
Riz
like,
Ahmed is a really good actor, man.
yeah, he's really good.
Really good. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
But yeah,
try to watch.
so all I'm gonna say is,
Westworld.
as we conclude on this, if you're gonna start a show, at least finish it. Just get to the end of the season, and then once you get to the end, then you can decide if you're gonna stay on the train or get off the train.
Sheldon's low key aiming that towards me. I
No.
I hear what you're saying, man. I'll listen. I'll check it out. I'll give it another chance.
No, because
respect your opinion.
I know people that I constantly talk to that like will shit on Lost, and it drives me crazy because there's 130 some episodes in Lost, and you're gonna stop like midway through season 1. Season 1 has 24 episodes, and you're gonna stop at like 13. It's like, dude, you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know. That's a whole
You know what I
other
mean?
like 14.
That's
10
that's
episodes,
a
like-
beast. And then season 2 is 31
Yeah,
episodes.
and you're missing that much content.
But yet you'll watch 9 seasons of The Office.
Yeah. The Office obsession. I mean, I get the humor.
Office is funny and it's good and it has
It's a
great
little
moments.
overhyped, bro. That's just a little overhyped.
Because guess what?
Bro.
Out of the
Little overhyped.
9 seasons, not every season slaps.
Yeah.
Once Will Ferrell got introduced, it did not slap.
No, that should have not slap anymore. And
Yeah.
it's coming from a huge Office fan. It lost.
No, the humor. I love the humor.
Yeah.
I love it. Like
Same
Dwight's
thing with
funny shit. Like,
same
I
thing
love
with
it.
How I Met Your Mother. Once it got to like the later seasons, lost its appeal.
No, but see, that's what I'm talking about. People hype shit up so like much that I just wait until the hype's done before I make a
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone make a
was
show recommendation right now. So
night of.
I'm definitely
HBO.
watching Night of.
But I'm not a movie or a TV
I got
connoisseur,
one.
so I don't know too
up?
much.
You might want to watch this actually now. It's called Sharp Objects. Amy Adams stars in it.
It's an HBO show.
Yeah, it's an HBO show.
What's the plot? I need to know.
Me too.
Bro, it's all right. So this woman, she's
Sheldon's
in.
good at explaining plots. I love listening.
So this woman, Amy Adams. You know who she is? Amy Adams.
I don't know shit about shit.
Amy
bro.
Adams. Have you seen any of the new Supermans? Superman's wife.
Hey, okay, cool.
Superman's
cool.
wife in the
I
new
know her
ones?
face. I know her face.
Okay, redhead.
Yeah, I know her
Okay.
face. Yeah.
So she suffers from some type of, I think it's like paranoia and schizophrenia, and she hallucinates. Right.
Okay.
She's a columnist for this St. Louis, whatever it's called, and there's a murder that takes place back in her hometown, Wingate, Missouri, and these murders happen. This is the second time.
Do we see these murders happen or?
It's like the night of, kind of.
All right,
Hold on. I'm not done. I'm not done though. So these murders are happening more frequently. So now we have a serial murder, right? So she goes home and she's trying to, uncover
How
shit.
many episodes, real quick?
Right now, well, the third one just happened yesterday. Like it's going on right now.
11 a series or just?
No, it's gonna be. I think it's
Okay.
this is
Cool.
the one. Like this is gonna be one of the ones because Game of Thrones ends this 2019. HBO is trying to find. So Westworld is gonna be an HBO show that's gonna be like the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be the next big one.
Okay, cool.
So she goes back home and her sister like died when they were young, and she constantly like sees and like hears and like trips out sometimes, right? And she's trying to help the town solve these murders, and it's like a whodunit.
I love
It's like
whodunits. That's
and
my
I
favorite
love
fucking thing.
dude. I
bro.
love whodunits, and this is
Oh.
bro. And she's like, yo,
Dude.
yo,
This is such
and
a
she,
fan.
dude, she is like, I don't want to give away too much, so I'm gonna end it here. She, at the end of the first episode, she like gets in a bathtub. She has over like 2,000 cuts
Okay,
to herself,
I'm watching it. I
like
that shit.
everywhere.
Sharp objects.
Like,
alright.
and she writes on herself, and like,
And it's going on as you speak, man.
and she's an alcoholic. Like, she's drinking and driving. Like, she's
Oh, yeah.
and it's dark, bro. Like
Yeah.
the second episode, another murder happened, and dude, this is one of those shows you're watching. Like the murder, you didn't see the murder take place. You don't yet. So far, you haven't seen the murder take place. You saw the body being found, dude. It looked like something. It looks so real.
That HBO budget is crazy.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
They got that
That
money to make
HBO
this shit
budget
look real,
is
bro.
insane. That's why when it comes to TV shows, I only
It's like
trust
a movie
certain,
every episode. Yeah.
It is a movie every episode, and I only the first episode was 90 minutes long.
Okay.
I only trust certain programs. HBO had Sopranos, Game of Thrones, like Oz. Did you watch Oz? The prison
Is it
one?
that long ass show? It's
Nah,
like,
it's a prison,
no,
bro.
I'm
It's
saying
so
it's
good.
been running for so long.
That's one of Sheldon's favorite.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite all time. It's
Yeah.
a prison. Dude, you love it. It's like gangs in prison.
Okay.
Like, it's phenomenal.
Everyone always
and-
like to call me, oh, you're odd, whatever. I'm like,
You
whatever.
just beat them up.
Yeah. All right, but keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
HBO does. They have
Bro,
really
and
good-
it's insane, and dude, it's heavy. It's heavy. The cinematography is beautiful,
Yeah.
so it's appealing to look at, and it's not trying to confuse. It's not trying to confuse you. Like,
Is it
as-
dark? Is the Sharp Objects? Is it dark like how Night Owl was? You know how it was
Dude,
like that
it's-
dark aura. The screen is like
all right, ready? So check this out.
widescreen is like.
So
fucking-
it is. I don't know. Is it widescreen? I think it's.
I
it's
love
shot
that
and
shit,
shot in
bro.
a wide lens, right? And a lot of stuff, action happens during the daytime, but this town, there's something fucked up about this town.
Okay, I'm watching.
Like the town, like there is something going wrong
Sharp
in this
Objects,
town.
Put in my notes.
And sorry to tie, but I need to watch episode 3 tonight because we didn't watch it yesterday. We meant to, but I was editing something and she was studying.
Dang.
So that's one show I can recommend right
I'm
now.
watching that, dude.
And there's this German show that I watched that I told you about to check out. Did I tell you about that?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, took place where we stayed in
Oh, really?
Berlin.
Wedding?
Yeah,
Or
in
wedding?
Medding.
Whatever. Medding? Whatever
Yeah,
the fuck.
it was in Medding. Took place in Medding and outside. It's about a Turkish gang.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
Turkish Muslim gang.
Wow.
Yeah,
Let's go.
it's crazy. It's called 4 Blocks.
Is it in German or?
It's in German,
Okay, but
but
just English subtitles. I don't give a fuck
English
about that.
subtitles,
Sounds
and it was 6 episodes, maybe
Nice.
10. I don't know.
I like
Actually,
shows
might
like
have been 10, but it's on Amazon. Man, that shit was heavy.
I like
Yeah.
shows like that.
That shit was heavy.
2 recommendations, and these have been my big ones this summer. I keep talking about the show. I'm gonna talk about it again. Evangelion Neon Genesis. It's an anime. It's 24 episodes in a movie. One of the best things I've ever seen. You want to talk about reveals? This is one of the coolest reveals ever. It's been out for a minute. It came out in 1995. Amazing. And
What's the next one?
Agretsuko on
What's that?
Netflix. So
Wait a minute. Oh, I think I know what this is.
Agretsuko is
SUKAI. Is that how it's
uh,
spelled?
Agretsuko. SUKO.
Oh,
Agretsuko. So that's a Netflix original anime. But it's about work life for mid-20 people, like
Okay.
25. And it's hilarious. It's awesome. There's probably like 13 episodes of it.
mm-hmm.
And I watched it one day. The animation style like will really throw you for a loop. But pretty
Yeah.
much it's about this girl who hates her job. She hates her life. Her boss is just really, really bad to her and every other coworker. And so to relieve stress, she's a screamo singer. So like she'll go into the bathroom and just be like, I hate my life. Like it gets so nuts. And after every day at work, she goes and spends her money at a karaoke bar and gets a private room and just does like a 2-hour screamo session. So it's like the story of her life, and it's very, very good.
Sounds
I
interesting.
highly recommend it. So those are my recommendations, man. But yeah, I can't wait to watch that show, Oz. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah,
Night of.
we'll discuss. Like
Yeah,
whatever you.
bro.
said.
I want you on, man. This
Yeah.
is a good
Yeah,
podcast.
no.
we'll have you on again.
I'll be on there. Ooh, fuck yeah, this is
Sure,
fucking
man.
fun as hell, dude.
Is there anything going on with Real Friends that you want to talk about? or-
We're just steadily doing what we do.
Cool.
Recording every week.
Alright.
Shout out to Mike, by the way, man. He's he definitely, I would say, because I always wanted to do the podcast thing. Like I
Yeah.
always thought like I can talk about shit for hours.
You really
know.
can though.
I mean, I tried, but he was the
We
first.
went super dark to light. Somehow.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
just the transition of it all was cool. But yeah, he was doing a podcast thing with Azim, and then he asked me to come on as a guest, and
He told us he tricked you.
I guess I don't know, but
That's what he
I went
said.
on there and I was like, this is like cool. I always love talking about like just
Yeah.
deep shit, and then transitioning from that into like sports,
Yeah.
music, whatever,
Yeah.
So like the podcast thing was nothing like out of the ordinary for me. So Mike was the first one to do it, like that I knew. I knew you were doing it, but I think I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just like anime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really too well. Like,
No, it kind
versed
of
in
was, man. But yeah.
But now, I love what it is. I mean, I watch
Yeah.
very frequently, but like he invited me on and we started talking about like pop culture shit and all that stuff. And I was like, damn, like, and he kind of like brought stuff out of me that I didn't know I had.
Cool.
And I was like, all right, cool, you know. So
That's deep.
yeah,
Man.
I would love to do like a crossover episode, like where it's like
That'd be fun.
you're three, you guys, and then me and Mike or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
We were talking. We just
that would be fucking
We
insane.
had
need
to
to-
figure out how to do it.
Oh, yeah, we just bring a big table, and then I bring my equipment. He brings.
Yeah, he
his.
bring his
We record it
equipment, yeah.
separately, and then we mix it together. Once
Dude,
it's
that would
all
be
done.
so sick. Because
Yeah.
Mike has a lot to say,
Yeah,
and he's very opinionated. I think we're all very opinionated.
he is very opinionated. We had him on
and
the show.
passionate.
Yeah,
So it'd work out very well for sure.
definitely, man.
Yeah, dude,
I
it
would
was
look forward to doing
it was a
that.
pleasure being on this
And
shit.
your
Thank you, dude.
social medias that you like to plug?
Social media, man, I ain't nobody on social media. No, but follow me on Twitter, OzTyler_22. I don't know why the 22. I just put it there.
It's catch 22.
Instagram Oz.Tyler, easy.
Dope.
And yeah, follow me on MySpace too. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but just follow me on
Put
that.
him on your top 8,
It's like, no.
man.
Top
Oz,
8.
He's lived an incredible life. and
Yeah,
he's
this shit,
somebody-
yo, man, this shit is like, yeah, you guys definitely. I like the setting of it. It's like light.
Yeah, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like a chill vibe. You got the food on.
Sometimes it's a little hard for people to talk, but we try and get them in.
But we
Yeah.
didn't have that problem with you, man.
Why not?
Oh, no, dude, like my thing is, man, you got all these people on social media, bro. Like even like on Snapchat, they're they're twerking in front of camera or like they're ranting with the filter on. But then you put them in like a setting like this,
They got nothing to
or
say.
public speaking
Yeah.
or whatever, and they're like, like
Yeah.
it's like well,
Fart-
like
farting
why
at
was
the
it so
mouth.
hard? Why is
Right.
it so hard now? You
No,
know,
it's
So-
it's true, man. That's just another technical divide. Here we go, going full circle. You know, that's because of technology. But I gotta close it out, man. So
yeah, we've been here.
yeah,
for a
this has
long
been
time.
episode 38. It's a long one,
Yeah.
and thank you for
Over
tuning
3
in.
hours.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. Yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Andrewcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your attention. Before we get into the content of today's episode, I definitely want to get into our sponsor that I've been so graciously gifted, Roast House Coffee, located in South Texas. Now, you may be saying, Andrew, I'm not a coffee person. You know, I like tea. I like drinking tea and honey and throw a little bit of milk in there. You know, I'm trying to live my life. Look, I understand you're trying to live your life, okay? I understand you may not be a coffee person. I wasn't either until I got me some Roast House coffee. Now, Roast House was gracious enough to send me Liquid Thunder. Liquid Thunder is a fan favorite in-house blend made by the Roast Coffee House. It combines the bold, smooth taste of dark roasted Colombian coffee beans with a subtle hint of chocolate to top it off. You can't beat it, bro. Let me tell you a little bit more about Roast House. The Roast House is not your ordinary coffee shop. They roast freshly imported coffee beans from all around the world, in-house daily, located in Brownsville, home of the brave, putting work in the street like a slave, Texas. Our mission is to bring the taste of the world into South Texas, one bean at a time. From popular flavors to in-house blends, we serve all natural, preservative-free coffee, espressos, teas, and other beverages. Homie, come on into our shop and enjoy a fresh cup of joe, or take some bean grounds home for your loved ones. So come get a fresh cup of joe, or come take some beans to go. You heard it here first. Take some grounds home for your loved ones to enjoy. And for those not living in South Texas, don't fret. Don't even worry about it. We will be launching an online store soon for coffee lovers across the world. You too will be able to taste coffee done right. Listen, folks, if you want some coffee, you want some high-grade stuff,
You don't want to mess around with the Starbucks, right? You don't want to mess around with the Dunkin' Donuts. You don't want to mess around with the Wawa. You don't want to mess around with the McDonald's coffee, all right? You want to go straight to the house, the Roast House. Baby, Roast House Coffee. Look it up online. Look it up on Instagram. It's the newest. It's the latest. Thank you so much for sponsoring my podcast. Everyone enjoy today's episode. Love you.